Hello, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran, and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and John Tortorelli. And this is now episode 479. It's been a long time coming. I think we went a week without doing an episode. Schedules didn't align. I got sick. We were going to do something on Sunday, but I was feeling really under the weather. Dels is back, but we're recording this early today, so John is filling in, taking his place because he is available right now.
Mr. Tortellini, how you doing, sir?
Doing great. Been a good week for me. I went to the Yankee game yesterday, lost, but anytime I go to the game is always a nice time. And of course, I'm really excited for this episode. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about, from player awards to some of the biggest storylines going into this postseason.
T-Mac?
No, this
Penny.
is Penny. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did T-Mac also wear one, or am I crazy?
You might know that better than me.
I'm not good with numbers. I'm actually awful with numbers.
Not a numbers guy, so I can't tell you.
I think he was. If I had to guess, I'm
Zero?
probably wrong. I was about to say I think
Yeah.
he gives me 0-1, like 0-3 vibes. But I know I'm terrible with numbers, dude.
0-3 for who?
Like 0 or 3.
Oh, 0 or
All right,
yeah.
I was right. He did wear one on the Magic.
Okay.
Penny?
No, both.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Tracy
sweet,
did
sweet.
wear number one.
Sweet, yeah,
And
no.
that's a McGrady jersey.
No,
correct?
it's
No, that's
Hardaway.
Penny. Before,
Yeah.
Penny was
Hardaway
before
jersey?
T-Mac.
He was,
Yeah, he
which is
was.
kind of disrespectful to Penny. They were just like, here you go,
He
Tracy.
didn't have enough season.
Nah, I got you.
He had great seasons. He just wasn't stamped.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, no, it's really unfortunate. Penny was nice.
Especially when Shaq left. When Shaq left, it was kind of over.
Yeah, and then he got hurt. Knees started bothering
Is
him.
Penny on the All-Aura team, or
Yeah, Penny had mad aura. Penny had mad.
do you think people talk about him strictly because of his aura?
Nah, he was nice.
No, I know he was.
He was like one of the
he is
evolution
cool.
of like big guards that really had the ball handling ability, stuff like that. Just bro, knees gave out.
Him or Grant Hill?
Grant Hill.
Okay, I agree. I'm just wondering.
Grant Hill.
Before he got hurt, for sure.
Like who?
Grant
Grant
Hill.
Hill.
Yeah. Like yeah.
Do you
yeah.
think
Pistons Grant Hill.
Do you
Yes.
think Penny's
Not Magic
aura
Grant
will
Hill.
have people tricked into it saying Penny Hardaway over Grant Hill?
Nah, Grant had some more.
Penny was a great player, too.
Yeah, I just think Penny Hardaway, I feel like he's most known for the early years with the Magic and then the Air Pennies.
Mm-hmm.
The Air Pennies are one of the flyest Nike sneakers ever.
Are they expensive?
No, they're only like $120,
They had some motion
$130.
back in the day. Definitely had some motion.
Do they still make them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the penny ones are probably the best, I think.
Okay.
And it was cool because it was like the Magic colors. It was like black, and then it had like a blue kind of secondary
And
as a
he's a
color.
good coach.
Yeah,
Can you comp that to a player shoe today?
not a player shoe today because I don't feel like professional athlete shoes today, especially basketball players, are all that hype. Like I feel like there's a few players who have some really nice shoes, but for example, like the Bookers. They're kind of just like the basketball shoe version of some Nike Dunks.
Because you said, like, as soon as you said Penny, PG's shoe came to mind because a lot of people love Paul
PG got some
George's
good ass shoes.
Yeah, so this is one colorway of the Air Pennies.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, they're
I don't
one
like
color.
that side though.
I like it.
Yeah, I
like
get it. I get it. That's like the old school
I'd
look
say-
though.
I think this is the
PG.
penny one.
Those are tough.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
PG, Kyrie, KD,
Yep.
LaMelo got some cool shoes. Josh shoes are all right.
Oh, you know foam posits, right?
Of course.
Those are pennies.
What?
Those are pennies, yeah.
you know
Those are
that?
pennies.
You're joking.
No, 100% those are pennies.
He's him. Oh
Heavy-
my
heavy
god.
Yeah, those are
motherfuckers, man.
pennies.
He wore foam posits in game?
Yeah, those
He's
are his
different.
shoes. Like that logo, that's him.
He's crazy.
Yo,
They're
no
heavy.
way.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, it's him. Have you ever heard of the glove sneakers?
Football Gary Payton? Or-
Yeah.
Oh no, I have
You never
seen
seen them?
Uh-uh.
Bruh, they're cool too. I used to have them when I was younger. They're pretty cool too. This is how they look.
You know what they kind of look like?
It's
This
basically
is
like you're wearing a glove.
The Denzel Valentine Balenciaga shoe.
I know why you said that.
No, yeah, I feel like a lot of the old time players, like they have some really cool shoes, bro.
No, facts. The first cool shoe I had when I was younger was those Mellow Jordans.
Yeah.
I remember
Melo's
wearing.
cool.
I wore them too
Those
often.
are cool.
You could
Meadows had
argue.
motion.
Another player,
AIs had motion.
Vince Carter, the Nike Shocks. Nike
Nike
Shocks.
Shocks.
are
Did you guys have
huge.
the Shaq and ones?
No, I did not.
I did have those.
Nah,
I was a
wasn't wearing
big
no
guy,
Air
so I
Ones.
was wearing those Shaq ones. I felt like Diesel.
I had a lot of AI, the answer shoes. I
Okay.
had a lot of Nike Shocks.
Did you have the Marbury's?
No, I didn't. But
I
I
know
knew a lot of people. Yeah, I know a lot of
OD.
people that had the Marvel.
That shit went triple platinum in
I was
elementary
never
school.
gonna wear some Air Ones, bro.
No.
I like the Shaq Reeboks.
I had a lot of N1 shorts.
Like the
That
Shaq
too.
Gnosis. Those are Reebok sneakers because he had two. He had the pumps. He had the Shaq Gnosis. There might be another one, but those are like the big two. the Shaqnosis is basically like basically a shoe that looks like a Hypnosis, like
Okay.
like with the swirls and stuff. And then the pumps, it was just like something where you can press on it,
Like the John Cena stuff.
yeah,
Lit.
exactly, yeah, Reebok pumps, and I like them. I also like the Kamikazes.
You're
I
not
like
a fan
them.
of the N1s?
No,
Kamikaze was alright for sure. It was alright. I like their colorways.
nah. I feel like if I wore that, I would get made fun of.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't-
When I was younger, at least, like in high school, for sure. Like, bro, if I was rocking,
No,
some
if you're
Air
wearing
Ones-
N1s in high school, that makes sense. In elementary school, you wear N1s. cares?
It won high school.
Did people at elementary school know, like, damn, bro, you're poor?
And one as a freshman would have been crazy.
Not in high school. That's a fact.
Yeah, nah. When
I'd
I
be
was
like,
in middle
whoa.
school, that's when I started getting into sneakers. I used to trade with my friends, just sneakers. They used to have certain sneakers, and it sucked because I have a smaller foot than them, so I wouldn't always be able to trade with them. So that had to stop. Like once I got into high school, we couldn't really trade no more because
That
they
sucks.
were like a size 10. I was like a size 8. But in middle school, we used to trade a lot. Like if I liked some sneakers, like I traded for the gloves, I traded for the pennies. Like
Trading was a lost
Yeah.
art in back
I
in
was
the
just
day.
trading my
Yeah.
sneakers. I was like, okay, you like these Roche runs? Yeah,
Can't
I'll
buy
give
it,
you
but
these.
you got these, I got these. Let's see what we can do. Like,
That's lit.
Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's episode. 2,000x payouts just dropped, and the rewards have never been bigger. Build your lineup, lock it in, and win up to 2,000 times your cash. The NBA playoffs are here, folks. The play-in starts tomorrow.
Let's go.
How you guys feeling about it?
best time of the year. NBA playoffs. We just lost March Madness, which that was great. You know, NFL season is over. Now we have the NBA playoffs. We've been waiting for this. We got Houston, we got OKC, Cleveland, Boston, Minnesota, the Lakers, Golden State, all these great teams. I'm excited to see some hoops.
We got Mr. Playing and Stephen Curry going up against the Grizzlies. You know I'm going more on his points. He's going to dominate. He's going to get his.
I like that.
But do I know about the result? I don't know.
You know what I really like? I like Trae Young versus the Magic. I like Trae's assists, but I like Paulo's points. I think both of those two guys are going to really
Love
contribute
that.
to
You know
those
what
two
I
games.
really like? I like something that's been a lock all year, and that's Dyson Daniels steals.
Steals.
So whatever that is, more it.
It's a high forward.
So we're setting the lineup live. Paulo Banchero is at 30 points, John. You're
That's
still
high.
going more than that.
Doesn't
He's a
matter.
playoff riser.
Talk to
we
him.
saw it last year versus the Cavs. I think it's bold, but if the odds are there, the odds are there. Give me Paulo points.
And the steals, Riv, to your point, Dyson Daniels is at 3.5 for a demon if you want
I
to
don't know
go
if I'd
that
take that.
route.
That's high.
But if you want to go Goblin, it's at 1.5.
The Goblin is a lock,
Yeah.
but if you're a guy like me that loves to take
You're a
risks,
demon.
and if you are a demon, which
is a demon.
I undoubtedly am a demon, I would grab them more on that. Listen, Dyson's going to be everywhere on that court, and this game's going to matter.
And you know what I'm going with? I'm going with one of my favorite players in history. I'm going with Stephen Curry. 3.5 3-pointers made. I'm going more than that
cute.
against the Grizzlies. It's a Goblin. And we're going to set our lineup. We're going with Paulo 30 points, more than that. Dyson Daniels, you're on Demon Tommen. 3.5 steals for him.
But if you want to
4
be safe,
steals.
go 1.5.
Steph Curry, 3.5 3-pointers made. We're going with the Goblin, not the Demon. We're playing it safe. $20 to win 130. If you guys want to place your own lineup, go to PrizePicks and use code PAS. Play $5 and get $50. Yeah, my dad wasn't a big fan of it. My
I
dad
bet.
used to get me in trouble.
No, it makes sense. My dad used to always say, never use anything from anybody else. I was like, I get it, but you know, sometimes they got some good stuff. I want to try it out.
I remember when I first got the Legend Blue 11s, and I traded them. I got, like, literally somebody gave me 5 pair of Jordans for the Legend Blue 11s.
Damn.
Because this is when they first came out. So these are like the freshest shits on the block. My dad got it for me for my birthday. And I'm like, yo, I forgot who I traded, but I'm like, yo, bro, listen, I got Legend Blues for you. But I needed more sneakers. So I'm like, bro, give me like 3, 4, 5 pair of your kicks.
Did your dad say something about that or no?
Nah, he
Never
didn't
told
live
him?
with me. So he didn't find out. He just used to always ask, like, yo, where you? And I was just like, in the box.
A big part of trading was taking the insoles out of shoes, especially if you couldn't fit into somebody's sneakers. You take the insole out. I could never do that though. It was too uncomfortable. Like
They just wear no soles.
yeah,
in your
no
shoes.
soles in
Sounds
shoes.
terrible.
Yeah, it
I have
is
to
awful.
I have to wear like special arches because otherwise I'd have like really bad like foot issues.
You got flat feet?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So
I can't wear like dress shoes.
You got flat feet too? Damn.
Yeah, I can't wear dress shoes.
I don't wear an insole over dress
I'm
shoes.
also pigeon toed. So
No,
it's
my
like
shit
really,
arches.
Like, it's all, my foot's all fucked up, bro.
I think I am too.
You know what I'm about to do? The investment I've been thinking about making. I've been thinking about buying a ton of LeBron Barbie dolls.
Dude, I'm most definitely buying it. La Barbie?
It's $75.
75 beans. It's the easiest 75 I'll ever
It's a
spend.
lot.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, we might not get it.
They're available right now.
I thought it would go on sale like the 17th or
No,
something
they're
like that.
they're in Targets right now. You go
Are
buy
those
them.
the real,
sure?
the fake
100%.
cheap ones or the real ones?
No, they're the real ones. They're $75.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna double up in price in the next couple of years or so. That's why I'm thinking about making it. But yeah,
Oh, dude, it dropped today.
yeah, no, I saw a TikTok. They're at Target right now, bro.
Bro, we're selling.
Yeah, you can go get them right now.
We sold.
We're selling.
Yeah, you can go order them, online shipping, all this other stuff. Definitely want to get one though, just for maybe studio purposes. Put it somewhere, but yeah, no, I think they're gonna be worth a lot in the future.
Probably.
Damn. If I don't get a little Barbie, I'm gonna be tight.
I'm gonna hoard them, bro. I'm gonna buy like 5.
It's a smart idea.
Yeah, I'll buy like 5.
Dude,
keep them
no
in
bullshit.
packaging.
We should go today. If we don't go today, I don't know if we're gonna get one.
No, they might be sold out.
I'm
bro.
not. Yeah, we
It's
might
a lot
be screwed.
of people with the same mindset of wanting to resell it or just have it because it's LeBron. It's a whole bunch of different things. Are you gonna buy a little Barbie, John?
No, I'm probably going to. It sounds like a solid investment. You know what I'm saying? So
So this episode we're gonna do NBA awards, playing predictions, best storylines, and then we're gonna react to your hot takes. We put out a tweet last week about you guys giving us your playoff hot takes. We're gonna rate them 1 to 10. Then we're gonna have some NFL topics. So starting off with the NBA awards,
Let's do it.
the MVP.
This is going to be the easiest conversation that we're going to have today. Should be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Shout out to Joker. Elite
doubt.
season, top
No doubt.
5-3 offensive season ever. Give me SGA.
You could argue it's the best season offensively ever. It was
Definitely.
that dominant.
You definitely make that argument.
He was unbelievable. And you got to think how crazy of a season SGA had to have to take this award away from Jokic, because that's what somebody had to do. They had to take it away from him.
It's the winning margin. They're like 15, 16
it
games up.
Yeah.
And I also think a big part of it, obviously aside from SGA being one of the most efficient guards we've ever seen, having one of the most efficient guard seasons ever, being one of the best finishers, being the best player on the best team in the NBA, but he also plays defense at a very high level. Like, that's a big part as to why you look at him. And the only comp that what comes to my mind when I think about SGA is like, we haven't seen a player like this since Kobe. And before Kobe, it was Michael. The guy that has the two-way ability at that elite of a level.
Respect to D-Wade. Just a little bit.
Fair enough. That's on me. Agreed wholeheartedly.
in
But that's
between
the
that.
class that he's in
between
terms of MVP conversation. That's why Dwayne didn't come to mind, because he didn't win
Yeah.
the MVP after all. But 100% fact. That type of guard, the combo guard that can go out there and give you 30 any given night, but on top of it is giving you great to elite level defense on any given night. Not taking any shot at Jokic because his defense does get brought into question, but it's also in due part because his defense is in question, because he has to do so much on the offensive side. This is SGA. No real conversation to be had here, but again, Griff, well said. Jokic needs his flowers.
yeah, I do think there's a conversation to be had because Nikola Jokic is
I bet
averaging
you
triple
think so.
double on amazing efficiency.
I
He's
bet
also
you
been
think
terrible
so.
defensively.
Yeah, see, like John, I tried to make it a calm
He's a Denver
conversation.
fan. He's got a
I
lot
get
of
it, but
wins.
you had to know that Joel was going to say some slight to Jokic's
Jokic
defense.
I just
had a
think we have to
historic
talk
season.
about
He did.
defense.
Jokic did have an historic offensive
The Nuggets
season.
had a
Yes.
terrible team defense, and Jokic was a big reason
John,
for
we
that.
could have this conversation. Is this the best offensive season you've ever seen?
From a guard.
No.
This is me. This is number
Is
2.
this the best offensive season
Oh,
you've
from
ever seen from a
Jokic's end?
player?
Number 2.
No.
Who's number one?
Steph.
Unanimous 2016.
Yeah. Plus
I
he
think
won a
that-
shit ton.
I
He
think
did
that's
win.
the best season I've ever seen offensively, and Jokic should be number 2. Now, LeBron, 2013, he was also a deep boy candidate, defensive
Talk.
player of the year candidate that
Talk to him.
season. There's a few others. Kevin Durant in 2014. That's actually
Harden 2019.
I'm sorry. That's actually my fault. I always forget. I mean, his best
I feel like people always forget about
Hey,
Harden.
Kobe in
You wanna
what was that?
why I do?
05,
I do
04?
it because Harden's best offensive season was when Giannis won MVP, which is
Okay.
why I
And he
always
should
about
have
forget.
88
never
Jordan?
won that. MVP.
We
But
talking about like our
2019
era.
James Harden's,
That shit was
I
mad
think
long.
that would be number 3.
I think James Harden, you could realistically argue
God,
for him
James
winning
Harden.
4 MVPs in his career. 2019, he should have won MVP over Giannis, 100%.
He could do this
Hey,
with
no, agreed.
LeBron,
2018,
bro.
he should have won MVP. LeBron
LeBron
should
could
have
have
won
won
the cup.
MVP for 10
This is
years.
a lot. This is a lot. Like,
2017 could have been harder to over Westbrook.
No.
They had similar numbers.
hearing it.
Absolutely had similar numbers. And
It was the triple
Rockets
double.
Just be
won more.
grateful that
It
Harden
was a
won a
triple
single
double
MVP.
thing. He was
They should have won more.
you can
They
have
had
this
a bias against
conversation
him.
with playoff.
They had a bias against Harden.
No, they did
Yes,
not.
they did. Yes, they
He
did.
finished top
cares?
3 MVP voting 3 years in a row. Why is that
No,
a bias?
he finished top 2 5 years in a row.
All right, there you
And
go.
it's because they were biased against him and not voted him
Who
number
was
one.
the
Gave him the
What
award.
was the
Should've been
5
number
years in a
one.
row?
He won the award over
2015?
LeBron.
He finished, yeah. He did
2015.
finish top 2 2016.
Well, Steph won
All right,
unanimously.
there we go.
But
Was he 2? I thought LeBron was 2 in 2016.
I know 2015.
Did you
he was
just cap
definitely.
to me?
He must
No,
have.
no, no.
He must have.
Did
No,
you
no, but
cap?
hold up. 2017,
Yes.
2018,
Yes.
Yes.
2019,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it stops
2020.
Yeah,
there.
2020 he was not top 2.
2020 he
'Cause
averaged
that was LeBron.
35.
No,
That
we
was
know what he
LeBron.
averaged. Was he
No, we
top
got
2?
it. We got it.
Yeah,
We got him. We got him.
He was
capped.
he was top 2 for like 5
3 years.
bro.
No, it's 3 years.
No, no,
Fact
it's
check.
3
John,
years
are you fact
guaranteed.
checking that? Thank
John,
you.
I'm telling you right now, because 2020, it
Start
was
from
Giannis won,
2014.
LeBron 2.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
2020 Harden was not.
He was
top two.
not. He was not.
No,
You lied.
let's fact check that right now. Because you guys are going crazy.
Cap
You
early.
lied.
2020 was Giannis 1, LeBron 2, Harden 3.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I figured. You should say top
2019,
3.
2019 Harden
Yes,
was second.
yes.
2018 Harden won.
One.
2017
Okay.
2017 Harden was 2.
Uh-huh.
Him and Kawhi that year are great
I
cases.
said 3 years
Okay,
in a row.
John. I'm
2016 he was not top 3.
All right,
knew it.
John, I'm starting from 14 and 15. 2014, 15,
Yes.
Harden was number 2.
Yep.
2016 he
15,
was
16,
You lied.
Curry was 1. Harden, where the hell was he at? Number
You
9?
cap. You cap.
Get outta here.
2016 he was not top.
This is crazy. Okay,
Barely
so but
top.
that's 1 year.
Yeah,
he was
that's the
top
off
2.
year.
Okay,
wasn't
16,
top 3 that
17,
year.
he was number 2.
Yes.
Behind Westbrook. 17, 18, he was number
Mickey
1.
Mouse Award.
Yep.
18, 19, he was number 2.
Yep.
That's 4 years. 19, 20, he was number 3.
So you capped. It was not 5 years in a row. He was top 2.
So, but 4.
It was 3 years.
4 years.
4 or 5.
He was
So
he
he
did it
had
for
that.
4 years.
He was knocking on the
4
door.
years he was top 2.
No, I'm with you.
5
I
years he was
should-
top 3.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. You should have said.
No.
You should have said top 3.
You should have said top 3.
It still
Because that's
doesn't
what I
matter.
said.
I mean, 3 years in a row, top 2 still. It's still
Facts.
a remarkable feat. Never missed the playoffs in 16 years.
Talk your shit.
And he should have won more MVPs than just one.
Like, imagine you never turned your back on him. This
Yo,
would
like
be
imagine
turn my
you
back
never missed the playoffs. You still have no rings. That actually is insane to me. I would
always
be.
you
gotta
know,
go
you
there.
know
I would be
the
upset.
you know
Always
you
gotta
know
go there.
you know Harden and Curry's record head to head is 25 and 25. They're even.
Well, yeah, I believe it.
In the
And Curry's
playoffs,
had
is it?
without a
Does that
doubt more better
does
teams.
that
What is it in the
include
playoffs, I'm
playoff
wondering?
record?
Curry's had what?
including he has had way better teams than him.
He has.
Yeah, like for 2 years. Yeah, 3 years. 3 years. For 3 years. For
What do
sure.
you mean for the entirety of his tenure?
Harden was
pretty
just
much.
playing with Kevin Durant and Kyrie, and then Joel Embiid.
And he also
2015 Warriors are better. 2016 Warriors are better. 2017 Warriors are better. 2018 Warriors are better.
Stop there.
2019 Warriors are better.
Oh, 19. You're right. You're right.
19 Warriors were better.
The 2018 Rocket team is going to go down as one of the best teams ever to not win a championship.
2018 and Rockets teams was good.
That was a filthy team.
It wasn't
No.
the
With
Warriors good.
2015
both
Harden
Chris
had him
Paul
2 seed. You know what I'm
and
saying?
Harden clicking together. I mean, that's
PJ
one of
Tucker.
yeah. Anyways, if we can take this back,
Let's get back to winners.
The real MVP
wow.
this season, what we were talking about before.
Is
Shea
yours?
is also
Oh,
Shea is
okay.
my MVP, of course, too. Because this is a season that what I was going to compare it to was Kevin Durant's MVP season in 2014, where he leads the league in scoring, and Westbrook misses half the season. And I think that can be used very comparatively with this year from Shea, because they're 13-0 this year without their second best player in Jalen Williams. And we've seen for a good part of the season they've been missing one of their two bigs, whether it's Ihart or Chet. And even with that, the Thunder were a 68-win team, and Shea really laid a foundation, kind of a basis in that culture that I think we credit Mark Dagnall a lot for building it. But night in, night out, Shea was very consistent. And of course, when we talk about the production, it was pretty historic. He's kind of reinvigorated the mid-range part of basketball. I think guys like Kevin Durant, D Book, as well as DeMar DeRozan have really helped that along the way through the years. But Shea this year has also kind of built that further along to where you can be a very efficient scorer with a heavy mid-range package. And so that's a very dynamic part of his case. It kind of layers the impressiveness of it. So Shea, to me, is really having one of the 5 best guard seasons I've seen. And for him to be in the same company as Harden and D Wade and Steph at his peak, I think that speaks to why he deserves the award.
John, can I ask you a question? So wait, you picked SGA, right?
I just want to monologue for 2 minutes about it.
Yeah. So you have SGA, yet you think the Joker deserves a conversation to win it? Why didn't you just pick the Joker?
I think Joker has a good case, but so hard.
Well, you
about
can't
that.
overlook what Nikola Jokic did.
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
pick a side,
has-
you
no,
want.
I
He
didn't.
has a
I'm saying,
good
why did
case.
you just
You
pick the
can't.
Joker?
Because I don't.
What are you doing?
I didn't pick Joker because I think Shea is the MVP, not Joker.
Okay. I
But
thought
Joker
you,
is a good case.
I thought you was just riled with the Joker, to be honest.
No, because he did say it's a conversation. I can understand. It's pretty a short conversation.
Okay.
I just think SGA, he was just as impactful offensively as Jokic this year. I know that people are going to look at the PRA numbers, the points, and the assists. Well, he led the league in points, SGA did. But the assist numbers for Jokic are there. I feel like if OKC ran their offense around SGA and those actions similarly to how the Nuggets run their offense around Jokic, he could have had those assist numbers. I've seen
Hot take, Joel.
I don't know.
That's a scorching hot take.
I've seen this year. I've seen this year OKC.
Sold this out.
I've seen.
I've
seen this year.
You put that shit back in the microwave. That needs to go back
You
in
just don't.
ASAP.
I ain't gonna lie. Don't finish
shit.
that. Don't finish that. Don't finish that. Don't finish that.
I've seen this year. Jalen Williams, when he started at center for the OKC, had 2 triple doubles.
On defense, he's OD at the 5.
Jokic is 7 feet tall. That's what allows him to do things
He's
that
just a
other
better
people
passer.
can't.
It's a lot of triple.
And
it's
yes,
a lot
he
of triple
also-
handoffs.
He's just a better passer by far.
Okay,
Like,
I don't want it. Let's not say Jokic is
he's
a dribble
not a dribble
handoff
handoff
guy.
merchant. That's not him. That's the wrong guy. That's
They
the
use a
wrong
lot
guy.
of that in their offense.
Have you watched Nikola Jokic the last 5 years? Am I the only ones who are watching play?
Yo, I have
Nobody's
tears in my
denying.
eyes.
Nobody's denying that
actually
he's
have tears
an
in my
elite,
eyes.
gifted, one of the best
I
passers of
get
all
what you're
time.
saying,
but
but
with
the
the amount of
assist- the assist argument is poor.
Jalen Williams, OKC, when they ran their offense through him with a bunch of dribble handoff actions, he had 2 games with 10+ assists. He had 2 triple doubles. If OKC did something similar with having SGA having a bunch of dribble handoffs in a game, he could have did something similar too. If they run their offense that way, SGA still, I mean, he averaged 6 assists per game, and the value that he brought offensively to OKC was just as big as the value that Jokic brought to Denver offensively.
Yeah, I hear that.
And then SGA's defensive value was much higher than Jokic's.
That's a
Not
fact.
only with the steals, but the blocks.
Yeah, that's a fact.
SGA averaged more blocks than Jokic this year. He's 6'6".
The one thing I want to say that I constantly keep saying, to be top 3 in points, rebounds, assists, and steals, that is insane.
His efficiency too.
Jokic
for
is
a
crazy.
Good part of the season is leading the league in 3-point
And
percentage.
his 3-point shot is back. Like last year, got brought into question, especially after the WCF, where he goes 2 for 10 and they forced him to be a jump shooter. Well, Rudy Gobert really did a good job of pushing him outside the paint, and he settled for those jump shots, was not hitting them. This year, he made it a point of emphasis on one of the most efficient 3-point shooters in the league. So I got to give him his flowers in that regard. But basketball's 2 sides. Stop, bro. I'm trying to move on.
What the hell? I'm not doing anything.
Basketball is 2 sides. And for that
John
reason,
said you need to put that shit back in the.
Denver is 5th in dribble handoff frequency.
I believe. Who's the first one in front of?
The Nets are
Kings?
number 1.
Oh, wow.
The Kings are number 2.
Yep.
The Pistons are 3. The Jazz are 4. The Nuggets are 5.
Kings. That's the real
that's the
dribble
real.
handoff merchant
Respect
right
him,
there.
though. I don't
Seven-
like that.
seven-
He had a career year.
7.7%
He's
frequency
also
for the
arguably
Kings.
yeah.
The Nuggets are at 6.2% frequency. OKC ranks towards the bottom of the league in that. They're, I think,
believe that,
22nd.
yeah.
You have the Grizzlies 30th, the Celtics 29th, the Bulls 28th, the Suns 27th, the Lakers 26th, the Pacers 25th, the Magic 24th, the Sixers 23rd. OKC was 22nd.
I also think Denver has like the players for dribble handoff. Like you got Jamal Murray, you got Michael Porter Jr. And
I
stuff
mean,
like that.
how many times is it Jokic setting a screen, passing, and then Jamal
But there's a lot of
Murray,
times
MPJ
where
hitting
the
a
Joker's
three?
in the post and he's
Yeah.
hitting dudes off
Yeah,
the
no
cut.
doubt
He's
about
Why
it.
hitting
would
off the back door.
SGA be doing dribble handoffs? You
If
know
they
what I
wanted
mean?
to boost up his assist numbers.
Yeah,
guard.
but to me, it just doesn't make sense. That's really what it is. Like, you don't run
perimeter
dribble
player.
handoffs with your 6'6" lead guard.
You could run dribble handoffs with a guard, though.
Yo, John's killing me, bro.
He's a guard. He's a guard.
Like,
You
with
put him on
Steph
the-
Curry, like,
No.
to boost up his numbers, like,
He
really
just run
like,
pick and
yo,
roll. Just
let's
non-
just run this
yeah,
dribble
no.
handoff
Alright,
real
Shay,
quick.
get on the up or DH out there. I'm sorry. I can't help myself.
But with those, with Jokic, his
It makes sense.
His passes lead most of the time directly to a shot, especially when it comes to dribble handoff.
Yeah.
When it comes to dribble handoff, he is passing it directly to a player that the entire play is for that player
doubt.
to shoot the ball. With SGA, yeah, of course, there's not as much dribble handoff action.
Shouldn't be.
But
I don't want MPJ doing anything else.
Jalen Williams, when they ran the offense through him, when they had players that were resting, he had 2 triple
doesn't
doubles.
that make sense, too?
When they ran the offense through
Actually,
him.
again,
But that makes sense.
Shut John. Shut.
With SGA, it's a lot of blitzing him and then him passing it to the center of the court and then somebody making a secondary pass.
Joel,
so
I'm-
SGA is getting a lot of hockey assists.
I understand what you mean. It's just when you are the lead guard, not more often than not,
Lead
you're not
guards
gonna
get
run.
blitzed.
You're not going to run DHOs. You're not.
You can though.
But you theoretically shouldn't because they're not your best screener. Jokic is their best screener, and he's also their best ball handler and best playmaker. That's why they run DHOs.
But
that's why Sabonis, maybe not their best ball handler, but
He's a great screener.
he's a great screener.
The elite screener.
It's all
Shit.
about how you utilize the player, and SGA is not being utilized to juice up his assist numbers.
Well,
I mean, why would you? Why would you? He's the best scorer in the
exactly.
league.
He's a
33
bucket.
points
Yeah,
a
he's
game.
like his best ability is to score the ball. The Joker's people be trying to make Joker a passer or like a scorer because his passing is so ridiculous.
Great point right here. Should we turn Anthony Edwards into a DHO type of player?
He comes off them a lot.
But no. Should he be the one initiating them?
No, Rudy Gobert is one of the best screeners.
It
in
makes sense.
basketball.
Like, why would you do that for Ant-Man?
I'm not saying they should do that. I'm just saying that a lot of Jokic's assists come from that.
It's also because of how easily
If
he
Jokic wasn't the
manipulates-
best passer in the league,
His interior passing is so easy, and he gets a lot of the hockey assists too. When he plays a Russ, it's just interior passing with the two of them, and find Aaron
point.
Gordon or Payne. Everyone's getting hockey assists, especially in Jokic's case where he can thread a needle because he's the best passer at his position and relative to his size in the world. I do think a cool part of this MVP case is we're watching two historic scoring seasons. Shea, 33 points a game. I know people cite the three throw numbers. I get it. He also gets to the line a lot because he drives a lot. He initiates contact a lot. He's manipulative.
But among every
And-
30-point per game scorer, he's taking the least amount of free throws.
yeah, and when you take, even if you take away the three throws, he's averaging 25 points
He's
a
a
game
demon.
without three throws.
We're only
which is
watching one
incredible.
historic scoring season.
Well,
That's
Jokic
SGA.
is averaging 30 points a game on 66% true shooting.
Jokic
He's-
is not going.
Jokic is not having a historic
You don't
scoring
like the
season.
Joker? You don't like the Joker?
I
If you
do,
don't think
but
it's historic,
is he
it's
having a
fine.
historic
Semantics.
scoring season?
Dude, his
Offensive
3-point
season.
percentage is
42%.
stupid.
A scoring
Averaging
season?
30
No.
and 7-footers. A fish. He's
You
nuts.
and I would agree this is an art of semantics.
What's
here.
his attempts too? Like, I'm genuinely
He's taking
curious.
less than 20 attempts
I
a game,
believe
getting
it.
30 a
I
game.
believe
I
it.
think
Listen,
Jokic is
he's
having a
shooting-
historic offensive season, not a
Okay,
scoring
fine.
season only.
I'm not going to argue about that, but
I
he's
think
having...
SGA is the only historic
He's
scoring
averaging
season.
fine.
30. It's 29.6.
better efficiency than
But
Shaq.
he's averaging
But
30.
Shea's had a better scoring
He
season.
has.
Shea's had an historic guard season to score. I'm not meaning to equate the two equally. But what I am saying is that Jokic is having a sensational scoring season as well because 66% true shooting to get to 30 points a game is pretty incredible. You see, that type of efficiency is something you see from lob threats and play finishers, not someone who's an engine of an offense.
You're
He's
right.
shooting
That shit
almost-
has 64% true shooting.
That's
as a
lower than
guard.
Yeah, that's incredible too. But I think it's impressive
amazing.
that he's back up to 40% from three. He's at 62% from two, and he's at 80% at the free throw line. So you're talking about nearly 60, 40, 80 splits. And I think that is something which, when the Nuggets have needed offense, you look at that Minnesota game where he dropped 60 points. It's no MPJ, it's no Jamal Murray, it's Nikola Jokic go to work on a three-time Defensive Player of the Year, and he could do it.
So what's the separator for you and why SGA is the MVP? Is it the winning or is
He
it
knows
It's
what
a
it is. He
combination
knows
of
what it
team
is.
success and the magnitude of his season.
I'll
And
say
it's-
this.
He's getting wide. He's defensively he plays the world too, but in all seriousness, I think Shea has had a better scoring season. As I'm not.
who's had the
saying
best
that you're
individual season between the
Both of them
two?
are shooting 63%.
If you're
true
eliminating
shooting.
team success, I mean,
That's
that
OD.
kind of changes the. And then it's the best player in the league award, and I think it'd be like
No. It's
For
not the
SGA
best player in
to
the
do
league
that,
world. It's who's having
it's
the best
crazy.
season.
Yeah.
So
Who's having a better
so
individual season?
You're
Jokic?
eliminating the impact on their team. If you
No,
I'm asking.
what are you
Yes,
even
yes.
talking
Their
about?
their,
If you were
imp- their
to-
impact individually
If you
on
were
their team.
to, then I think it comes down to the best player in the league, and that award would be Nikola Jokic this season.
So you think Jokic has been the best player
Oh, shit.
in the league this year?
Yeah,
He's
you
having the
would-
best season.
I think you and I would agree it's almost been a 1A, 1B with him and Shea, and you can split hairs because Shea's been so great
It's the
defensively.
team record.
Or so good defensively, and relative to Jokic, I think that closes the gap as a playmaker. And I think Shea might have a slight edge. He does have a slight edge as a scorer, so it can go either way. But
I understand what you're saying.
I
It's
would
not
go
too
with-
wrong if you pick
I
Jokic.
mean,
I mean, it's a good
the
battle.
Nuggets the last 6 years haven't had a bench. They haven't had anyone who
No.
the best backup's been DeAndre Jordan, who's 37 years old. So and he's been actually their most helpful backup after their perimeter player. So
Well,
I think
team wins and impact on the team, I think, are two different things. The impact on your team can lead to those
but they are
wins.
connected.
They, in a sense, but not necessarily entirely, because you can say that Jokic is having a bigger impact on his team than SGA if that's what you believe, and it doesn't mean that they have to have more wins. The reason why SGA is the MVP for me is because I do think he's having a bigger impact this season overall. And with the lineups without any of the other starters on the court, the net ratings that SGA has been able to put forth with not so good lineups around him and the bench lineups,
John,
I
right.
think
You're
is the
right.
reason why
Real quick.
I take SGA.
Shout out to Carson. He put this out and it immediately came to mind because I remember reading this. Nuggets over the last 3 years with Jokic on, MPJ and Jamal off, they're at a plus 9.4 net. Jokic on, Jamal and AG off, they're at a plus 9.3
They're all
net.
positive, aren't they?
Jokic on, Jamal, MPJ, and AG off, they're 4 points positive net.
That's incredible.
Jamal
That's
and
90
AG
million.
on, Jokic off, minus 4.3. Jamal and MPJ on, Jokic off, minus 7. Jamal, MPJ, and AG on, Jokic off, minus 7.7. Without Jokic, we're legitimately talking about a lottery team.
They're both pretty
Not
impactful.
literally. It's the bottom 5 team in the league without him.
That's where John, if you wanted to say Jokic, you get your hand shaken by everybody here because
No.
he makes the best case for him.
I
I
will
don't think
say
he's going
Jokic.
Jokic. I think he's going SGA
Yeah,
already.
we all picked SGA.
No, MVP is different from this conversation
This
right
is the
here.
best player this season.
I
think
think
that-
impactful,
But I
think
think
he
it's
has
kind
to
of
still count.
it's kind of one and the same. Best individual season, best season. I think is the MVP overall.
Does the Joker
that
not
should
have
be your
the,
MVP pick?
the LeBron tax right now? Where
Absolutely.
Joel,
he
you're
might
right.
not
No,
win MVP,
no,
but he's
no,
the
no.
best player
I'm
in
not
the
going to
world.
say in this. I'm not
Not
going to
as
say in
extreme
this
as
year.
LeBron.
Not this year.
This
The
year's different.
Embiid, he got the tax for when Embiid
No,
won it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm saying where the
LeBron
Joker's
could have won
still,
6 years in a
No,
row.
I get
but
where
they
it's
didn't
come
give
from.
him
Viewed as the
much
best
more
player
than
in the world.
Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. He got taxed when Embiid won it. I think that the playoffs played a little bit into it, even though Jokic
I
was
don't
the
think
best
that was
player.
tax. That was a bullshit narrative. That's
a
what
little
it
bit of
was.
both.
It's bullshit.
This-
And also Embiid had a great year too.
See, but then I wouldn't say this year is taxed. I wouldn't. Because, yeah, Jokic can still be the best player in the world, but you can say, because he has had it, SGA's had the best season. And that's okay to say.
That's why
yeah.
I think SGA has had the best individual season over the last 3 years. I mean, we already know without Jokic on the court, the Nuggets aren't that good.
I mean, it says a
SGA this year,
60 million off the bench. They're minus 7.
No, it's crazy.
I'm
SGA
taking
on
Tyler
the
That
court,
price tag.
and Chet, Hartenstein, and Jalen Williams all off the court. SGA has played 1,355 possessions. OKC they have a plus 27.9 point differential, 100 percentile,
Yep.
134.3 offensive rating, 100 percentile, and defensive rating is 106.4, 97 percentile. So even when he's not with the next 3 best players on the team, they have a point differential of
Plus 27. That's nuts.
27.9. And that's where I think his impact on his team this year has been bigger than Jokic's impact on the Nuggets this year.
That's a fair point. I do think you can't overlook just how good their bench is.
100%.
A player like Aaron Wiggins, Cason Wallace is one of the best defensive playmakers in the league.
Be the best
you
player off the
forget
bench
you have
for them.
Alex Caruso as well in that
The
mix.
defense is astounding.
Jalen Williams, I mean, he's an underrated player because he can shoot, he can space, he's got good hands, so you could actually kind of funnel stuff through him as well. So there's a lot of different players in Oklahoma City that fill a role in those lineups.
Didn't
that
mention
help
Lou
them, too.
Dort in that lineup, too. So Lou
I
Dort
didn't
counts
mention
in
Lou
there,
Dort.
too.
Yeah, their best. It's the most possessions played is 73, plus 63. It's SGA, Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, and Jalen Williams, the center.
Defense.
Not Jay
And what
Dub.
are they at there with that lineup?
Their plus 63 point differential, 137 offensive rating.
Yeah, they definitely be the 2016 Thunder. This team. This
Oh,
current
I mean,
season.
that's not a
we had
question
this.
to
We
me.
had this debate.
Well, it wasn't a debate.
It wasn't
Everybody
a debate.
agreed,
It wasn't.
yeah.
Everyone agreed, and yeah. This current
But
Oklahoma
yeah,
City team is clearly the best.
I don't think you're
franchise.
wrong. And I think, OKC has arguably the best depth in the league, but I also think that usually with those lineups, you'd expect plus 6.
Yeah, facts.
Plus 7.
Plus 27.
For you to be plus 27 and with one of the 73 possessions plus 68, and for because SGA is the only offensive engine in those lineups, and you're generating 130 plus offensive ratings. Like that's where I
with
think
you.
he's had more of an impact individually on his team this year.
I am surprised this conversation went as long as it did, but at the same time, I get where each side can come from. Because again, SGA is just having one of those, but Jokic, every single time he steps on the court, you're expecting history. So it's a fun conversation to have. No wrong side, which is usually not the case.
Defensive player of the year, I went with Draymond Green.
I respect
and
that.
I feel like right now, if anybody goes with Draymond Green, people think that you're just conforming to the media machine that Draymond is and went on his publicity tour. But I feel like people say it's a year-long award and then knock Draymond for this stretch once they got Jimmy Butler post-trade deadline. Even though Draymond has been elite defensively all year long, the Warriors, just for most of that time, were just very mid and irrelevant. So nobody paid attention to how elite he was defensively. And when Jimmy Butler came and started winning, so that got magnified. It is a year-long award, which is why you can't knock Draymond for this stretch And you have to take into account Evan Mobley's stretch for half of the season. Since January 1st, the Cavaliers have been an average defense. I think they're 14th in defensive rating.
Since January 1st, 15th. So
15th in defensive rating. So they're literally average. They're an average defensive unit since January 1st. Defensive player of the year, no matter who it is, I feel like you at least, the requirement is to have a top 10 defensive rating if you win that award.
Which Cavaliers are.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think Evan Mobley is in the conversation, but you cannot tell me that Draymond doesn't deserve credit for this surge the Warriors went on, and you have to just ignore the numbers after January 1st with Evan Mobley and the Cavaliers and how the defense has dropped off dramatically.
I agree, and I don't want to talk too much about this because Riv, it seemed like you were interested in saying something.
Like, I'll be honest, if we're talking about consistency all year long, Ivica Zubac is the defensive player of the year.
That's a fine statement too. I want to say this. Nah, I kind of lost my train of thought. That's a shame. Regardless, Golden State Warriors have been incredible. Draymond Green has been really good once Jimmy has gotten there. Got it. The argument that your team, it should be a requirement that your team is top 10 defensive rating. It's tough for me to fully get behind it.
Is valid.
Here's why. Who was going to win DPOY? If he never got hurt, it was going to be Victor Wembanyama. Were the Spurs going to be a top 10 defense? They were not going to be.
He's probably the only exception.
And I agree with that, which is why I'm fair to say, well, it's Victor. He's an alien. He's not normal. I'm fine with that being the argument against it. But that's just a counterpoint to the
him on the
dragged
court,
him
probably
defense,
like a
dragged
top
them to
10
average.
They were fringe.
Yeah.
They were like 12 to 14. Early in the season, they were top 10, but as the season went on, they were around that range. I only say that where I don't disagree with what you're saying, Joel. Draymond Green has a strong case and will most likely win Defensive Player of the Year. For me, I'm kind of looking at the entirety of things, and for the entirety, absolutely, Draymond has been great, but I've seen the Cavaliers from start to finish be great. And although from January 1st on, like you mentioned, they haven't been the strongest defense, 15 in defensive rating. Mobley went from an egregious 13% field goal percentage difference when he was the defender as opposed to not. That post January 1st, it was around 3% difference. Yeah. So he wasn't the same elite level defender that he once was early in the season. I just think that you look at the entirety of things, the fact that he is their best player, he is their best defensive player, he is their defensive anchor, and they are the number one team in the Eastern Conference. They're the second best team in the NBA. There's a part of me that leans Evan Mobley because of that narrative as well, but to me, it's splitting hairs at this point. Draymond's been amazing. I think Mobley's also been amazing. I think that the consistency that I've seen from Draymond Green, especially once that Jimmy Butler came to the Golden State Warriors, I can understand why he is the favorite. Also, he is an all-time great defender. I take Mobley because, again, I think that the narrative with him being on the number one seeded team, him being the best defensive player on a top 5 defense in the NBA, I lean Evan Mobley.
Eye test tells me Draymond just wanted it more. Like, genuinely.
That's a good point, too.
Dre just wanted it more. I mean, I had these numbers up. Defensive team rating, Golden State's at 6. Cavs are at 9. Defensive team rating individually, Draymond's at number 9. Evan Mobley's at 11. Opposing field goal difference, Draymond's at minus 5.1. Evan Mobley's at minus 3.3. Defensive EPM, Draymond's at 6. Mobley's at 32. Defensive LeBron, Draymond's at 2. Mobley's at 13. Defensive DPM, Draymond's at 2. Mobley's at 89. Defensive box plus minus, Draymond's at 4. Mobley's at 19. So not only is Draymond beating him in advanced statistical like all advanced stacks, from the eye test, it just shows you he wants it more. Like, and I think what we just talked about the SGA, being able to anchor offensive lineups, that's exactly what Draymond has been doing with Golden State for damn near 10 years. Specifically this year, where he's anchored lineups with Buddy Hield and Steph. He's anchored lineups with Steph, with Jonathan Kuminga. You know, now with Jimmy, it's giving him extra added help. But we saw last night Draymond Green take the Kawhi assignment late in the game after Jimmy was getting cooked up. Like, that's the type of versatility Draymond has to be able to anchor against Zubac, and then you have to also go out there and guard Kawhi, and then on nights he has to guard Sabonis, guard AD, then switch out and guard Luka. Like, he is truly a specimen at 6'7". His IQ is just off the charts. But I think Mobley Mobley and Jaren, I think Jaren lost it probably like a month or two ago. Mobley lost it around All-Star break because they just haven't been super locked in on that end. I think they've kind of been coasting on that end from a team perspective, and that's hurt him in this award. But Draymond Green's had to be locked in since January. Had to be locked in. He was great before that, but he's been super, super elite with Jimmy Butler getting on the team because now he can officially focus on being the anchor. But I don't mind him, Mobley, Draymond, Jaren winning it. I have Draymond winning it. Don't care who really wins it. I think all of them have made a great case this year. I think Draymond has probably the best case, and lately he's been the loudest while also having the loudest performances on the defensive end. So for me, I got Draymond. I think he's earned it the last 20, 25 games, and I do think it should be an all-season award, but if Mobley was consistent, he probably would have locked up the award.
Easy.
But because he wasn't consistent and Draymond started to really, really be on, like they started to really surge.
He was perfect.
Be a great team. And now you started to see the Warriors climb up and now they have their record. You know what I'm saying? I think Draymond gets it.
So my defensive player of the year is Evan Mobley. And I think a big important conversation with this award is highlighting, of course, the support that you have. The Cavaliers this year decided to kind of switch their philosophy, which was staggering them into their two bigs. And this year, Evan Mobley played 2,300 minutes without Jared Allen on the floor, whereas they played 2,200 together. And in those lineups, a lot of the time, it wasn't great defenders. In fact, it was lineups to Georges Niang, Sam Merrill, and two undersized guards. And in those lineups, the Cavaliers with Evan Mobley as the anchor had for the entirety of the year, 111 defensive rating, which would be top 10, and in fact be equal to the Warriors' defensive rating for the entirety of this year. And that's very important because the Cavaliers this year became one of the best offenses in basketball because they need to add that extra shooter on the floor to open up the game for their two guards. And that give and take was accessible to them because Evan Mobley was a great anchor that can guard in space as well as any big in the entire NBA. Draymond can do it very well, but I believe that Evan Mobley has a very overlooked case because people are basically, what I'm hearing now is that after the All-Star break and the last month or so after the Cavaliers all but had the number one seed, that was when Evan Mobley lost the award when they already were 5 games above the Celtics and were the one seed in the Eastern Conference.
Way more.
And if it was more, though, that even helps Evan
No
Mobley's
doubt.
case even
100%,
more
I'm with
because
you.
in the point in the season that shot the Cavaliers up the standings and at one point had the best record in the NBA until the Thunder passed them, it was Evan Mobley defensively who was a consistent, reliable force. With him and Jared Allen together, they had a 110 defensive rating. I just believe that the Cavaliers could not become the team that they are now. And more importantly, Evan Mobley is my defensive player of the year because of his unmatched versatility. And I do believe that we are overestimating the last month, the last 6 weeks, and overlooking his start to the season. So Evan Mobley would be my defensive player of the year.
I don't think we're overestimating it. Those are season-long stats, as you mentioned, correct? And Draymond Green was winning most of them.
They're pretty significant too.
Yeah, it's
They're
like
pretty
it's a
significant.
good gap. Like Dre's,
What is defensive LeBron?
Yeah, it's a tricky. The
LeBron?
advanced stats
it's
confuse
like
me
it's
too.
like an impact stat. It's from B-Ball Index.
But defensive EPM
Yeah.
is estimated plus minus, and Draymond's higher than that. He's top 6, and Evan Mobley's 31st.
Yeah. Yes. You said EPM, yes. Draymond Mobley's 32. Draymond was number 6.
Okay, so
Draymond's top 10 in all of these.
and we're talking about season-long stats. This is where I
Season long, the Cavaliers have relied on Mobley being the only positive defender. On the floor
season
for half the
long.
lineups.
This is what Draymond's stats are.
The back end hurt Mobley. It hurt Mobley.
He's not wrong in that statement though.
He's not.
was-
There are
He's
not
very
many.
posted.
Yeah, there
I
are
mean,
not
him
many.
with Georges Niang, Sam Merrill, and the two guards. They
gonna
had a
say.
92 defensive rating.
Not
But I'll
even just
say-
coasting.
but
It's
I'll-
talking
I'll
about
say
supporting
this, John.
cast.
They traded Niang at the deadline.
Yeah.
That's when it started a little bit
That's
before
50
that.
games.
Yeah, it started a little bit before that, but then after that, that's when they started to coast. Because I agree with you. I think when they were up more than 5. It was like 9
It
to
was-
10,
yeah, it
11
was-
games.
it was
They were up in the
OKC
first seed,
levels.
and they were
better.
like coasting.
I know
But
they finished.
that was when they traded Niang and they traded LeVert and stuff like that. So I think it's on Mobley that he lost the award.
But I think the season long stats for Draymond obviously are incredible. I think they went to a whole new height when, like you mentioned,
Yes.
he got to focus on defense. I don't need to be the guy that has the ball and I'm initiating the offense, trying to get Steph going in motion and hitting him coming off screens. That became Jimmy's responsibility. And on top of it, also, Jimmy is a really strong defensive player. That's not trying to take anything away from him. He's gone to a whole other level. He's been great. He went to the best defender in the world, unquestionably, where we stand right now. That's how great he was. So I'm here on both sides for the first time ever, but I'm taking Mobley because, again, I think that, like John's adding, The support that he has was limited. On top of the fact they were dominating so much so that they afforded the luxury to go into cruise control. That's where I'm with.
That's the same thing with Draymond,
What
though.
support does Draymond have that is not as good or is worse or is not as good as
what would
the Cavaliers?
He's not
Would
a-
GP
Danny Wiggins and Gary Payton.
Yes.
And Kyle
I was
Anderson.
going to say GP goes.
Kyle
the
Anderson didn't
trade.
play. He didn't play
Fair
much.
enough.
Wiggins is a perimeter. He's a POA defender. He's not this great team defender. GP is also POA
Can
defender.
you argue Mobley is their POA?
No.
Like,
Nah.
who's their POA?
They don't have
They don't have
LeVert.
one.
They're more-
That's kind of my
They're
point.
more team oriented.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like
yeah.
the fact that Mobley was forced into you have to be perfect.
He wasn't their POA defender though.
No, I'm not saying that. No.
That was
I was kind of
Terrence.
making a joke. Like they don't have one, but Wiggins was their POA. They had that afforded luxury, and then now Jimmy goes to the team, and now he really gets to lock in on defense. Doesn't have this offensive responsibility. Not that it was ever anything game
Like
changing.
the thing about it is that I look at those numbers that Riv laid out, and I feel like we are minimizing what Draymond Green has done all season
I don't disagree.
by saying it was just a surge, a couple week thing when the full season stat shows that he was better for the full season. And if Defensive Player of the Year is a full season stat and or full season award, and the stats show that for the entirety of the season, Draymond has been more impactful defensively, then he is Defensive Player of the Year.
I want to say this, and the only thing that it'll answer my curiosity is I'm wondering where his numbers were prior to Jimmy
No, they
Butler
were
getting
great.
there.
They
No,
were great.
and I don't doubt that they weren't. Like I believe they were.
Like they were a top 8 defense.
100%.
Their offense was.
100%. But
know?
I think that this surge was
It's upped them up to like top 2.
he's
top 3.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Not that he was
Jimmy's he's a world's better defender than
But
Wiggins.
John, I don't think you or I are saying he was bad.
I mean, if anyone thinks Draymond's a bad defender, they
Of
don't
course.
watch.
Yeah,
Probably
no,
We
I know what you're
despise
saying.
Draymond.
I know what you're saying.
That he took it to new heights once Jimmy got there. He was still great.
I know what you're saying.
But they were otherworldly. He was otherworldly post.
Yeah, he got a little help.
100%.
when they were-
And that's
yeah, I
that's
get
what
you're
was
saying.
to be expected.
I don't hate that.
That's why I understand where you come from, Joel. I'm not trying to minimize what he was all season. I just think that, yeah, he was really good. He became the best defender post Jimmy.
Is it that he became that, or did people just start paying attention to it?
People started paying attention.
A
to
little both.
Because he's always been that.
No,
He has
100%. But I think that he was able to
This
get
year-
back to this level
I think
defense.
what it
Year-
was, and before you guys, I think what it was before the deadline, Draymond was elite. But Draymond had to clean up so
Yes.
much stuff
Yes.
that when Jimmy got there, now he can clean up stuff
100%.
and Jimmy can clean up
Yes.
stuff while Draymond's not on the floor.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's no doubting that they became better defensively with Jimmy Butler.
For sure.
But with Draymond Green on the court and Jimmy Butler off the court this
Still
year,
elite.
2,580 possessions. And Draymond Green, when he was on the court, the Warriors had a 112.4 defensive
they're
rating,
still elite.
amazing.
which would rank top 10. It would
still
be
elite.
number 10. It would be number 10.
Okay, that's still really
It's
good.
the same defensive rating that Wembanyama had when he was on the court. Right.
See, but that was my point about defensive rating when it came to Wemby. It's like he's
He was
amazing.
top, but he led them to top 10 on
10
defense.
flat?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying is like Draymond, he's been elite defensively all year long. It's just people started paying attention when they started winning games.
I will clean one thing up. I said minutes instead of possessions, but Mobley had 2,300 possessions without Allen 22 with them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love the staggering they do. I really do.
it makes sense to do
I
it.
think Mobley runs with D Mitch and DG runs with Allen, or it might be vice. But I know they always do the one guard, one big, and then one guard.
It generally has been like Mitchell and Allen. And then
Yeah, so
Mobley
it's
and DG.
I love it. I love it. It works for them. So it's and then now you got D Hunter, so it's like really lit.
Most improved player. This is Cade Cunningham's award, I think, at this point.
He's gonna win it, but
He's
let's,
gonna win
let's
it.
give the credit.
why?
Let's give the credit to these other guys.
Who could
Christian
have predicted
Brown,
the first
Dyson.
overall pick jumping up a
No,
little
I'm
bit
with
in
you.
year 3,
Like these
year
other
4.
players have improved. Zubac, Dyson, Christian Brown. Like
Yep.
this is for
think Reeves
these
has-
these awards. Even Praying Pritchard to a degree. Like
Can I say
think
Austin Reeves? Am I
Austin
allowed?
Reeves, I wouldn't hate that either. Like listen,
Ty
Cade-
Jerome and Reeves, although
Ty
some of those
Jerome's another
in
one.
Jerome's case, I think, is more opportunity and health than improvement itself.
Cade's gonna win it, but we need to kill that whole number one,
they
number
should get
two
rid of
pick
the award
finally
at
being
that point.
elite. Like
No, I like the most improved award. I do like
no, I
it.
like it, but we
At
need
first,
to,
they
we
gave
need
the
to change
second
it.
overall pick who took a jump in year 3.
100%. No, the John Morant MIP was
pointless award.
dog shit. But SGA not winning it and them giving it to Laurie, that kind of gave me hope for the award again.
Yeah, it did.
It did, because that was the right
Siakam
move.
winning,
Correct.
McCollum,
Randall winning
Oladipo.
at one time, I think that was a move.
Definition of
Oladipo.
most
Yeah.
improved.
Oladipo
But Randall was
most
top
improved.
5.
Fact, he was.
But
Yo.
he changed the narrative.
He
You know what I'm
did.
saying? That's fine with me. I don't mind that.
Nah, it's
Vio
funny
was the
that
second pick, but
that Laurie won over SGA when he was a higher draft pick than SGA.
Yeah.
But Laurie
SGA was
changed
just
it.
better.
Laurie was
for
good.
longer.
That was good because Laurie went to Chicago and people kind of forgot about him. And then went to Cleveland. He was just a role player. Then he goes to Utah. You're
Role
like, wait a
player,
minute.
Star.
What the hell is
Fake
this?
a star.
So like
Western
that's
Conference All-Star.
that's
Yeah.
valid. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But like this whole, and I like, I'm fine because Cade gets to rack up trophies. But
Yeah.
like, you know, let's make the award.
And I think
just
Kate
know,
deserves some type of hardware this
he'll get it.
season.
All NBA.
All
Yeah.
NBA first
Talk.
or second team. I just think it defeats the
Get a little
purpose
tag.
of what the and JJ Redick had a dialogue about it that was very accurate. I mean, there's guys like Victor Oladipo that were the second overall pick, but he did in year 5, and he did after being a
That one was
solid
valid,
starter,
yep.
and it goes into being an All NBA player.
That's a jump.
And I think this year, my most improved player, it wouldn't be Dyson Daniels
Oh
because
my
I
God, John,
don't think Dyson
John,
has improved.
Before you finished, I think Oladipo that year went All NBA, All Defensive, and MIP. And I think he was an
Coño.
All Star.
Yep.
I think that's the year he did all that. Yeah, that's that right there. MIP.
Yeah. I think Dyson Daniels is in the discussion, but I think opportunity and offensively he's been the same player. Just defensively he's had more minutes to really showcase himself. My
did,
most improved player would be Christian Brown because
hate
his
that.
minutes did jump up from 20 to 33. Some may say you didn't get better, but for a role player to nearly double his shot attempts, typically you're going to be less efficient. Christian Brown became more efficient. And people say, yeah, maybe there's a Jokic tax, but he's doing a lot in transition. He's doing a lot as a cutter. He's a capable spot shooter. And I think it's rare to see a perimeter player.
Yes.
A perimeter player shooting nearly 60% from the field while being efficient from 3. His team's most reliable defender because Aaron Gordon, a lot of the times, you'll see him checked out. There'll be a corner skip pass feed, and Aaron Gordon won't even rotate to the corner. He'll just stand there and let the guy take a corner 3. Christian Brown's been their most consistent, and doesn't say a lot, but relative to AG, it means something. He's been their best defender this year. It's taking tough assignments and then doubling his scoring, getting more efficient. I believe that's a very rare
John,
thing.
but would you not argue that him and Dyson have the same case? Because I think last year, Christian Brown, you saw the flashes. You saw the flashes.
Christian Brown has been better offensively.
Did
No,
you
I agree
think
with
he'd
you,
be
but
this?
No, not like this, but
Yeah.
like we knew he'd take
And
a
you
jump.
need
with
to-
him
Nobody
for
thought
sure.
Dyson would be this either.
Yeah,
Though.
but yeah, no,
Defensively,
point.
we had a good
He led
idea.
them
good
Yeah,
idea,
steals.
yeah,
That's
but
true.
leading
Not
the
maybe
league in
not
steals
that.
and
Defense,
being able
we
to
knew he
guard
was a
like this.
dog.
We knew he was
We knew
very
he was a
good.
dog.
I think it's the same case for Brown, like uptick in minutes.
They both definitely
And
got
both of them
an
just
uptick
showed
in
what
We
they had.
opportunity.
did question
Yeah.
his 3-ball though.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's-
We
facts.
questioned his 3-ball. He upped his attempts drastically. On top of it, he's one of the most
Dyson
efficient.
being able to average 3
I don't
steals
disagree.
and be that
It
great
is
for
crazy.
30 minutes.
It is crazy. I think that
and he's guarding up.
Dyson Daniels
Dyson's
was at the
ama-
bottom of the Pelicans' rotation,
You're
not
right.
even playing.
But
Christian Brown
that
had
speaks to the
exceptional playoff
Pelicans.
moments.
It speaks to the Pelicans.
There were moments
Talk.
in the Nuggets finals run and last year in the playoffs where Christian Brown stepped onto the court and he was
I do
He took
think-
over.
an instant
Yeah.
spark.
I just think they have the same case, is what I'm saying. I
get-
think
I
both of
get
them
it.
deserves it.
I think Christian Brown, you can argue, has been better. But
No, I agree. That's why I don't hate Christian Brown winning
But both
it.
of them definitely got an uptick in opportunity.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yes.
Hell
no
yeah.
one's going to deny that.
I think Dyson, the narrative would probably fit him a little bit more because Brown had opportunity.
kinda gave
He was
up
on
on
the
him.
If
team,
I'm
yeah.
looking at players that just got better and they're having similar opportunities as last year,
it would be Zubats.
Reeves, Zubac, that's who I
Zubac's
kind of
been-
think of. Like even Norman Powell, he got more opportunities this year
If
because
Powell
of
was
Kawhi's.
eligible. He's
Yeah,
not, unfortunately.
Powell is
injury.
just give me the ball. I've got the ball more.
Also,
Same guy.
with Powell, he's had years and like stretches for like 40 games where he's averaged 20. He's
Portland.
just had some,
Well,
he's had some moments.
It was the one time where he went to Portland. He only played like 8-9 games, something
was
like that. He
bugging.
averaged 24, something dumb in
was
those
bugging.
amount
He
of
can
games.
do
He's
it.
hard,
averaged
too.
19 for a season.
He could do
Yeah,
it. He could
he's a
do it.
great player. He's a really great player.
Zubac would be my MIP.
I'm fine with Zubac. I think Cade will win. I'm fine with Zubac, Christian Brown, Austin Reeves, Dyson Daniels. Any of those guys win the
If
award,
Cade
I'm
wins,
cool
I'm
with it.
annoyed.
He's gonna win.
We will be annoyed.
He's gonna win.
You will be annoyed, John.
You
He's
should
probably
take
gonna
the
win.
award and scrap that shit.
Yeah, I'm with you.
At this point, I'm
He did get better though.
He did
Yes,
get better.
but it's just it almost defeats the integrity of
I
what it's
agree.
supposed to be.
I
because
agree.
Everybody
He got
expected
better,
it.
He
though.
became exactly what you thought he
Whoa,
would be.
everybody expected him to be this. Not everybody. Not everybody. Not everybody. I think people definitely saw the potential when he was drafted that he could be this, but after last year and the years before that, when people were questioning whether he could be a 1, is he a good playmaker? What is Detroit doing? Are they the worst franchise in sports?
That was more Detroit tax.
100%.
If Detroit wasn't winning, you wouldn't have had him.
100%.
I don't know
I
how
agree
many
with that.
people predicted him to be second team All NBA this year.
And you could argue that he could be first team All NBA. That's how good he was. Nobody saw that.
He took a 3-point per game jump.
That's fair.
It's the playmaking from like 7 to 9 because you went from
See, but not just as a player, like points per game wise, he made a jump. As a team,
As
him
an
being the
engine,
leader,
yeah.
they went from the worst team in the league to a top 6 team.
Yeah.
Sure, it's a 4-point per game difference, but his impact is on not just his stats, but
I
winning.
mean, his assists went up because they have shooters now to pass the ball.
For
and make it.
sure.
Yeah.
You know, his
He can
three-point
still
percentage
clean
went
up
because,
being
you know,
a
he has
little
more
tighter.
space. Yeah,
Facts.
he still
The team
struggles
got
with
better.
doubles and pressures. That's
a
still
good
a
bit.
thing he struggles with. So
Like
Yeah.
Malik Beasley, he's my 6th man of the year, and he's second in 3-pointers made.
That's just crazy.
And he comes into the game and he just starts launching threes
He
and
damn sure
making
lost
it
them.
at an efficient clip. So they just got better as a whole, and JB Bickerstaff got them to buy into defense.
Malik
and
fake
they've been
business.
they've been an awesome defense.
Yeah.
because
Minnesota,
Malik fake business.
Denver. He was really good.
Yeah,
in that first
Malik
part
fake.
And then
he
Asor
played.
Thompson's impact, I think all around, like Cade obviously deserves the most credit, but this was just a team that all around improved. All the young
Yeah.
players, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart is been a top 10,
Jalen
15 defender
Duren
this year.
would be the MIP for
I was
this
gonna
team.
say Isaiah Stewart fake non the DPOY conversation or just didn't.
Backup, I guess.
I don't think he meets the eligibility for
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah,
what I
think
was
that's-
wondering too.
I think Derwin would be the MIP for this team. Like to go from where he was first half to second half of the year.
That's a good point.
That that
think
would
he
be
has
the
some
vibe.
trade
Like
value
Cade's
now.
gonna get his All NBA and stuff, his All Star stuff, but I hope one of them guys get it.
Rookie of the year, I went Stephon Castle.
I think his roundtable Stephon. I think
Shout out to these other guys.
to
though.
highlight Zachary, he was great. I think that it's a seat for those two personally.
Per 36 numbers, they might add up.
Wasn't
They might be
Zachary
similar.
on a minutes restriction early in the year?
He's been on, like, he doesn't play
He came off
a
the bench to
ton
start
of
the year.
minutes.
They had DeAndre, and then DeAndre got hurt,
and
he
also
was thrusted
Jalen,
in.
too.
This is a lot like Defensive Player of the Year, where it felt like in the first 2 or 3 months it was clear cut Jared McCain or Victor Wembanyama, and then of course McCain only plays 23 games. Jared McCain, when he was playing as a starter, was averaging 20 a game as a
killing.
rookie. Not many people expected
Low
that.
key was Jared McCain and Dalton Connect. I was there for those.
And
combos.
Dalton Connect was playing well. He had a couple of
Castle
really
was
big
starting
outbursts.
18 a game, baby.
Castle's
My-
been moving me as a playmaker.
My
In the month
one,
of March and April.
my one
Nothing
is
broke,
Castle.
don't worry.
Castle won the award, but I do believe that Ricochet did close the gap somewhat because he was more efficient and kind of a little bit more, I wouldn't say consistent, but just it's tough when you look
hit
at
that three
Castle's
ball.
efficiency, 25 to 28% from 3, and
Zachary's
that's
a part
kind
of
of
the playoff team too.
in
Weigh
theory,
that into
that's
consideration.
Playing
kind
with
of
Trey Young, brother.
the one detractor for Stephon Castle is just the efficiency itself,
Yeah,
but
no, I'm with you.
everything else was really what
I'm more
complimented
moved
his
my
game.
Mataz than Ricochet. I'll be
Long
honest.
term, sure.
Yeah,
But right now,
I'm-
Ricochet
I'm-
has a higher floor.
I'm more moved about what he can do with the ball in his hands. Like,
He can do some stuff.
That's what I'm. And then his defensive impact. Like not to say Ricochet ain't been good.
Ricochet doesn't remind you of Laurie, low key.
That's a very good comparison. Offensively.
No, for sure.
Defensively, Ricochet's a lot better.
might be better. Yeah.
A
Just
good bit
Laurie's
better.
like 7 feet. You know, he's a little slow. You know,
Zach-
Zach's
what,
6'9",
6'10"?
He
I was
looks
gonna
like he's
say.
6. He looks taller than
he's about
6'9".
6'9".
He looks bigger than that sometimes.
And he gets a lot of his work off ball.
Trey Young.
No doubt. But that's
you
kind
want-
of
you want him to do
that's
that. Yeah,
if
you
you
want
have
him
a
to do that.
player that can work off ball to that efficiency, that is valuable.
Definitely, though.
That's pretty much all that Ricochet does.
Yeah.
He just is really on ball. He's cutting. He's
Off ball, huh?
spotting up.
Yep.
He's not.
He had a game.
He's
He had
not initiating
35 and
much.
he dribbled like 3 times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Klay Thompson type
good.
shit.
Klay Thompson.
As a rookie.
Nothing wrong with that.
Let me ask
Nothing
you
wrong
guys. I
with
know
that.
this is a rookie of the year conversation. What are the Hawks next season with the healthy Jalen Johnson?
They won 40 games without him for 40 to 50 games this year.
They're a top 6 seed.
So I think
There's a lot of good
they
teams
can make
in
a
the
jump.
East. It's top heavy, but that top 6 is
They could be
strong.
top 6.
And I think it's why you don't give up on Trey, because they're building a roster that fits him with wings that could defend and that could shoot. Onyeka has been better this year too.
What do you guys think they need?
I think they need another
More
big.
wings. Okay,
Because
I'm
I
fine with
would.
another big.
I like Onyeka.
Stack
I
up on
think
wings,
you
baby.
can upgrade at center.
Clint Capella is
He's
going to
leaving.
be gone.
Who's their backup one?
It's supposed to be Kobe Buffkin, but that has just.
He's
That's what I'm saying.
Hasn't been
Retired,
healthy.
yeah.
It's
Karras has been
Karras.
awesome for
And he's a
them.
free agent, if I'm not
I'd keep
mistaken.
Karras.
I
I'd bring in
would
another
keep-
Oh,
backup
yes.
guard.
Because
I
he
would keep
fits.
him
He
too.
fits that philosophy. of
Should I
having
keep George Niang
switchable-
too?
He's been really good. Lights out.
Yeah, I'd keep
Larry
Like,
Nance
if
been
I'm
good.
If I'm the Hawks
Get back on.
and Ty Jerome is available, Ty Jerome is definitely somebody that I would target.
As a six man,
I don't hate that.
because he can play off the ball.
That's
and
exactly.
He can run the second
You can
unit.
play him
if-
with Trey, and then when Trey's off the court, he can go ahead and
If
initiate.
Chris Paul's available, I'll try to go get Chris Paul.
I like
don't
that.
hate
As a mentor,
it,
not
you're
too
gonna
far
pl-
from home.
You're gonna play him more minutes than maybe you should, and not a negative
You
way.
just play him little 15, 20 minutes Trae Young's
You
out on
guys
the
see
court.
the tweet that Chris Paul played all 82 games this year?
Yes.
The tweet is the one time no one even played 82 games. The one time he played 82 games.
It's unfortunate, but longevity.
Like,
Yeah, they really weren't doing anything after Wemby went out. Coach of the year, I got Kenny Atkinson here.
I get it. My vote was for JB Bickerstaff. I think that you go from the worst to a playoff team. It carries a lot of weight with me. And I understand that they filled in the margins. You go and you add in Malik Beasley. You go and you bring in Tim Hardaway, Tobias Harris. Of course, Cade Cunningham gets better. Jalen Duren gets better. Sar Thompson's healthy. Ron Holland gives you a solid rookie campaign. I think that, the pieces came to fruition this year, but a big part of that was putting it all together through JB Bickerstaff. I really love what he did in raising their floor. That would be my vote, but I get Kenny, of course, elevating them to the
I
one
think
seed.
Ime has the same exact case, but in a
an
better
excellent
conference. I think Kenny's gonna win it, but shout out to Kenny, shout out to Ime, JB, Mark. Mark should get some love in this. I think
JJ.
JJ, he would be like my
I
fifth,
thought you
sixth
were a
guy.
bit of a Mark Dagnall, skeptic.
I thought so too.
I am, but that's more for
Solid
that's more for playoffs. I think
Yeah.
regular season, you give him some love for the award. They won like 65 games, so I give him some love. JJ would be like my fifth guy coming in, but I really think really it should come down to Kenny, JB, Ime. I think those are the
I'm
three
cool
guys.
with
The top every year, there's always many deserving candidates. This is another season. There's 3 to 5 that are so clearly doing fantastic jobs, and I think it speaks how many good coaches there are in the NBA. I mean, the Suns they fired Budenholzer. You look at it, it's just a very deep group of quality guys that are proven. As far as this award, it took me a while to really come to terms because JB Bickerstaff did a wonderful job this year, but I went with Kenny Atkinson because of the fact that he's coaching the best team in the league, and while the Pistons didn't have a lot of optimism coming this year, they still are expected to take a step forward. The Cavaliers felt like a team that was almost stuck in place. And until they added DeAndre Hunter, it wasn't a difference in personnel from last year. It was a difference in philosophy and making some adjustments that Bickerstaff didn't with his Cavalier team a year ago. And I believe that Atkinson cracked the code. And quite frankly, I think he's made a bigger difference in the landscape of the NBA. So I'm going to go with Kenny Atkinson.
Sixth man of the year, I went with Malik Beasley.
Well, now that I found out that Ty Jerome probably
So
won't
a
be
tenth
eligible,
of a minute.
I'll go
Makes
either
sense.
Beasley or Payton. I'm cool with either.
So if Ty Jerome was eligible, you'd pick him over Payton Pritchard?
Yeah, I'm a little Cavs bias. Definitely pick him over Payton Pritchard.
Between
If
Pritchard,
Payton Pritchard jumped on the show, I'd pick Payton.
he's cooking. If it was between Malik or Pritchard, there's a part of me that wants to lean Malik just for how unbelievable he was off the bench shooting the basketball, how reliable he was.
And that's Pritchard's case too.
And I know that that's something that I struggle with as Malik Beasley hater. He was on the Lakers, couldn't remember how to shoot the basketball, leaves immediately the 2 years following. He's amazing.
Sounds like a you guys, bro.
No doubt. No, it's a
Yeah.
me problem as well. Like something I have to overcome.
struggling
And
with
trying
that.
to do so, I'm going to give him my my sixth man of the year vote.
It's tough because Ty Jerome was mine. As you highlighted when he was on the show, per 36, he's averaging 22 and 6 on incredible efficiency, 44% from 3. He's efficient from 2. It's unfortunate that there is a minimum minutes per game requirement of 20. He's at 19.9. So I want to give him the award, but as you guys highlighted, it's between, to me, I think Naz Reid won last year. He has an outside case. It's between these two guards, and I'm torn. Before the show, I was thinking Payton Pritchard, but now I'm starting to lean Malik Beasley. I believe that he's made a bigger difference, and
On the
he's
TikTok,
been-
you said Pritchard.
I did. I changed my mind. And right now, I'm starting to recognize that
So it's
many
an
nights,
hour ago.
many nights,
It wasn't even an hour. Huh?
many nights, Malik Beasley's been their second best player.
So
So I'm going to
feels
go with
like-
the Piston here. I'm going to go with Malik Beasley.
It so feels like Ty Jerome plays more minutes than 19.
I know, it's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, like, so
I
much.
think Ty Jerome's a deserving candidate, but do you think he's over DeAndre Hunter? Hunter is still coming off the bench.
Hunter is really good this year.
Hunter is a dog. This
He
year.
also only played 64 games. I don't know if he. I think he would be. I don't
you
think
have
there's a minimum game.
No, you have 65, don't you?
Is there a minimum?
It might be
Because
different.
if there's a
for
minimum minutes,
six men of the year.
might be right. Maybe there's minimum minutes, but not a minimum games.
I think it's,
I don't
is
know.
it both?
It should be both.
I think it's both.
To be honest, I think it's kind of done. I think 65 is almost too much, in my opinion.
I think if it's gonna be one, just pick one. Like it's either 65 or the minutes played. DeAndre Hunter though, shout out to him. If he wins it, I'd be cool with that too.
Yeah, my pick is really just stemming from when the Celtics played the Pistons and the Pistons beat them, and Malik Beasley was just one of the best players on the court.
Oh, he was wild.
And Payton Pritchard didn't have that good of a game. Malik Beasley was like just lights out and just he was going head to head. So in their head to head matchup, he was just better. And that's the thing that stuck out to me. That's when I really changed my mind. And I said, you know what? Maybe it's not Pritchard that should get this award. Maybe it's Malik Beasley.
Pritchard has been lights out this year, though.
I mean, you really enlightened me because DeAndre Hunter averaging 17 game, 40% from 3 this year.
But he averaged 17.
How many games
But
did
a
he-
lot
He
of
started
that,
9 games.
He averaged 19 with the
a
Hawks.
lot of that was with the Hawks, correct?
He still win
But
it,
he
though.
was a six-man.
Only
in the
started
six-man
a couple
Sure,
of
he
games.
was.
Yeah.
No, understood. But I'm saying a lot of his output was when he was on the Hawks, and on the Hawks he was killing. But then he went to Cavs, obviously knew how he had to adjust to a role, and he was
And
amazing.
he this is tough.
It is tough. DeAndre Hunter was
all
excellent.
of them give
I'm
it
going
to
to go
all
Malik, though. He's been this team's
Yeah,
arguably the second best
DeAndre,
player.
he averaged 14 on the Cavs, 19 on the Hawks.
But listen to that efficiency, though.
It's a drop off though.
Yeah,
Well,
the efficiency
I
on the
mean,
Cavs,
19 to
48%.
48. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Cavs,
42% from
Peyton,
the Cavs.
what's Peyton averaging? Like 14 on
14.
Boston?
On him and Beasley are both shooting 40% and taking a ridiculous amount.
So
of
I'm
threes.
looking at Hunter's 14 on Cleveland versus Peyton's 14 on Boston.
Pritchard's
moves you more?
doing-
What moves you more?
It's the 5'11 guard.
I was gonna say
he's
doing it
doing
with
more
8
on the ball.
players ahead. I'm gassing, of course, but so many other players ahead of
Him
him
and
that
Derek
are.
White dropped 40 in the same game.
Yeah,
That moved
Yeah,
me.
there's
5'11
also
guard
been
moves you.
moments where he just had to step up, and he did step
He makes
up.
big shots too. Big shots.
He's tough.
Clutch player of the year. I have Jalen Brunson, second in clutch points.
You know,
Who's
he
first?
played only 64 games, I think.
Jalen Brunson,
Yeah. I think,
No,
I don't
who's
know if
first
he's-
in
I don't
clutch
know if he's
points?
up-
Anthony Edwards,
Oh, interesting.
Who's the most efficient?
Why didn't he win it?
the efficiency
Who's the most efficient?
and the wins
Who's the most efficient?
in clutch points.
Yeah.
Like by field goal percentage, true shooting
You
percentage.
can add it all up.
Do you have the answer?
I do.
Is it Darius Garland?
It's the guy that's gonna win
Okay,
it,
it's
baby.
Darius Garland.
You know,
No.
DG just outmeted him a week ago.
Jalen Brunson just came back from injury. I feel like the reason I didn't go with Anthony Edwards is because Timberwolves have a losing record in the clutch. I think they're 11-13 in the clutch. The Knicks have a winning record in the clutch, and a lot of that's because of Jalen Brunson.
How do you feel about Wilder saying Ant-Man's not clutch?
I think that's wrong. I think he's clutch. He's
He's
number one in clutch
He's
points.
watching every single game.
He's a
under a
Timberwolves-
microscope.
Yeah, he's a
Under
Timberwolves. Trust
microscope.
me, he locks in. That's why I'm actually.
So the thing with clutch, it's very
it should be the fourth quarter.
categorized. Now, if we're going off fourth quarter, go James. Leads the league in points in the fourth quarter, second in assists per game in the fourth quarter, and field goals made. He's number one.
But clutch points is last 5 minutes.
That's
of the
what I'm
game.
saying. Yeah. So, but the fourth quarter is where the game gets taken over.
Yeah,
I'm
but
with him
a
here,
lot
I'll be
of
honest.
We're
Sorry.
nitpicking 5 minutes to
But
an entire
it's not
quarter.
the fourth quarter award, though. And his
Screaming
case.
at
What's
that.
the clutch though? The fourth
5
quarter.
minutes or less, 5 points or less.
Do you
That
really
is what
feel that way
clutch
though?
is.
Kind
You
of.
really
Yeah.
feel it. It's not
I
about
feel-
his feelings.
a
But
lot
let me
of-
ask you: Do
Hey,
you feel
no,
that way?
But it's not by my feelings. I didn't make the award.
A lot of starters,
I
they
didn't make
don't
it either.
start the fourth quarter. They usually get something like at the 8-minute mark.
That's
So
an
isn't that
excellent point.
incredible about LeBron?
You would know that.
That even still, let's say that that's
hate it.
true.
Yeah.
LeBron's still number one in
But-
the fourth quarter points.
Some teams stagger. That's why it's different.
Yeah, like most
stagger.
starters close out the third, and then in the fourth you have
Some
kind of the bench
coaches
stuff.
Yeah.
take their star player out at the 8-minute mark and then bring them back in at the 3-minute mark of the fourth when they're down 8. Some coaches do that, but who am I?
Yeah, but,
Steve Kerr, he'll pay for his
no, yeah,
crimes.
Wild-
Steve Kerr,
Wilder-
Taylor Jenkins,
Wilder said that Anthony Edwards, he's number one because of volume, and that's true to an extent. And he has to take a lot of shots to be number one, but he's 6 in points per game in the clutch.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the efficiency. It's due.
No, it's not terrible.
I don't think it's terrible.
42% from the field, 33%
What's
from three.
what's his efficiency at
That's his
buzzer beaters?
efficiency.
42% from the field?
Yeah, and 33% from three.
Could get better.
Yeah, that in the
get better.
final 5 minutes of a game,
Could get
it's
better.
not that bad.
And then on buzzer beaters,
oh no,
some
he has
rookie
not been good
splits.
on buzzer beaters. He hasn't made a buzzer beater.
Yo, he has to be stopped.
what did you say?
He just called those rookie splits, bro. He's so
fault, my fault.
disrespectful.
My fault game. Back to the topic at hand.
Ant's also prone to taking some bad shots. He be trolling, so
So Brunson this year's been excellent. Leads the clutch play in points, almost 6 per. But I'm going Darius Garland because the
Yes, we are,
Cavaliers are the
John.
best clutch team in the NBA. They're the second best clutch offense. You guys want to guess who's number one clutch offense?
The Nuggets.
The
Warriors.
team you left outside your
Yep.
top 6 in the Western
team
Conference.
that
I knew
That's
has
that.
the
less
Nuggets.
wins than the Houston Rockets.
I knew that.
Bang!
Do you guys have more wins than the Rockets?
Oh, Golden
Warriors.
State. We have
Yeah.
more rings. Ha ha!
It always comes around to that.
It always comes back to that.
Garland has been, and especially earlier in the season, his efficiency from the field was almost 60%. it's lowered a little bit, but his game winners and his clutch play, I think in the full court or the half court shot versus the Pistons, one of the craziest shots of the year. The other night versus the Knicks, they're down by 20. It was kind of cool. My brother Nick went to the game, and they're obviously getting their asses kicked, the Cavs, in the first half. They come back, and he's like, damn, like, this Craig Porter Jr. gets good, whatever it was. And the Cavs bench gets him back into that game, and Garland hits a couple of nice shots, a couple of tough shots. I believe his consistency and the Cavaliers being the best clutch team is why I would give him the award. And he's also, I think at the end of the day, a little bit underrated for the difficulty of the shots.
Yeah, so the Edwards in the clutch, 19-23 win-loss record. Brunson is 17-11.
Cavs are 26.
Darius Garland is 25-9. The Cavaliers are in the clutch.
LeBron
His
James?
efficiency, LeBron, he is
Should be a good record.
22-12.
I figured.
Yeah, 22-12. Garland is 53% from the field and 45% from three in the clutch.
I mean, he's a demon.
50,
What's
40,
LeBron?
90.
LeBron is 51% and 39% from
win.
three.
What the fuck?
Just heard the 3-point percentage? I win.
39.
45.
Record?
25-9. It's over, bro.
Where's LeBron played for the Cavs?
It's over, bro. He did. Fucking
Once
did.
upon a time, man.
Yeah, listen, man. I feel like Clutch Player, the award is like whatever though. Like it's just
But what
it's
if LeBron wins? Another thing in his resume.
Steph got one, so listen.
Need it. Personally, I need it.
No, it's a cool like little fun chat about award. It ain't nothing really like meaningful.
Things LeBron needs. Clutch Player of the Year.
DPOY.
DPOY,
It's
which
over.
he has one.
He's-
He has one.
No, you can't give him
He
a fake
has
one.
it.
You
Like,
can't give him a fake
I'm
one.
sorry, like he has one.
It is a little bit of a sympathy, but I get what
He
you're
has one.
I get what you're saying, but he
saying.
doesn't
Marc
have
Gasol.
it.
He has one.
Marc
He doesn't.
Because
Like Tim Duncan has one. He has one.
That
Oh, we're
means
just
Marc
making shit
Gasol
up.
doesn't
Yeah,
have
exactly.
one.
He needs the Magic Johnson MVP. He needs
Facts, he
that.
doesn't have that yet.
He needs that.
Does he need 6
That's
rings?
it. That's all he needs.
Does
With
he need
Luka on
6
his
rings?
team, he's not going to get that.
Depends. In the month of February, LeBron was the best player on the team.
Luka's the best player on the team, though.
Right now, no doubt.
We saw Tony Park win
100%.
in 07 Finals MVP. So.
Luka Doncic is.
That was
the
Tim
GOAT.
already had to. He had to
Yeah,
give one
there
away.
are moments where maybe the
Also
co-star
a
cannot
small
play
series,
the star.
a short, brief series.
Five.
versus the
I.e.,
Four.
you could argue
Swept him.
Anthony Davis versus the Nuggets. Some argue
There are moments.
Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. That one's more egregious because, of course, Jaylen Brown actually got the trophy.
Yeah, type shit. They
LeBron
were
would
trying to
never.
give Kevon Looney one when
Imagine. Looney Tunes was good.
Looney Tunes was so good.
NBA teams.
Here we go.
So
This is gonna be cool.
my first team is SGA, Edwards, Tatum, Giannis, Jokic. I think the last spot in the first team is
Anthony
interesting.
Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards is my first
Yep.
teamer guy. Most clutch points, most 3-pointers made this season.
I get it.
Incredible 3-point shooting league.
There you go.
Defensively, great defensively.
Dog.
And he's top 6 in points per game this year.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yes.
So I feel like Anthony Edwards is my guy that I'm going with the first team. And they've been injuries. You know, Julius Randle, Dante.
True.
Had it not been for those injuries, I think the Timberwolves are easily a 50-win team. The second team,
Are you
Steph
just gonna
Curry.
go through all of them?
Yeah, yeah.
How about we go first team, first team? Let's just leave on the first team.
Yeah.
I was going through all of them.
Let's just go with first team real quick. Because our first team is going to be all similar, except for the last guy. Because I have Cade Cunningham. I think Cade Cunningham, for what he did this season, obviously the Pistons' huge leap, his impact both as a scorer and as a playmaker, although he is one of the league leaders in turnovers, he has to do everything on ball. And yes, his team did get better. That's obvious. That's something that you can't hide from talking about the Pistons. But there are role players that really didn't thrive on other teams. They came to the Pistons, and Cade Cunningham did a great job of not just uplifting him in his play, but of course the surrounding pieces. I look at Cade and what he was able to accomplish this season, not taking anything away from Ant. He would have been he's my sixth man, so he's going to be my first guy on the second team All-NBA. But what a season Cade Cunningham's had, and I think that it would be great to cap it off with first team.
For me, man, I got my first teamers: Joker, Tatum, SGA, Giannis, and of course Detroit Pistons bias. Cade, case for Cade. Shout out to this guy that made this picture, so I can just copy it. 26 points per game, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, a steal, a block. Yes, I did round. 47% from the field, 36% from the three-point line, 85% from the free throw line, 57 true shooting, 52% EFG. First-time All-Star, youngest Piston to average 26 points per game. Top 5 in points generated. One of 2 players to average 25, 9, and 5. 23 30-point games, 31 10-assist game, 9 triple-doubles, 31 double-doubles, 39 25-5 games, 7th in points per game, 4th in assists per game.
Goodness.
On NBA.
You didn't even need to come back up for air on that one. That's
I
good.
know, yeah. I wanted to
He's
give that
a
guy
professional
credit.
leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 players this year have averaged 25 and 9.
Are you going to say the other guy?
You know who the other guy is?
Trey.
The Joker.
I was going to say
Nikola Jokic.
Jokic.
You left
had
outside
to
your
know.
top 6.
Oh my God,
So
John, give it up.
I'm gonna
So
give it
did
up.
he.
That's the last time.
Whoa, I didn't say my top 6.
I'm going to give it up now.
Give it up.
Anyways,
Give what up.
my All NBA first team is very similar to you guys. You have the top 4. My 5th spot is going to Anthony Edwards.
Deserved.
Split.
I
Love
get
it.
it. I get it.
Yeah, the most 30-point games, Anthony Edwards.
Demon.
Is only behind SGA, Jokic, and I think Giannis. He's top 5 in 40-point games, top 5 in 30-point games. He's been a machine this year as a scorer. My second team, I'm going with Curry, and I debated putting him on third team because really this is really like a stretch of elite level play that has propelled him to this point.
He's right.
Third team?
He's an All NBA player.
Who's the other one?
Yes.
Before I
Thank
overreact,
you.
who's the
Yes.
other four?
You know Tyrese is here.
I'm going with Tyrese Halliburton.
That's the same vibe.
Whoa. Tyrese had us. He
From
struggled.
January on.
No, after the first 15 games, he's been elite.
December he shot what, like 35% from the 3-point line?
But after the first 15 games, he's been great.
But December he shot
entire
like
year.
35% from the 3-point line.
That's not bad. 35% from three is not bad.
That's under league
League
average.
average.
I mean,
isn't he
maybe
like
slightly.
for him,
for him is bad.
It's bad, but that's not a
him, it's
bad
bad.
number.
Oh, okay, all right.
If that's your down month, that's not bad.
For him, I feel like
No,
that's
it's not.
bad.
For
This
him,
is-
it's
that's
not
like, he's like a
great.
40%
For him,
3-point
Yeah,
shooter.
but
We just gotta keep it like
35%. I mean, it's still not bad.
Now
for
we're
him.
lowering the
No.
expectations.
But
of
for him,
All-Stars.
I agree with you. Tyrese Halliburton is not in my second team. However, he has been playing excellent basketball. To his point, Curry, he made my second team.
I feel like
However,
second team's a lock. I'll be honest.
and
with you.
I think so too because he's been getting some push for first team. I think that's a little bit
don't think
nuts.
so. I wouldn't put him first.
November, Tyrese shot 37% from three. December is 35% from three. January, 44%. February, 46%. March, 41%. April, 39%.
But he only had a bad December.
He only had
No,
a bad
oh,
October.
yeah.
25% from three in October.
No, but I'm saying in terms of post November,
I
December
mean,
was
you're like, if you go from 44 to 35, 37.
no. He went from 35 to 44.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, if you're a 44% three, like, he's usually in the 40s.
He's usually 40.
So I would say, like, 35. Like, for you, it's like.
I don't disagree with what you're
But,
saying.
okay, I want to hear the rest of
So
yours.
I went with Cade in the second team,
have to.
LeBron, and then Karl Anthony Towns.
Cat love.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think
Like
Cat, he deserves to be on the second team, and I think he's been more available than Brunson this year, and that's the reason why I had him in the second team over Brunson. And really, the second team spot
Over
was
Brunson.
between Brunson, Curry, and Halliburton.
You're nuts.
I'm thinking about them, and
You're nuts.
Curry, even though it was a stretch that propelled them, the final numbers for Curry and Brunson are very similar, and
Yeah.
I think Curry has been better than him this year
Then who?
than Brunson.
He's been better than him.
I think so, yeah. In the totality of the year, yeah. Like I think you go into
Post Jimmy, yes, 100%.
you go into a playoff series and you're like, what guy would I want?
Okay, that's a different
It's
conversation.
Well,
based on
you
this-
can do that with
based
Steph.
on this
Different
season of
se-
play.
That's a different conversation. I think we're going this season. Post Jimmy, shake your hand right now. The entirety of the season? The answer is Jalen Brunson. I contemplated him in my first team. I'm not going to say I didn't.
And then Tyrese Halliburton, just because of the playmaking, I think you can't ignore that. And it's not just the assist numbers with him; it's the potential assist numbers.
100%.
It is the lack of turnovers with him. It doesn't matter where you are. Halliburton is always going to generate a top level offense, and he's not going to make negative plays. Every possession down, you're going to get a good shot with him, and I feel like that can't be overlooked. And the Pacers have improved this year on defense as well, and he's been a part of that. And they've had injuries this year that they've had to deal with, and they've still overcome it. So I think Halliburton, I know that he's not a 25-point per game scorer, but averaging 19 and 9 and not turning the ball over at all, I think is something that has to be recognized.
100%
And
agree.
Just the steadiness that the Pacers play with, and the pace they play with is in large part due to him.
I agree with that. Do I think that he's been better than Brunson? I wouldn't say so
And it's the
personally.
games played too. Brunson didn't play as much games as Halliburton.
He still meets the
eligible.
requirement. That being said, my second team, Anthony Edwards, like I said, would be my first guy up. I have Jalen Brunson. He would be my next guy after him. I thought he was excellent this year, one of the most efficient players. The leap he took as a playmaker, the best player on the New York Knicks. I gave him that acknowledgement. Mine's LeBron James. I'm following after him. I have Steph Curry on the second team. And the last guy I went with, I respect the Karl Anthony Towns love. He's my first guy off into the third team. I'm going with Evan Mobley. For the leap that he took offensively, how impactful he is on the defensive side, what he meant, his jump as a shooter, as just an overall offensive player, they needed his leap to go and reach that next level offensively. And I think that what it comes down to is he was their most impactful player from start to finish. And not saying that he's their best, because I still would lean Donovan Mitchell, but it just speaks how great Mobley was this year.
We nearly have the same exact list. So the first guy on for me is obviously going to be Cade Cunningham because he could easily be on first. Along with that, I have Steph Curry, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and LeBron.
Okay. No Brunson.
he's the next guy on my third team.
What did Brunson not do this
Would
year?
I put Brunson over Donovan Mitchell? No.
Brother, I'm going to say this with the utmost respect.
That's not a hot take at all.
For the fact that he's the 1 seed, of course, you have a strong argument for Mitchell in that regard. He's obviously a great scorer, great playmaker. No doubt there's an argument for him. However,
Mitchell sacrificed.
Jalen Brunson, he did. No, and that's
Do I think Brunson's the better player? Yeah.
Okay.
Do I think that Mitchell this year kind of contributed more as a better case? Yes.
Do I think he contributed more? I can't agree to that personally.
He had an amazing year. And he
One
still
of the most
sacrificed.
efficient guards this season was Jalen Brunson. On
Also
top of the
D-Mitch.
fact, amazing, no doubt. That being said, the playmaking that Brunson brought forth to the Knicks
Also,
as well.
too, I'm not going to leave the best player in the number 1 seed off.
I get it.
NBA second
He has to be on one of
That-
these.
that
He's
makes
on mine.
sense. That
He's
makes
on
sense.
my
I
All
understand
NBA
that.
teams as well.
Yeah.
He's just not
because I'm not
second.
putting, I'm not putting Mobley
here's the
second team
thing.
and Mitchell third.
Here's the thing: is that
That's what I
Brunson
do
had an incredible
personally.
season. There's no doubt. He averaged 26, 3, and 7, and Mitchell averaged 24, 5, and 5. Mitchell played 31 minutes per night, and Brunson played 35 minutes per night.
That's impressive.
Yeah, but it's also Mitchell did it and he averaged 24, 5, and 5 in 4 less minutes.
But Brunson had to do that.
He did.
I'm not saying he didn't have to do that, but it also speaks to the Cavaliers.
He had
Minutes,
to.
The
yeah.
Ca-
I
the
wish they played
Cavaliers-
Deuce more, but yeah,
The Cavaliers were
too.
smoking teams to the point that he didn't really have to play all that much.
The Cavaliers are better.
he kind of cooked.
Yeah, no, they
did
are
kinda
better,
cook.
but
They didn't need him
Mitchell
to play
is
that much.
They didn't.
contributing. But Mitchell's contributing a lot to that.
I also believe we overestimate that the Knicks do have a lot of options. Cat's on my All-NBA third team. Spoiler. You have OJ Nobi having a career year. Mikal Bridges still playing well, and Josh Hart having a career
Okay,
year.
you're reaching on the McHale. Josh Hart's having a really great year.
Mikal had a 19 a game. That's their fifth.
But that was
fifth,
when he-
their fifth best player in the
When
lineup.
did he
averaging a
really
solid
jump?
19 a game.
When he
Second
really
half.
when Jalen Brunson was hurt.
Brunson's hurt. Yeah.
He's always pretty much average 16 or more.
But
No, for
OG,
sure.
OG, Josh, and Josh Hart are both having career
But that
years.
also speaks
So.
to Jalen Brunson for also deferring to them when he needs to, when that's what it calls for. It speaks to his playmaking boost as well. And he was one of the most efficient guards in basketball.
I feel like Jalen Brunson is a lock for one of the NBA teams, but I don't think his case is.
Like Karl-Anthony Towns over him, respectfully.
Carlton Towns
what
this
I'll
year
say?
has played more games than him.
But he
And
wasn't
he-
better than him when he played.
It was pretty damn close.
Oh shit! Here we go
So
again.
again, Joel,
Here we go.
which
again.
side are we gonna be on? So
What do
now
you
we're
mean?
we're on the Karl-Anthony Towns wave.
Riv, is there a difference? Is there no?
Of course, you have to get drawn into this.
I want to because I
Here we
want.
go.
I mean, you're part of the conversation. We do a
Let's
podcast
do it,
together.
let's do it.
He is
is-
part of it.
John.
I can ask both of you guys this:
was
is there
good.
a
Can ask both of
difference
us.
between being better or similar in the regular season versus being able to trust you in the playoffs?
Yes.
Of course,
That's the difference.
I
I don't
agree.
trust Cat in the playoffs.
No doubt.
That doesn't mean that in the regular season he has not been just as good as Jalen Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
He has been.
I would love to say that my All NBA second team is Ant, because I had Cade on my first. Ant, D. Mitch, Steph, Braun, Brunson. I will say, not having Steph on your team makes sense because of the first 40 games. Had to like.
Who didn't have Steph? John.
I'm saying if
I had
you
Steph.
didn't have Steph on your second team, if you completed.
What were the first 40 games?
So I pulled
Like
it up.
22?
First 40 games, 22 points, 6
Yeah.
assists, 5 rebounds,
was Dookie.
60% true shooting, which we
That
love.
is good.
He wasn't a
65.
number. He wasn't like a number one option.
No,
the
he was
first
no
40
no.
games.
Does that 60% true shooting get boosted up because he's the best free throw shooter of all time?
He's also a 40% 3-point shooter at that time. He was.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
And all he gets guarded like a number one. Show some fucking respect.
No, I'm not saying, but I'm saying the production wasn't of
Well,
that.
the last 30 games that he's played, 28 points per game, 6 assists.
It's been MVP
4
level.
rebounds,
Yeah.
64% true shooting. 3-point percentage is still a little funny.
So
been a
first
demon.
40 games has been like all star. Then the last 30 has been like MVP.
Yeah, so I'm gonna weigh because I love him. The last 30 games pretty heavily.
Definitely.
I will say, I would love to say this. Halliburton played great, but here's the thing. Here's the problem with him.
It's just the scoring volume.
Yeah, that's really it. Because
That's it.
his first 44 games was 18. I use potential assists for him because that's probably more important for him. 18 points a game, 14 potential assists. He was 59% true shooting, 36% from the 3-point line, 86% from the free throw line. In his last 30 games, he was 20 and 10. So 65% true shooting. So him is really just like you mentioned, the scoring volume isn't going to be like these other guys. I would like to say Trae Young, his first 46 games, I don't know why I did that, but yeah,
okay.
23 and 12, 21 potential assists, 56% true shooting. His last 30 games, 26 and 12, 20 potential assists, 57% true shooting. Trae Young definitely deserves some love on these. If we can get him on here,
Is he on one of your teams?
he is definitely On one of my teams.
Really? He
Yes.
was my first person off.
He's
Trae Young.
Trae Young is on one of my teams.
He was my first
contemplated
off.
it, and I don't think you guys are gonna hate who I have off.
No. All right.
But yeah, that's my second team. Ant, D. Mitch, Steph, Braun. I put Brunson on my second team. I know he only played 65 games, but when he was there,
He just met the
yeah,
requirement. Yeah,
he just met it. So when he was there, it was beautiful. When he was there, he's been electric. He's on my second team.
Yeah, my third team is Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell. I think, Mitchell, number one seed.
It's hard to put him on the
Best
third.
player on the number one seed, but I just think from a production standpoint,
Yeah, I get that.
there's players that have been more productive. I could swap him and Halliburton out. I think that would make sense, but no, he's on my third team. And I have James Harden as my third teamer. I think for what he's been able to do with the Clippers all year long, carry that offense, and then especially since Kawhi has been back
It was a
and
long
he's
time.
been healthy, Harden has raised his game to like all NBA first team level, like averaging 26.
He looks
and
like
11.
he can actually show up this playoffs.
He will show up this playoffs,
But post-
and they'll beat the Nuggets in the
Post
first
All
round.
Star break, like he's definitely been more efficient, much more efficient than he was pre All Star break. But it's like 43,
That's always him.
37. 37 is great, by the way.
That's always been him though.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I'm
like the
saying?
step back threes he takes and
Yeah,
stuff.
he takes some
it's not
wacky
a,
ass
it's
shots.
not a great
37%
shot.
from three, considering volume,
It's just
is
him
impressive
as an engine.
for James Harden.
Him as an
35.
engine is ridiculous.
No, I'm saying post All Star break. He's
I'm
at
sorry.
37.
Him
Yeah,
as an
it's
engine is
really
crazy.
just
Less
the
than
Brown
last
as
the
well.
last
Yeah.
23 games. So
He's been
in
a
March,
dog.
Harden averaged 25, 5, and 9. He shot 44% from the field, 37% from three.
Yep.
And then in April, he averaged 26, 6, and 10, and he shot 51% from the field and 40% from three. So really, the last 23 games of the season, he's been one of the most efficient three-point shooters, averaging 26,
Good enough to get him
5,
to
and
the
10.
All NBA.
Yeah, I mean, he's all NBA third
has
team.
been
I think even if he didn't have this crazy efficiency stretch, I mean, that was reason he was an all-star for me.
No doubt.
And a lot of the players that made the All NBA team is really due to a lot of players not meeting the 65 game requirement.
For sure.
Luka's not going to be eligible for this.
Definitely.
Durant's
Zion, Kevin Durant's not going to be eligible for it, but Zion didn't play enough, of course. But
And
when he
AD
was
is
healthy, he
ineligible.
was awesome. Kevin Durant was a person that missed eligibility because of his injury that he had, so he would have been a locked in first teamer. So I think because of that, somebody like
KD
Harden,
first team?
Katie would have been a real debate for first team.
Over
No,
Cade?
yeah. Real debate.
Real debate.
Real
Of
debate.
production.
I don't know.
He
who it
wouldn't
was.
have had the record.
Yeah, you
wouldn't
take
have
into
the
account
record.
the Suns not
Yeah,
being
he
good,
wouldn't
but
have
I
the
don't think
record.
that really has much to do with KD. I just think.
Well, I
it's
mean,
the
if
team's
it's
bad.
versus Cade or Ant, I would have took their production plus.
Did
the
anybody
record.
show
stink.
love to Siakam?
What?
Thought about it. He's on my honorable mentions.
Don't. Riv, I'm going to give you a chance.
Indiana was not having two guys on it
Why is that?
because there's other guys.
I looked through all of them.
I know. I have a few.
Siakam was definitely one of those guys that like
First one's
got
out.
left off, but
First
he
one's
was
out.
close.
He was first one's out.
All
He
right.
came with some.
Yeah.
He was the last person that made mine, personally.
Evan,
Over Trey Young?
Correct.
That's where you lost me.
Evan
The
Mobley,
impact he had on defense, it speaks for
The impact Trey Young has an offense speaks
No
for
doubt,
life.
no doubt. I'm not going to say that's not. However,
26 and 11. You heard that. You
however,
heard that.
Pascal
Are you stealing my
Siakam was
however?
damn near 50-40 this season.
you're stealing
and he
the-
missed
okay.
2 games this year.
Cute.
Whoa.
No, it's impressive.
Please respect Pascal Siakam. I'm begging
Nah,
you.
Siakam's nice. Siakam
All right, he is on my All-NBA
Siakam
team.
was awesome this year, and you could think about it. I mean, Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley made mine, and
Donovan's on mine.
there's a couple teams that have 2 All NBA players.
should be
for
only
me.
2.
DG got robbed.
the
I'm
Knicks,
sorry.
It's unfortunate. I ain't mad
The
at it. He made
Cavaliers.
the All-Star game.
Really, outside of that, the last one is the Clippers. I had Ivica Zubac as my third team guy. He's the
Over
last guy
Jaren
there.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Can't get behind it personally.
Defensive EPM wise, Zubac is better. He's been one
What
of
about
the
the
elite.
offense, though?
18 and 13.
But Jaren's averaging 24.
22. It's
22, excuse me.
22 and a half.
Brother ain't
actually
averaging no damn 24.
There was a point where he
Damn.
was averaging 24.
I will say,
Please.
if you like rebounding,
Zubac
a
has
grown man in
been
the paint,
has been much more efficient than
yeah, you need
Jaren.
to. I mean, Jaron Jackson's like a pogo stick. He's got such a high center of
And
gravity.
also-
he can toss around
that's-
left and right.
Yeah, the reason
getting
why
thrown around
the
left and
reason
right
I
in
left
the paint.
Jaren
I'm sorry.
off is number 1, Zubac has been more efficient this year. Number 2, Zubac
makes sense.
Comfortably
statistically
better rebounder.
has been a better defender, and people will say, "Oh, but Zubac gets fed by Harden." Yeah, that's true. He's an awesome.
He
pick
also
and roll
can
player.
post up really, really well.
He's a much better post player than Jaren Jackson Jr., especially that hook that he has.
Yeah, Jaren's
He's-
more face up.
Yeah, he's one of the most efficient post players in the league. And then rebounding. I mean, Jaren averages 5 rebounds.
Don't get me started. I just was talking to John about this shit.
What?
the
What
other
these
day.
average 5 or 6 rebounds?
5
Is
fucking
6
rebounds.
11?
They're an
really
elite
ridiculous.
rebounding team.
That's on me.
Zubac
It
is
has
averaging
nothing to
13
do with that.
rebounds.
It was pre.
Someone's got boxed out.
So you're talking about a center that's giving you 18-13 elite level defense. He's one of the 5 finalists for DPOY for me. and he's efficient. I mean, what doesn't he do? And without Kawhi for most of the year,
No,
I mean,
I'll
he
say this.
solidified
Being the
himself
number
as
3
top 5
option.
center.
No, he cooked.
I'll say this. My 5, I have Harden, I have Mobley, I have J-Dub on the team.
Attaboy.
I have.
Yeah,
Why
that's a good shot.
That sounds crazy.
No,
telling me
no,
that.
it's not. I don't mean
You
it.
co-
in
no,
a
I don't know what you
way.
mean.
That wasn't nuts.
Like my boy.
Like attaboy.
Attaboy just sounds really bad
'Cause I
from you
haven't-
saying it
no.
to me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
get what he means.
You're
but
right.
Like,
You know what I'm
no,
saying?
but like you're right too. But like I get where he's
Because
coming
I
from.
had J-Dub on third team.
It's
I
just,
got
it's
you.
just, and then you got the cut now, so it really is giving off the, you know what I'm saying?
Listen,
He's-
You
I'm
feel
gonna
me?
apologize.
All right.
You know what?
I didn't. I was saying it because I didn't want a third
got
team
it.
too.
Yeah,
I got it.
Attaboy just feels
Because
like,
I knew
you know?
that they weren't gonna. Probably not.
Yeah, no. So
So.
Harden for me.
I just
lock.
got rid of Jaren
Harden, Mob,
Why?
J
because I
Dub
thought he was averaging 24. I don't know why I thought that.
lost me.
It's okay.
Harden, Mob, J Dub, Cat, Trey Young. Those are my 5. I wanted to give real love to Trey Young on the team because I felt like nobody else would. But he's having an underrated year, especially what he has to do over there. Especially losing Jalen Johnson.
Leads the NBA in assists.
Yeah, like losing Jalen Johnson, who was their other playmaker, really put him in not a tough situation because he's been doing this. Put him in a situation where he has to create everything, especially with Dyson. He's not really a creator and stuff like that. Onyeka, you know. So I
So
think
no Hallie.
no, I didn't have Hallie on my team. Unfortunately, it was either
On
Trey
any
Young.
of them?
Nah, it was either
That's
Trey or
diabolical,
Hallie.
respectfully.
It was either Trey or Hallie.
You could put both.
Who would I take off?
Because my third team is Karl Anthony Towns, 100% will be
I
All
have him.
NBA. Donovan Mitchell, I think he will be
He was
All
on my
NBA.
second team.
I do have Pascal Siakam.
I don't have Pascal.
I have Tyrese Halliburton,
Yeah, it would
and
be.
I took off Jaren, and I was moved to put Trey Young.
Jaren's not on my team.
I don't have Jaren either.
Yeah, mine is Harden, Mob, J Dub, Cat, and Trey Young. So it'd
See,
be Trey Young or Hallie.
J Dub over Hallie.
The defense.
The offense.
Offense has been calm for him. It's like the same. His offense is elite. J Dub's
The
The
defense is
J Dub
elite.
has a strong case. I'm not going to say you're
I don't
wrong.
listen. If you have Hallie, I don't hate it. Like I'm not going to
Also,
go back and forth.
Pascal
on it.
or J Dub, like I think that's also a good
Similar
conversation.
arguments. I think
Stop
all
that.
three of them. You know, I think first team, second team locks for me. I think if you want to argue Jaren, J Dub, Siakam, Hallie, Trey, that's fine with me.
Harden over Tyrese.
Yes. Much more of a load. Yes. Given what what he had to deal with in LA, yes, absolutely.
Can't you
No, you
weigh in
cannot.
the efficiency?
For certain players, no. I actually cannot.
Tyrese is arguably the
Yes.
most efficient guard in the league.
Harden is taking far more difficult shots.
But that's not always a good thing.
That's what
It's
he
a
is.
part of
That's
his
his play
game.
style.
I know
play
that.
isolation.
I know that. But
The Clippers are
but my
isolation
statement's
team.
also fair. That's not always
I mean,
a good thing.
You saw the lineups they were throwing out there. They throw out Ben Simmons, Derrick Jones, Jr.
1000%.
Ben Simmons moves so weird.
Yeah, like they throw out lineups where it's really
100%.
just ISO or bust. Like they don't,
Agreed.
have, you know what I'm saying?
And
That's
for the
James
season,
Harden.
And no
Harden,
Kawhi, no Norman Powell for some
For a
time.
good amount of it.
You know what I'm saying? That's why.
41% from the field, 35% from 3, and Harden for the year, 87% at the line.
Okay,
So
Had to
overall,
say that. Had to say
his
that.
his true
course,
shooting
we're true
percentage
shooters.
numbers, 58% true shooting. So he's 3% above
Free
league
throw is,
average.
come on.
Yeah, that's really
Come on, baby.
carrying that
Let's
thing.
get us there.
That's
He takes some
28
tough
LeBron
shots.
I mean,
right there.
drawing fouls is a
Okay,
skill.
okay, all the
Yo.
finals.
Amen.
And being able to
Amen.
get free
Austin
points
Reeves,
and
legend.
capitalize.
I want to say
on
though,
that
I
is
don't
important.
hate that you have Hallie on your team.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, no, I get it.
I do think it's egregious to have two Pacers. I do think so.
Siakam's been
He's
so
cooking.
great,
I do
though.
think-
Like,
I
I don't
agree,
think
but you can't get
Siakam
two.
is
Better
over
case in
Şengün.
They
point.
haven't won enough games for you
Oh,
to
he
get
has
two.
been.
What?
I don't think
That's
he's over
easy.
Şengün.
That's
Oh,
easy.
He didn't get a thought.
No,
No.
No
a
offense.
rocket,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
rocket
No,
with
no
all
offense.
respect never
A
entered.
Rocket
Yeah.
never entered. It was their first
As a
five.
50-win team, Şengün being the best player on that
No
team.
offense, Jared would get
I'll
on
be
before
honest.
Şengün.
I don't know if there's a best player on that team.
Well, he is the best player. On
I
the
don't
team.
know if
this
the,
year
like.
he's been
you
that.
could
Here's
say
the
it.
thing, like,
Is it true?
If John came to you and was like,
Yeah,
"Yo,
he
Amon
has the
Thompson's
best
the
point
best player
differential.
on the team,"
We're
I'd be
here.
like, "Oh, okay,
We're here.
Riv said-
you come to me, you think Alperen Şengün is the best player on the
If
team?"
you said
I'd be like,
Jalen Green,
if
I
I said
wouldn't go
Jalen Green,
fit.
like, there's not a fit.
No,
They
There's
need
no
him to
sign
be
in
really
Jalen-
good.
Jalen
That's
Green-
the problem why he's not on NBA.
Jalen Green
Yeah.
is objectively a wrong answer. It's only
Correct.
between Şengün and Amen.
Hey,
if you want to make an argument.
February, March, throwing January because January he was a fucking
Şengün has the
dog.
best point differential on the team. He's been the best player on the year.
Point differential by like how much? Like
Isn't that because
probably
he also
significant
plays
amount.
with the
No,
stars? the
all
most?
joking
I
aside,
don't know.
between Harden, Trey Young, Siakam, Jaren Jackson Jr., Evan Mobley, and J-Dub and Trey Young, Şengün doesn't enter before none of those seven
agree.
games.
Well, he has just as good a case as Jaren Jackson. Being on the second
Jaren
seed,
Jackson's a more efficient scorer, better defender.
But 19, 10, and 5, and then the
all right,
playmaking that Şengün
here,
has.
outside of playmaking, well,
That's
passing,
it. That's it.
rebounding. Şengün
Yes,
got it.
yes. Defense, Jaren clears. As a
And then
scorer,
scoring the basketball,
Jaren clears.
Jaren.
I think Jaren's a better scorer.
Yeah,
like
you know,
around the
scoring-
margins
But Jaren
on
didn't make my
offense.
team.
But Şengün's been really good defensively this year.
Jaren's been
He's been a clear positive.
But it's not close.
I know. Jaren's a better defender.
But I know what you're saying.
But this year, like the numbers for Jaren and the Grizzlies defense kind of been average.
Here's
They
the
don't
real-
have guys around.
What is Sengun better than Pascal at?
Not a damn thing.
Crickets. Absolute crickets.
No.
Not a damn thing.
And that's not a slight to Sengun.
I'm
I'm
really
just
good.
kind of saying that's a respect to Siakam.
It's probably just post scoring.
Houston's gonna have more.
Siakam's been a
Şengün's
really
No.
Şengün's
But
repertoire.
Siakam's not a better post scorer than Şengün.
It's really not efficient at all. He's cooking. He's cooking. Pascal
You could have
Siakam
said.
has done a lot of his work in the post.
Houston's gonna have more players on their defensive team than all NBA because that's their vibe.
Yeah.
Are they gonna have more than one?
They
I don't
should
know.
have two, but if they don't, they'll have one, and we know who it is. He's locked. He might win
First team.
DPOY.
The second being Tari or Dylan Brooks?
It'll be Tari.
I think. Wow, really?
I don't hate Dylan Brooks.
I thought
he
he
has
was gonna be
steals and
Dylan.
blocks and all that
Because
stuff.
you had an
that
amazing
matters.
tweet highlighting just how important Dylan Brooks has been.
He is.
How,
I thought-
the Grizzlies could really use him right
But
now.
defensive team they value stocks. And, Tari Eason, he racks him
Dylan
up.
gets none.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Tari rocks him up. So Tari, Dylan's a better one-on-one defender.
Who's your third team, John?
So, I mean, shit, someone's got to respect Trae Young. I guess it's going to be me.
I did. He did too.
Oh,
Did you
it's
not
all
listen?
good.
This is Attaboy, right? Did you not listen to me, John?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. One, I spent you guys the last 15 minutes talking about Halliburton versus Harden. And two, Trae Young has not made an All-NBA team in 4 years. So that's why I'm saying someone has to respect him because he never gets on.
Outside of us, you're saying, like outside of us.
No, he was talking about us.
I've kind of forgot we spoke about James Harden and Halliburton for the last 15
What
minutes.
goes on in that head of yours? It's the monkey symbols.
Am I not wrong?
Bro, the thing was, we had a whole conversation.
We did have a conversation about Trae Young.
Nevertheless,
About guards, not Trae Young.
nevertheless,
No, it was Trae Young versus Hallie
correct,
at first.
correct. It
And then
was.
it briefly, it went pretty
It's all right. Continue. I apologize for.
But I
for
did
indulging
respect
on
him,
that.
John.
No doubt.
So my honorable mentions were Harden, Halliburton, Jaren, and Darius Garland.
No Hallie.
Because I have DeMontis
Harden.
Sabonis in my third team. Yep. DeMontis Sabonis.
Hey, he can be argued over Siakam too.
Yeah.
Yo, John, dab me up. I'll get sick for
got
you.
you.
Good shit, boy.
Bonus on the all third
Don't
team?
disrespect. This was his best
Over
season
Harden?
in the league.
I did.
Over
Over
Harden.
I just did it. Harden's been awesome though. He's had so many
Lock.
outbursts.
I'll
And
be honest.
he was my first guy off with Jaren.
What?
That's stupid.
No, it's not.
it is.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry, John.
See-
I love you to death. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Smart people
That's
can say
stupid.
stupid things, but I don't
Yo,
think, I
you're
don't,
fucking cooking because
I
you
don't
just said some
think-
stupid shit.
I don't think
Whoa!
that's the
smart
case.
as hell.
Siakam was excellent
think
this
that's
season.
the case.
Sabonis was excellent this
Not
season.
James Harden, no.
James Harden is being backpacked by March and April.
Did you think about Sabonis?
No,
be
he's
honest.
not.
He did.
It really helped.
to the
That allowed him
Matrix,
to-
bro.
They were too low of a seed. They were
He
too low of a
didn't
seed.
think. I didn't think
They
he
were
was
too
wrong.
low of a
Even
seed.
when Harden was being inefficient, he was a clear positive for the Clippers and
course.
gotta
backpacking
be.
their
John,
John,
offense.
finish your list. Finish your list.
But they even when he was backpacking their offense, they were 22nd, 23rd in offensive rating.
Yeah,
listen.
but they needed that.
No, I'm not saying
Hold
you're
on, hold on,
wrong.
Drew. Let him finish his list. Let's finish his
Trae
list.
Young, Jalen Brunson, DeMontis Sabonis, Karl Anthony Towns, and my last spot is going to Jalen Williams.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Okay.
The only person I have a gripe with, Sabonis.
J-Dub over Tyrese. That's the one that I said to him.
J-Dub, he's not only a All-NBA defender,
No
he's the
doubt.
best defender on, like, the best defense. Give me 20
He's the most versatile.
Is he the best defender?
He's the most versatile.
Definitely the most
defender on team.
versatile. I think he's
Okay.
the most impactful night to night because
Okay.
Chet hasn't been healthy
And he can play
Ihart
the
hasn't
big
been
when they
Lou
need
healthy.
him
Dort
to.
can guard
He's
one-on-one.
the best that plays the most minutes.
True.
Because Caruso's a better.
I was gonna say
defender.
Caruso immediately is my
He's
answer.
The only
averaging-
difference is Lou Dort can play. I mean, J-Dub can anchor the five.
Correct.
Caruso cannot.
You were gonna say
There's
John?
so many mouths to feed, primarily the one leading the league in scoring offensively, that 21-5-5. I think it's impressive to even get to that level of productivity because you have Shea as the engine of the offense.
I'm
How many
with you.
mouths you
I'm with
feeding,
you.
John?
Here he goes.
A lot of mouths. I got like 4 or 5. That's a good amount, yeah.
Okay.
So Sabonis makes it because of just the numbers and not the
his numbers are stupid.
not
Well, it's been more
not really
impactful.
impacting winning.
Impact-
Well,
impactful
they're a
players,
top
too.
10 offense with him being the engine. And on top of that, we had this conversation about him and Bam, which wasn't really based off this year, but this year specifically, best year from three, it's his best defensive season. I don't think he's been a negative defensively. I think he's been solid and actually,
Playing engine.
honestly,
Talk.
he's been a positive on defense.
Trey made your team.
He did.
Trey, if you had to pick between Trey and Sabonis, who would you pick?
Trey comfortably.
Trey.
So how come Harden's not on it?
Because I thought Trey was better than Harden.
What's Trey's
Hallie has
why?
a case over
He's been more
Sabonis.
productive this year.
this year?
Yes.
What are the numbers?
Trey's
leading
at like,
Trey's
assists.
averaging 24 and 12.
yeah, Trey's
leading
his
league
numbers
assists.
are always crazy. It's
Trey
like 24
is
and 12.
averaging 24 and
Harden-
12.
Harden-
Someone's gotta
is
get
what?
on all
like
NBA.
22 and I'll check right now.
22 and 8.5 or 9. It's like rounded to 9.
But he's
He's
playing
still
with
top 5
Kawhi.
in assists,
And Norman Powell's getting
And
buckets.
Okay, but he's not number 1. He's not averaging 24.
but he's a pivotal part of a 49-win team.
Talk.
He is.
He
The
is.
Hawks-
The Hawks,
Definitely.
the
Could
Hawks
be
were
if
in
they're-
500.
they're
20
second best
23
players
and
been
9.
out for about
Oh
a year.
wow! You mean like the
23,
Clippers'
96.
best player was out for a
I
majority of
was
the
going to
season?
say difference between Kawhi and Jalen Johnson.
Oh, yeah,
World's-
good
yeah,
point.
world's
You get a good
different.
point.
World's
Okay, fair enough.
Like I think Harden
Crying,
has a
John.
better case for an All NBA team than Trey. That's why you saying Trey's over Sabonis. I'm kind of wondering why Harden's not over Sabonis then.
Harden was
He's back.
not efficient.
He's
I
back as
do
a Harden fan.
believe that
No, he is back.
Harden
He's
has
back.
played so well the last 2 months.
Cook.
And he's had so many outbursts that he was my first guy off, and I thought long and
too.
hard about it. But to me, he's not leading a top 10 offense. Sabonis has been. Even with trades, they're a top 10 offense. The defense has been an issue, and he hasn't been a part of that issue in the
I
defense.
feel like Harden could go to Sacramento and lead them to a top 10 offense.
Well,
Top
without
10?
Kawhi, they weren't that, and they have an elite.
They're built off defense.
elite cast of shooters.
Who?
They've got,
The
four
Clippers.
they've got 4 guys shooting 40% from 3. One of them's Kawhi, and the other one might be Boogie. So
Oh,
And
well,
Sabonis-
Bogey is hard. Sometimes hard to play because his defense is, and he was
He's-
struggling in
him
Atlanta.
and Harden together don't
but-
match.
But
No, I know
but
what you
Bogdanovich in Atlanta
Trey,
was
he gets
terrible
broken
from
for it.
3. He goes to the Clippers and he starts shooting really well on Harden and
It
him
took
click.
him like a couple games to really start
Was he
knocking it
healthy?
down.
I'm not.
But let me
sure
ask you a
what it
question.
was.
Are we attributing that to Harden?
I think Harden gets credit in that for the looks that he generates.
I get
not
where you're
saying,
coming
not saying
from.
Trey doesn't generate those looks,
Trey
but,
doesn't.
That's why I'm having a
But
difficult
Bogey's
time.
kind of his
But-
own type of.
but
you know,
all I'm saying is
Bogey's
that
a great
all I'm
shooter.
saying is that Harden.
Struggled.
I mean, you're talking about the offensive thing. I care more about the winning. And I think Harden has won more, and he's been more impactful to his team winning this.
Let me ask you a question, and then we can move on to the next thing. Now, I agree, the winning, he's been huge in that.
And he's been a really good defender.
What's been their reason for winning? Not their. Be real.
The defense,
Be
Zubac.
honest.
He had 4
like,
stocks
what are we
yesterday.
reaching
He had
for?
4
stocks
Be
yesterday.
the steals merchant.
Yeah,
All right,
he's
done.
crazy for that.
He had 2 blocks.
All right, and who's top 3 in steals this year? Nikola Jokic. Good defender.
talk.
Great defender?
Talk to him. John, jump
serviceable
Great
defender.
defender.
Championship defensive anchor.
in. Ah!
I didn't mean anchor. I didn't mean anchor.
My point being is the
Defensive
defense has been elite all season. And if not elite, great, amazing, all season long. It's been that defense that's been the reason for a majority of those wins. Is James Harden a huge part in their success? I'm not saying that that's not obviously yes. Most definitely has been a huge part. But the backbone of the Clippers is their defense.
The one argument I will say is if James Harden was hurt, they wouldn't have been able to been
They would have
able
been
to
a
stay
lottery
afloat
team.
I agree.
because of the fact that he is able to generate
And handle
quality
the ball.
offense and
100%
make
agree.
other players better.
100%.
and
Like
be able to-
there's
that
no
passer.
doubt that the defense for the Clippers has been an anchor point for them
Yeah.
for most of the season, but without having a baseline level floor on offense that Harden
Harden is a floor
got you,
raiser.
I agree.
They would have been one of the worst teams in the league.
Kawhi is a
he
ceiling
gave
raiser.
him that.
He is.
Harden's a floor raiser.
100. I agree.
I'm gonna be real. It's a little bit like Julius Randle in 2021, where for the better part of the year they were a bottom 10 offense, but a top 5 defense. But he did just enough to kind of get them to
keep
that
them afloat.
For a
top
major-
4, top 5.
The majority of the season,
It's just-
Harden was at like 39% efficiency.
Yeah,
it was
Alex
killing
Sarr
me.
levels.
It's just very hard for me to have an All NBA player when you're a play-in. And I'm not talking about like the 8 seed. I'm talking about like the 9, 10 seed.
You said
Here we
KD
go.
was-
Hold
if
on.
he was healthy.
Hold on.
You're right, but
Luka
he averaged
Doncic
27.
didn't make the playoffs. He was first team. He's Luka.
He averaged 30.
Wasn't it 7?
SGA. No.
Oh, okay.
SGA was the 10th seed.
30.
First team All NBA.
He averaged
30.
30.
But I'm not saying to be first team All
know.
NBA. We're just saying All NBA.
Sabonis ain't got 30.
He doesn't have 30. And John's not saying he's
top-
first team.
I know, I know.
He's
Top 2 or
saying
3
third
rebounder.
seed. It's not too
20
crazy.
game on good 20 game really good.
So why don't you have Zubac over Sabonis?
Because Sabonis has been more productive, and Zubac to me has had an amazing season.
Anchor of the defense, top rebounder in
Sabonis
the
is their
league.
best player, though.
No, but look, anchor of the defense.
He is.
And
Top
he's anchored
rebounder.
a better defense
Better
than Sabonis
defense.
has
They're winning.
offense.
True.
Great post up scorer. You know what I'm saying? Great in the pick and roll. Great screener.
Sabonis has been the best offensive player in offense, which is 7th in.
But they're a
offensive
playing
rating.
team. Zubac, I will say this. That's important. I'm not saying it's
They're
not.
in the West too.
Yeah, but look,
I think-
you're helping me because Zubac has
Clippers,
been
yeah,
one of the anchors of the best defenses in the league in the West. That's a playoff team.
He's right, John. That didn't help your point, sadly.
I think that's more important than the offense that's a playing team. By
if
the
they're
way,
in the East, they're a 45-win team.
if the Clippers are in the East, they're probably 50.
The thing is, it's better. It's easier. It's
They were
easier,
50. They were 49.
yeah.
brother, come
It's
on, Ty.
easier to be a winning team when your identity
yeah.
is defense. That's
In the
kind of
regular season,
in the
for
regular
sure,
season
yes.
mainly.
You're not getting any pushback from either, but Sabonis, his best defensive season has been a positive on defense.
I'm not saying he isn't. I'm not saying he
Because
isn't.
look, they had the number 1 offensive rating in NBA history
Okay.
the year that they were a top 3
So-
seed. Their defense was mid.
Yeah.
This is James Harden on the court this year for the Clippers, a 117.1 offensive rating. The Kings is a 118 offensive rating with Sabonis on the court. So,
so
with
Sabonis
Sabonis, the offense is better
players.
by 0.9. The point differential, Sabonis on the court is a plus 2.9. With Harden, it's a plus 6. And the defensive rating is 111 with Harden on the court. And with Sabonis is 115.1.
Come on, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
What do you mean?
Let's
Sabonis
not
has
talk
a
about
lot
the
more on the
defense.
plate as a
Let's talk about the
defender.
offense.
But overall,
Agreed. The
overall
offense
this
moved
year,
me.
Harden has a better
The
point
offense
differential
moved
than
me.
Sabonis
I heard
when
this.
he's
The
on the
offense
court.
is where we're here.
I
This is
heard
where
you.
we're
The
here,
plus 2 to plus 6 that moved me. You mentioned the defensive
It's a
rating.
plus 9.
The Clippers defense it clears the Kings.
I think, but for Sabonis on the court to only lead the Kings to a plus
115.
0.9 better offensive rating, when I think the Kings' offensive supporting cast, when the Clippers did not have Kawhi, I
Yes.
think is better.
Because Sabonis isn't the playmaker Harden is. It's different.
not.
Yeah, it's a different.
But
It's
for
a
his
different vibe.
position,
Or the score.
He's still
top
for sure,
percent.
for sure. Yes.
So-
But it's just
Harden's
like,
the better player. Yeah.
it's
I'll be honest with you, 19, 14, and 6. His video game numbers are
Zubac.
a positive defender.
That's
That's-
Sabonis.
oh,
That's
it's
Sabonis.
No,
19,
Sabonis
14,
is. I don't
think-
hate. It's just like I feel like it's better cases. Better cases.
Love you, Sabonis.
Like
I
I,
do
feel like
think there are
Zubac's
better
case is
cases,
fake
too.
better. Not that he's a better player. I'm not saying that. Like we can have that conversation another day. But the way how you
Strictly talking
mentioned
NBA.
In a
offense,
playoff setting, I'd rather have Zubac. Yeah, but
yeah,
this is
yeah.
regular
Just
season.
but like you talked about Sabonis leading the top 10
Relax.
offense, playing all the NBA third team. I feel like Zubac leading the top defense.
Yes.
and they're in the playoffs.
Top five
that,
defense,
That
matter
weighs
of
a
fact.
little bit more to me.
I don't disagree. Zubac has been incredible this year.
Derek Jones and Chris Dunn, baby.
Oh, but Zach LaVine and you know what?
Zach LaVine just got there.
DeMar DeRozan.
We talk about him all the
He's
time.
a good offensive. He's better than Ben Simmons and Derek
He's
Jones
actually
Jr.
top 10 in clutch points this
The
year.
hell are we
He's
doing?
always top 10 in
the
clutch
regular
points.
season, he's a bucket.
Can we be dead serious about DeMar DeRozan,
Can we
please?
be dead serious about what James Harden has out there?
100%.
Zach LaVine's been
Norman
incredible on
Powell
both
could have been an
teams.
He was
all-star.
He was hurt.
He could have
He
been
missed some
an
games.
all-star.
He missed some games.
Missed a lot.
Missed some
I'm
games.
fantasy
That
basketball.
brother was running out there. Chris Dunn at the
every
two.
month he
Defense,
was out.
You got
great.
it. You got
Offense, they leave
negative.
him open.
You're right. I'm not going to say you're wrong.
You got to cover Keon Ellis.
Bless you.
Talk.
Are you
So
gonna
we're
sneeze? Go
going
ahead.
on to
Pineapple. Here it
NBA
comes.
defensive teams.
Never mind.
All right, John. NBA defensive teams.
Sorry.
Oh, this one might get. a
Now
little
we still got a
sticky.
long way to go. We might just do NBA today. So defensive teams. We're just gonna do number 1 and 2.
Okay.
First team is Amen, Jalen Williams, Dyson Daniels, Evan Mobley, and Draymond Green. I would have had Caruso on my first team, but he's not eligible, so that's why I didn't have
Who'd you
him.
take him
not?
over?
He's not. From a lot of people in the replies on my tweets, he's not eligible.
What?
Think minutes or injuries? Maybe
probably
minutes.
the-
Yeah.
You're joking.
Yeah, he is not eligible.
Hate
Who'd
that
you
for
take him
me.
over? Don't say Dyson.
Caruso?
Yeah.
I'll probably take him over Lou Dort.
Oh, you had Lou Dort in your first team.
Not on my first team.
Oh, okay. You say
my first team, I would probably take Caruso over J-Dub.
Oh, okay.
So it's Amen, J-Dub, Dyson, Evan Mobley, Draymond. On my second team, I have Lou Dort, OG Anunoby, Bam Adebayo, Rudy Gobert, and Ivica Zubac.
Thank you for the Bam love, because people just are so silly.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I got my first team is Draymond. Thank you. My first team.
Fucking asshole.
This guy could have kept talking.
No, I thought it was gonna be a nasty one. My first team is Draymond, Mobley, Amen, Jaren, Dyson. My second team is Zubac, J-Dub, Bam, OG, and Kamara. Giving him some love on this one.
Okay, I love that. My first team is going to be Mobley. I have Draymond, Amen, Jaren Jackson. I do have Rudy Gobert making my first team.
He should have got a lot more love than what he
He
did.
should have.
Second team, I have Bam, Ivica. If Alex can't make it, I'm going OG Anunoby, J-Dub, and Dyson Daniels.
Why not just put Rudy there,
Where?
where you had Caruso?
Well, Rudy's my first team. I'm saying in my second team.
Apologize.
Correct. I do have Caruso making second team. I slightly leaned Rudy over Caruso in that regard. But regardless of how you shake it, Bam, Zubac, I'm going OG, J-Dub, and Dyson. All these guys have been incredible.
There's so many good options, and I think the last spot for me was the toughest one. But first team for me, Eamon Thompson, Dyson Daniels, Bam Adebayo, Draymond Green, and Evan Mobley. Second team, Jalen Williams, Tumani Kamara, Jaren Jackson. And this one I was a little bit hesitant on, but then Ivica Zubac and Rudy Gobert.
Okay. Shout out to Rudy because he
I
deserves
like
it.
the Tumani love, truthfully.
Yeah, I
He
felt like
might not
was-
make it, but I'll give him
I
some
felt
love.
like for me, he was pretty comfortable. I
He was
didn't really have
incredible
much
this season.
hesitation.
No way around
There's a
it.
lot of great defenders that are not going to make it.
Dude,
Isaiah Hartenstein not being eligible kills me because I think that he
No,
was.
thank God. That would make it harder.
I agree.
But
with
I
your
think he
tweet.
makes it, is what I'm saying.
But then somebody
that
has to get kicked
third.
off.
I think
Yeah, I
that's.
think there should
Like,
be a
who
third
you
team.
kicking off? Who you kicking off? It's tough. Like who you kicking off?
I don't know.
You know what I'm
man.
saying? Like,
is Dyson going to be first team?
He
You
should.
had him first team. You
Yeah,
had him first
he-
team.
he-
You had him
he
first
I
team
think
too.
he led the league. in
Dyson's a
steals.
lock first.
So
team.
let me ask you a question. Is it me having Rudy over Dyson that you think is incorrect?
That's not incorrect.
I don't think any of them are incorrect.
Because I also have Jaren as my first team.
I think I would
I
put
moved
Dyson over
Jaren
Jaren.
down. I thought he was first team a month or two ago.
I actually
don't hate
didn't
that.
have him.
On your
Oh, your
teams at
teams?
all?
No, I didn't have Jaren on it.
What's wrong with Jaren and you, man?
He's just he an elite defender this year, like anchoring the Grizzlies defense. Really hasn't done that this
To be
year.
fair, they literally purged up the Jalen Wells.
No,
They don't have a point of attack
no, no.
It's Desmond Bane?
No, Drew, no.
Vince Williams, they don't have one.
Drew, no, no, no.
What are you wanting about?
No.
He-
Ain't no way. Ain't no way to do that lap jaw in on your all defensive team. There's no way.
Did John make any of these teams?
No, but
no, I
Jaren
don't
should have.
see
Jaren
him.
should have at least make defensive team. And to be fair to Jaren, they don't have a POA guy. They don't have many good defenders. Like he has to anchor Santi Aldama, John Morant,
Yep.
and on occasions Luke Kennard.
Bam
Like
Adebayo.
that are three. Well, Bam's 1-on-1. We don't have to.
Ben made our teams.
Yeah.
Gobert,
He
Gobert
made our teams.
1-on-1. We don't have to compare. He's not those guys.
OG Anunoby.
All right, now we can have a conversation.
I was trying.
I'm not taking OG Anunoby.
Who's your second team?
Lou Dort, OG,
I would take.
I didn't have Lou Dort on
I didn't have Lou
mine.
Dort on mine
Adebayo, and Zubats. Zubats
Zubats is a stamp.
I didn't have Lou Dort.
And then
on
my
mine.
first team: Draymond, Mobley, Dyson, J Dub, Amen. Like if we're going,
Jaren over Lou Dort.
if we're going bigs over some of these guards, just because they do anchor the defense, then I guess that's a
I
valid
mean,
play.
it's
But
just the 10 best defenders.
That's why I have Jaren on my first.
yeah, I think Lou Dort being on historic level defense and him being the point of attack defender and the perimeter defender that gets the toughest assignments every night. Yeah, I how can I not have?
that-
I think Lou Dort's, to me, it's that Lou Dort's OG Anunoby for me, my last spot conversation, but I just think OG for the responsibility he has as, if you're not the best defensive player every single night for us, we're screwed. We have
about,
no,
OG?
just talking, yeah, OG's role on the Knicks.
I mean, I feel
he
like
has to
that's
be that.
Jaren. If you don't anchor
I
the
agree
rim,
with
it's
you.
like it's over.
Definitely. And Bam Adebayo, same logic.
He never fails.
He's a legend on defense.
All rookie team. I had Stephon Castle
Here we go.
in the first team,
Shit, I gotta
Jalen
make
Wells, Risa Shea, Khalil Ware, and Alex Sarr.
Okay,
like
I
it.
don't have too much difference, except instead of Kalel, I have Donovan Clingan. I have Stephon Castle, Risha Shea, Clingan, Alex Sarr, Jalen Wells.
That's funny. We all the same list, but different last spots for big.
I don't have Sarr on my first team.
I don't either.
You've been hating on Sarr all season.
Sarr
Try to give him
was
the
very
40%.
efficient.
Yeah, what's
His
up with-
defense was
Wait,
great.
okay. Hear my five first.
passer.
Hear my five first.
What were
and
the
we won't
Wizards'
call it
defense
hating.
like? 28th in defense rating.
That's unfair.
What are you doing? What are you do- Yo, Joel,
What?
I listen. You'll hear my five, and you would.
where
think
are
it's
the
not
Knicks
hating.
defensively?
Crying.
Probably a little bit below average.
That's your team.
Okay, so then why do we have OGM team, right? Like, if we're going off defensive rating,
Sarr is
he's
a big
really
man.
only-
we don't do
Positive.
that. Go ahead.
Castle,
Of course.
Reese Shea,
Yes.
Matas,
No.
Jalen Wells,
Absolutely.
Khalil Ware.
I'm fine with that. Matad's first team.
Moved me.
Now he likes the Bulls.
No, I
you
don't.
both him?
Wait. I don't.
What's it gonna take? for
Kobe
you to-
White, Matas. That's it.
Giddy's been your best player.
I don't care. Stop saying who. Don't tell me that.
All right. Dude, Mataz has moved me definitely February, March, April, no doubt.
Knicks 14th
Don't,
in
that
defense
matters for
rating.
rookies.
Say one more time.
14th
Okay, so great defense.
No.
No excuse for them to lose in the playoffs. We're here.
in the first round. No,
No, we're here.
Absolutely
Yo,
not.
March, April, February, March, April moves
No,
the rookies.
100%.
Moves.
And you know me with
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying. Moves.
You know me with that.
So if
And the
but
Wizards.
Donovan Clingan,
he's on my second team.
I think he's worthy of first team.
He's on my first.
I don't hate that. He's on my
doesn't
second
really
team.
play that much.
That's
He
the
was
problem.
amazing
And his numbers
defensively,
are really like if you just from bland, like they're bad.
but his defense is
So the
incredible.
Wizards are not 28th in defense rating. They're actually
29.
27th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're the Wizards.
Yeah, I need that.
No, I mean Alex Sarr was inefficient. I still put him on there, but like, could you make an argument just off like of rookie seasons? Kyle Filipowski is a first teamer.
He's on my second
He's
team.
on my second.
Yeah.
I love Kyle.
I just put him on my second.
Yeah, my second team is I have Isaiah Collier, Khalil Ware, Filipowski, Aves Misi in my last spot. It was tough, but I did give the slight edge to Bub Carrington.
Okay.
I got Klingon, Flip, Bub, Sar, Collier.
So my first team was Stephon Castle, Zachary Shea.
Oh, I'm sorry, John.
You're good. Jalen Wells, we're wishing you a speedy recovery because the injury he had last week was pretty brutal.
And that's their only POA guy.
Khalil Ware, and then my last spot, I went with Donovan Clinton. I know you went with one big and blanking. You went with another. So I went with Donovan Clinton with that 5th spot. His numbers may seem bland, but per 36, he's been an awesome rebounder,
Per
stout
36,
rim protector.
That's
You're
assuming
looking
he
at
gets 36
18
games.
and 18.
12 and 14 at 3 blocks. He's
Yes.
been, for a rookie, a positive defender, a very helpful one for Trailblazers team that defensively has really exceeded expectations.
Imagine him over Zach Edey.
Zach Edey's next up. My second team, I really wrestled between Isaiah Collier and Bub Carrington. And I'm still struggling with it. I'm only picking one of these two. And I'm going to go with Bub Carrington. Then Matas Buzelis, Kyle Filipowski, Alex Sarr, and Zach Edey, second team.
Just realized I forgot I robbed Mataz. And honestly, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, so I mean, I forgot about Mataz, but I just got reminded. Yeah, Mataz is gonna go to my rookie teams. I feel like the flashes
You do
that
have
he
a
had.
crush on him.
He had one of the highest highs of like all the rookies this year.
Can't hate it.
So I'm going with Mataz, and especially once Zach LaVine got traded, he got more playing time, and he was
100%.
really good for them. So I would go with my second team: Kyle Filipowski, Mataz Buzelis, Isaiah Collier, just leading all rookies in assists, and I'd go with Yves Misi.
Yep.
I think he's been really good, and then I'll go with Zach Edey.
Shout out to Misi and Collier leading the rookies in assists. That's like the most nobody talked about stat in the league because like nobody talked about it. But he was quietly their best young player, and him and Kyle in a time where they have like Cody Williams who got hurt, didn't play. Hendricks got hurt, didn't play. They have all these young players, but those two seem like the bright spots.
No Klingon on your team?
No.
He was on my second team.
Kind of nuts. You can argue he's the best defensive rookie.
Argue.
Maybe he's not.
He is.
I don't know. I like Zach
better
Edey.
than
I like
Edey.
Filipowski.
No, yeah, he's better than Edey. He's better than Edey. He is.
I think that's strong.
Strong what?
Yo, be honest. Would you, if the Grizzlies
Yes,
had
yes,
Klingon
yes.
instead of Edey, you'd
Edey's
feel
an
better.
awesome offensive rebounder, and he plays a similar role to Steven Adams on that team. Now,
Rolls all
you
slow
think
and
Zach
shit.
Edey's like trash? I don't know
Yeah, bro,
why.
he bothers me.
Zach
He
Edey,
bothers
in
me.
my opinion,
7'5".
I don't know if he's good.
7'5".
He is good.
Struggles to get a turnaround floater
I'm
in
not
the rim.
the biggest fan of his game necessarily,
Uh-huh.
but he is productive, especially as a rebounder.
8 and 9
he's-
9 as rookie, 21 minutes.
He's solid. And honestly, I think stylistically, he reminds me of a slower Vita Zubac.
Slow is being so nice.
Yeah, dude, his footwork to me is not great.
It took Zubac a long time to really assess.
Not gonna say you're wrong. Magic trade him for a reason.
I mean, you guys trade him for Mike
A ham
Muscala.
sandwich.
Yeah, Mike
You guys
Muscala.
did trade away Zubac. He was skinny when he was with
He
you guys.
traded away
He was
Zubac
good.
and he traded away Brooke Lopez. Magic Johnson, man.
You know, I
Magic.
thought Zubac was a
Rob
bright spot.
Pelinka was
Yes.
still
He
in
was
the
there.
brass.
He was there.
I have like this like-hate relationship with Edey. Sometimes I watch him and it's like, oh, he's doing good things. And other times it's like, why are you on the court?
Kind of how it is with a rookie. Don't you think?
I'm with you. He's
Now,
22.
He's
Stephon
a-
Castle was all
He's a lineup
outside of.
specific
You know what?
or
Let me shut up.
scheme
Because start of
specific
season he
player.
couldn't shoot.
Yeah,
So I'll shut up.
most
Well, he
rookies.
can't shoot.
No.
So,
Stephon.
you know, but here's the difference.
does
Stephon
everything
Castle's
else.
19.
True.
He
Edey's
is
what, 22?
He's
Four
a
year.
Wasn't he a senior? Yeah.
Sold.
Yeah.
So
Klingon's 20?
Is there any rookie that you're out on? Like
too early.
after seeing the rookie years, you're like, I don't think this guy's gonna be good. I have two:
That was fast, too.
Salawan and Cody Williams.
I was gonna say
I was
Cody
low on
Williams.
them,
Sayuan hurts because he played well in summer league and then was dog shit this season. So yeah, Cody Williams, I'm for sure out. I don't know what he does positive.
Yeah, I felt the same way coming into the draft, and I felt like both were reaches. But I also will acknowledge that Salon is a pretty big project, and that was a long-term pick. I don't understand the vision with the players they like.
He
you could have
just
Matas
looked genuinely
Buzelis.
awful.
They could have had Matas Buzelis.
He just looks so bad.
You know what? I'm
There's
also
like no redemption.
I'm gonna say the hot take. I think I'm out on Zach Edey.
That's not a hot take.
All right, good.
I mean,
Because I know
It's
people.
like whether you're there or you're not.
No, I think that I am out. I don't believe in his footwork. I don't know what his ceiling is defensively outside of just being a taller presence than everybody else. I think I really don't know what his ceiling is as an offensive player is
Steven
either.
Adams.
And if that's the case, Steven Adams has pretty good
Adams is
mobility.
the best rebounder in the NBA.
But Steven Adams for that
he get
size,
there?
his mobility is really good.
and he's a very good passer.
Correct.
That's why he's still even out in Houston after all these surgeries playing well.
He's having
you
a
know?
historically great offensive rebounding season right now.
like if I had
He
to
is
go
an
on,
historically great rebounder.
if
That's one thing he is good at.
I had to go on a limb for like
Adams?
one of these players
Oh,
that has
Edey.
potential,
Oh, I was gonna say,
yeah,
hold up.
I think I'm out on Edey.
Yeah, there's nobody I'm going out on a limb for guys who like have shown some flashes. It's really Salawan and Cody Williams. I think Cody Williams averages like 4 points.
Was anybody ever really in on Cody Williams to
I
be
thought it
out?
was gonna be all right.
I wasn't a fan of his game because, like Drew
At least
said,
they made it with Cole.
I didn't think he really had strong strengths, but he also was hurt last year.
I'll say a
He
year
was hurt
2
in
player
college.
I'm out on is Keontae George.
Cook.
I've had higher expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who I'm out on. I'll say that.
So NBA play-in predictions. We have 4 games in the play-in. First ones are the 7 versus 8 matchups.
Tomorrow.
In the East and West, they are tomorrow. Hawks versus Magic.
I'm taking
It's for the 7th seed right
Trey
here.
Young,
All the chips on the
master
line.
class, Dyson Daniels, box up against whoever, Atlanta Hawks playoffs.
I like it. I know Trey Young in big game situations usually steps up to the plate and hits a home run. I'm feeling confident in Paulo Banchero and what he's been.
Trey
able
Young
to
has a
put
winning
forth.
record in the play, right?
Yeah,
I think it'd be really cool if the NBA, I don't know, maybe the stats accessible. They don't. But based off what I've seen in my own 2 eyes, I feel like Trey Young's the best player in playing history. He's been a killer every time, whether they're playing the Cavs
Unless
or
Unless you
the
count
Nets.
LeBron. I'm with you.
He's been
I
incredible.
think he's played more games than LeBron.
LeBron has
Now,
Yeah, I think Trey got like 5, bro.
I don't know how or who the Hawks are going to match up in Paulo Banchero, who's averaging 30
Dyson
points.
Daniels.
30 points. That's their best matchup. But you also got Franz Wagner, who I think Dyson's going to
Dyson.
defend. He can't guard both of them. So you're
can.
looking at one of Georges Niane or Zach Richichet guarding Paulo, and
I
I think
remember-
he would put them in a
I
blender.
remember Banchero versus Niang in the playoffs. Woo!
No, it's
So
gonna be food.
Paulo, and he was talking some game. I think Paulo is going to be very easily the biggest difference maker in this matchup because they can't physically hang with him. So I'm going to go with Orlando, but they need to hit a couple of threes.
Let's hope for a good game.
I just like their defense, the Magic's defense. I think that's the only thing steady. It's going to be like a 90-90
You don't like
game.
Paulo?
Well, I like Paulo too.
You like
He's very
Franz,
well.
though. Franz is a
30
big guy.
games.
I
Last
love
one.
Franz.
Love
I was
Franz.
mentioning him.
Franz just
So
got
I think, and Anthony Black's been playing really better recently.
Really
you had to say really bad.
Really better.
You didn't want to say
He's playing
great.
much better.
Some
He's
year
contributing.
3 guys I'm out on is kind of both of those guys.
Oh, you out on Black?
Yeah.
I remember this day like it was yesterday, man. We were in summer league and the guy next to me was telling me about Anthony Black being better than men and how he was just gonna clear him. And now look where we're at.
Unfortunately,
Who's
that's
that?
You can't
That was you?
hit shots.
Look where we're at, man.
John.
Just we have gone
Wait,
so far.
who said that?
Oh, dude, it was him.
I thought you said me. I was like,
No, he
Nah,
did
he
say
was
you. He
just
tried to
saying
put it on you.
He
It was
did
him
try to put it on
next
you.
to me, chatting.
I don't know if I said Anthony Black was better than them.
Oh, don't lie now.
In the
Don't
summer
lie
league
now.
games, I probably
You
did.
said that the Rockets should
Summer
take.
league.
But that was tough
Anthony
for
Black
Orlando
over him.
because you have Jet Howard, who's in the lottery. He's not even getting on the field, on the floor, and then Anthony Black is so prolific to the rest of their guys, and he's
Don't give up yet, John.
I like Anthony Black. He just looks like he should be nice. So
Especially when he has his braids in.
exactly.
as
He look
long
like
as
him with his fro?
if the shooting progresses,
It looks a little bit,
I
Long
fuck with
look,
it too.
yeah.
he's
it's
just
a little
gotta
bit
be
unprofessional.
a competent shooter.
You're losing me. You're losing me.
Yo, what?
You're losing
Yo,
me.
you're done.
Hair's just too big.
Joel, that was nuts.
It's like Alfred Payton when he had like the big hair.
Oh my god.
looked better
Anthony
with the
Black
buzz
was
cut.
is a lot more
It's
curlier.
Yeah, but then
Alfred
he has
Payton
like the
has black
dye. He has the
hair.
dye on it, like the blonde dye.
I
on
thought
top.
the
kind
dye
of like
fire.
a
The
much,
unprofessional
Like
comment.
I think
Throw it in
Anthony
the trash.
Black
I was unprofessional when I came in here with my fro. Be honest to me.
when you had it all combed out. Like
No, when I took it
crazy?
out the braids and I had to just fling. I
did
was
you look
unprofessional.
unprofessional when you came
Tell me
in?
the
You
truth.
said
Don't try to change your shit.
I'm gonna give you an answer.
All right, what's up?
Did you look unprofessional when you came in and you were like, "Sorry, I couldn't get my braids done," and your hair was just like all straight? Oh, you remember that time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought you did. Yeah. I thought
He's a sicko.
no, this is getting crazy.
going to
Yeah,
jail.
I thought you.
You
I
might-
thought
you
you know, I
might.
thought you could have put on a better show. But no, I think he looks better with the braids. He looks
like-
more cleaner.
I like both.
Doesn't look like he
Calm
doesn't
down.
wash his hair.
Oh, okay.
We can all agree he looks like he should be nice. That's for sure. He
Facts.
looks like he should be dumb nice.
Now, when we saw him in summer league, he just walks by. I'm just like,
Movie.
this dude is 18 years old and he's towering.
You
over
understood the hype.
Me. I
Summer league was
felt it, and he had the cool glasses on. He had the Cartier glasses on. I was
First
like,
of all, the hype was really day one when Scoot, Amen, B. Miller, Victor played, and
My
we were
God.
like, yeah, like when Amen
We
and
were in the
Scoot played, it
presence
was
of
like,
greatness.
this right here is the best guards in the league.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
gonna
that
go
was
with
a
the
movie.
Orlando Magic though. I just think Trey Young, he does have great performances in games like this, but there are times where he's met with size and physicality and he can struggle a bit and he can be really inefficient from the field. But I do think overall the Hawks are more talented. They have more players that can hit shots that are more efficient from three, but second half of the season, KCP's hitting his shots. And I think that's been something that's been under talked about, where he's finally shooting like he's supposed to shoot again. So I think if the Magic can do just enough defensively and offensively have that punch from Paolo and Franz, I think they should win this game. Grizzlies versus the Warriors.
Warriors have all the pressure in the world to win this game. They
So
should win this game.
If they win this game, what seed would the Grizzlies be?
They'll have to play for 8th.
Makes you think, Joel. If somebody would have took an educated guess, maybe they could be on the right side of history here. That being said, we all will be taking the Warriors. I can
Try.
only assume.
Because what if the Grizzlies lose to Dallas?
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
And
they-
that'd be an indictment
Well, they all
on the Grizzlies.
They have,
and not
Anthony
only will that be an
Davis-
indictment on
Anthony
the
Davis
Grizzlies,
could do.
that will also lock up even more my statement about OKC breezing through the first round.
well, they also could very well lose to Dallas. I want to say
Because
that for
Anthony
them.
Davis,
Memphis.
John Morant struggles or is he?
Who you
Right.
talking
Talking
about?
about OKC, I almost
If
had
they were
an
healthy.
aneurysm.
No. Golden State should win this game. But
Jimmy didn't want to go to Memphis. He said, "I'm good. I'm good off
No,
that."
no.
I wonder if there's a
What were
little
you
bit of
gonna say?
motivation on one side.
I need a job masterclass. That's
And
all
hold
I
up,
need.
hold up. Before he got hurt in the 2022 plus, he was out playing Steph for 3 games. I
Who?
think that's the job. Was out playing Steph those first
Oh,
couple of
facts,
games.
facts, facts,
So that's
facts,
another
facts.
fun storyline.
They were
here to
1 and
track.
2 in those games, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Did they win any game, or they did? They,
They
won
did
one
win
game
a
One.
game
They
2?
beat the
Because
fire
they
out
won
of
a
game
game-
5.
with
game
Dylan
five.
Brooks.
What game they win with Ja? Was it 2?
It was Ja. They won game
had
2 at
44.
home where he had 14 straight points in the fourth quarter. 14 straight. And he had 44. People hating. But then game 5 when
could
Ja
never.
didn't play, they beat the shit out of Golden State in Memphis.
Yeah.
Like beat fire out there.
I think Brooks led the team in scoring that day.
that game.
Yeah, that
Probably.
game.
Oh, yeah, that game was great. Like they came out and just washed them.
Yeah, I got the Warriors in this one. Jimmy Butler's
Did they?
Shot.
Did they
There's
the
a
say
end that he
rivalry
took.
there too. The young guys, Memphis versus Draymond. There's a lot of.
yeah.
Have they said anything
Subtle
about Jimmy's
storylines.
leg yet?
They haven't. I don't think it's something serious. I think probably it's just something that in the moment he got
Dead
hurt
leg.
on. But
he
I
caught a
think
stunner.
they should win. Like
They should win.
the Warriors' defense really impressed me against the Clippers. Pods and Moody, they were awesome.
You want some
Okay,
water,
bro?
King?
Yeah, are you okay?
No, I did drink some water. It's just my throat is
Wrong
like
pipe?
clogged up.
All right. I get where you're coming from. That being said, you can be moved by the defense they showed against the Clippers. That being said, James Harden was excellent. Kawhi Leonard, until the last 3 minutes of the game and OT, he was
switched Draymond on
pretty
him.
excellent. You could, and when they did that for game, he got clamped.
Not only before game.
Kawhi got clamped
OT,
for
he didn't
game.
do shit.
No, talk. You're spitting. That being said, yeah, give me Golden State. Not thinking twice about this.
I'm going Golden State, but it's interesting how all 4 of us took them. I wonder if that.
Well, Memphis has been resting for like 3 days.
I
It's
will
just
say
a
this.
one-game series,
Hey,
you know?
hey. I will say this: Golden State loses
Oh,
to
storyline.
Memphis.
Storyline lit. Because now AFC
Rivs
go to
up now.
OKC.
Rivs up now. I won't say strong.
That's
Then
what you
Memphis
want.
go play Houston.
No, bro.
You gotta
for
think.
show purposes,
gotta think.
solely. The whole big argument that Riv and I had was talking about the 1-8 matchup, that it wouldn't be a cakewalk. I said, well, right now they're gonna say they're gonna
'cause
see the Grizzlies.
Thunder are winning now. I don't know why, but I see now you got Ja versus Rockets. I think that'd be a very interesting.
Everything looks gooder.
No, but most it
does.
looks better.
does shake
But
out
for
somewhat.
majority, if you have Golden State going against OKC, in theory, it shouldn't be a
It should be
walk in the
6,
park.
7 games.
It should be 6 games.
And then we have hope for Memphis.
I mean, we saw
you know what I'm
Oklahoma
saying?
City lose
Gets a
Dallas
lot of-
last year. When they
But
were
I'm gonna be
favorites.
honest, because I'm a man that stands 10. If it is Golden State and OKC, I'm gonna risk sounding dumb and say OKC in 5.
Steph has never lost in 5 in his life. In his life.
I guess.
No, like in his life. It's
I
never
guess he
happened.
just loses in the play-in.
Yeah.
Even
So
the
does
AAU
Shaq.
tournaments, maybe.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, no, Golden State should win this. I'll be very, very upset they lose this game because all that momentum is dead in the water.
And if they do win, I think it's probably a better pathway than if they would have beat the Clippers, because you talk about that,
You still gotta
that
play Lakers in the next
4-5 matchup is
No,
the
no,
Clippers
it's
and the
1-8,
Nuggets.
4-5.
So
They will
they
still
would-
play the Lakers or Minnesota in the
right.
second round.
He's right.
They would have
1-8.
played the Lakers and the Minnesota. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
1-8, 4-5.
So yeah, you're
3-6,
right. You're
yeah,
right.
2-7.
The Warriors would have played the
Which
Lakers.
is what we want
I
anyway.
was gonna say either which way. Yeah, I mean,
It's
listen,
better. I
you
mean,
avoid
you're
OKC, it's huge.
playing the Rockets instead of the Lakers.
It's not really more about. I just didn't want Lakers to go to state first round. I want
Me
that
either.
to be second
Me too.
round.
People
You know what
saying
I'm
that they wanted that round 1, they're stupid.
gotta save that.
Do
You
I
should-
want to see LeBron or Steph Curry get eliminated in round
Yeah,
1?
no,
I
you,
don't.
You want that later.
I feel like you want the series anyway, though, because there's no
No,
guarantee
for
that
sure.
it's
I
gonna
want
happen,
it. I want it bad.
because we don't know if it's gonna happen.
So, Houston and Golden State is gonna be fire.
Yeah, I think Golden State should win that.
Fire. Like
They should.
the rivalry, like the young
Rockets
now it's the young
should.
boys versus the old heads.
They should.
They will win that.
Do I?
series. No, I'm like 99.9% sure they will win.
You've
that
been
series.
sleeping on the Rockets all season.
I'm
That's
not
fine.
sleeping on them.
No, you've been sleeping on
It's
them all
just- it's just
season. It's
playoff
cool,
basketball
bro.
is different.
No,
I mean-
bro, you haven't been here for the ride. You talk all this talk about Abin Shankun, but then you don't ride for the Rockets. Like I get it. Like maybe you're seeing the writing on the wall with Shankun.
No offense
I
to
don't
Steph
know.
Curry and Jimmy and Draymond.
I mean, you riding for the
The
Rockets.
Rockets
and
have a lot of
I don't
pressure.
know.
I don't. Shangun didn't make any of your teams.
Hey, Shangun's not my guy. That's all I'm saying.
Jalen Green didn't make any of your
Hey,
teams.
he's not
Jalen
neither
Green,
my
no
guy.
shot
Hey, I'll
in
tell you who
hell.
made one of my teams though. Amen Thompson.
My guy,
Amen Thompson. He made one of my teams.
best player on the fucking team.
Was your
Good
coach of the year
kicks.
Ime Udoka?
He was my second place
My
guy.
coach.
No, he wasn't. No,
JB
wrong with
Bigger's
him?
stats more impressive.
no. I mean, I don't know. They won 50 games.
He's cooking.
It's really the West case, like the same
Yeah,
case
the
in
West
the West.
definitely
yeah.
matters.
No, I'm 99.9% sure the Warriors beat the Rockets.
What are we putting on it then?
Okay, wait.
What are we putting on it then?
Joel, 99.9
No,
strong.
no. What are we putting
Let's
on
say
it
like
then?
90,
No,
85,
what are we
90.
putting on it
I'm
then?
100%. I'm 100% sure, Riv.
Joel.
Then put a honey bun on it.
Yo, that's like yeah,
Put a
that's
honey
certainty.
bun on it.
That's so,
Let's
so
do
scary.
it. I'm down.
Put a fucking honey bun on it.
I'm down. We can do it.
Put a honey
You want to
bun
get
on
on in
it.
this, Riv? Or you don't believe in Steph Curry?
What the hell?
Like I do.
Remember the last time we was on the same train? They won the chip. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, it's the Rockets. Let's be real.
I like the Rockets, but I'll pick Golden State.
The best
Let's
chance,
be real.
the best chance they
Rockets
had
fans,
was
take
James
note.
Harden.
Take note. All that fake love that he was showing y'all.
Oh, it's gone. Harden-
Dead in the
So the
water.
Harden's
Rockets that
gone.
remind you of the Magic last year, where the defense will translate to the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. The physicality, the versatility, but offensively, there's a lot of questions.
There's a couple
specifically
differences.
with the floor space.
Not differences. You want to know the difference?
They don't have
Jamal
Paolo.
Mosley, Ime
that's a good
Udoka.
point.
They don't have Paolo.
So Ime
That
Udoka
matters.
is Ime Udoka going out there and spacing the floor?
I'm not going to say
He
they will.
wasn't that good of a player, so.
To be
Hey,
fair, it's
he
not
bagged
changing
Nia
for him.
Long and he has some rings. Go.
Yep.
And now he's a great
I'm
coach.
pretty sure, and I think that series would be
Don't say 5. Don't you?
5. If you think OKC
No,
could go to State in
heard.
5,
Heard.
5?
Hey. That's the
Could it
that's
be
the
that?
ignorant, arrogant Drew.
He did say he's going to sound stupid
Yes,
saying it. He did
that's
say
the ignorant, arrogant Drew.
that. Joel, it's not going 5.
5
If it goes
games.
five-
No,
wait,
no. Sounds good.
If
You
it
were the
goes
same
5
person that doubted the Stephen Curry led Warriors against the Kings. No, you doubted him too. What's the
Yeah.
difference between that Kings team and this Rockets team? They actually play defense
Wait a
on this
minute.
side.
this
might
team
be
was
onto
much
something.
better offensively, though. The Kings were much better
No,
offensively.
no doubt. But
They
their
had the best
defense
offensive
was
rating in
dookie
NBA
butt.
history.
And
They
had the
just
best player on that
skated.
floor, though.
They just skated. But this defense, this offense for the Rocket, second half of the season has been different.
Yeah,
you know that.
My
but you're
problem,
ignoring
my
that.
problem is not the
But you're
defense
ignoring
with the
that.
Rockets.
We didn't even get to play them
No,
yet.
but
We
you're
still gotta
ignoring
beat
that.
episode 2.
No, you're ignoring that. You're ignoring the fact that post All-Star break, we're seeing the Rockets ascend offensively.
What are we putting on
What's
it?
the series?
I told you, put a honey bun on it.
Okay.
You put
Warriors,
100 in my
Rockets.
mind. Let's put a honey bun on it.
Like 6?
Let's do
Warriors in
it.
6.
Oh,
say
you're
six.
six, so pound.
I'm
I
down.
would say 6. I think 6 is valid.
This is free.
5 games?
Oh my
This
god.
is free.
No, no,
he's disrespectful.
5
Wait,
games.
are we doing like game stipulation?
Tell me.
No.
It should be. It should just be win out. If any major player gets hurt, you can add stipulations.
Okay.
But it should be just flat.
Fair
win
enough.
out.
I'll respect
Jimmy-
the Rockets.
I agree.
Because I have so much love for their fan base and the fans, and I have so much love for Harden and history.
No,
he's
no.
done. He's
Don't
had there.
listen. He's lying.
I
He's
would go
manipulating you.
Golden State in 6.
I feel like
Now
it's going 6.
6.
It's
Now
going
6. Now 6.
Okay, so what we have here is we have Rockets, Golden State, 100 beans, win out. If Jimmy or Steph get hurt, we change stipulations.
I
If
never thought I'd
Sengun
be on this side,
Or
huh?
Jalen Green get hurt, we change stipulations. Or Amen, we have to show love. We change stipulations. But right now, teams look healthy.
No doubt.
It's gonna be fun.
Imagine that.
First bet of the playoffs. I love it. We need to get the board out.
Jimmy or Steph get hurt, no doubt. Bet's over.
Bet's done.
Bet's done.
Just one game.
I'm
over.
just going to be honest here.
Yeah.
Jimmy or Steph get hurt, it's cake.
I'll be honest. Jalen Green get hurt, they can still win. No offense.
So you're taking this type of
No,
disrespect?
that I'm not taking.
He did preface no offense.
I
He did say no offense, but I took offense. Like, like if you said no offense, you're butt ugly, I'm gonna still take offense.
Yeah, but you're not ugly.
I understand that, but like Jalen Green's not bad.
They're gonna win off their defense. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Please respect Jalen Green.
hey, listen. I saw Moses Moody defense yesterday, and it moved the shit out of me.
Moses is a solid player.
And it moved.
That helps Sam Mobley's trade.
Yeah, looking at their last matchup,
case.
you know, Steph didn't play well.
No, he didn't.
There was like a ton
many
of
points did he
shots where he had
How many
like
points?
2
He
points.
had fucking 3
3
points.
points. Oh.
Yeah, 3 points.
Because you know who's locking that ass up?
Dylan
First
Brooks.
team All NBA, Amen Thompson, and
wide.
Dylan Brooks.
I mean, yeah. When you let
Steph
them,
is gonna average 25 in that series.
I don't know.
when
He
you
should.
when
He
you
better.
let when you let players grab him the fuck up and grab him up and slam
And you know
him,
what it is?
they don't call
you know
it.
what
It's
it is?
crazy.
It's playoff basketball.
right.
We're getting handsy.
And you know who wins in the playoffs? Oh,
Not recently.
Against them?
Not recently.
Steph
Rockets
always wins
This
against
is their
Houston.
first time ever in the playoffs of this team.
Houston,
Okay.
first
This
of
is
all,
Dylan and Fred.
Steph is Houston's daddy. Fact.
It is, but that's Harden's fault.
They don't have a hard.
Let me
Not
not say
a
fault.
better-
That's on me.
They don't
That's
have a
Harden's
They don't
Rockets.
have a
better
Harden.
shot.
They don't
They
have a-
don't.
They don't
They
have anybody
don't.
close.
They don't.
They don't even have a Chris Paul.
They don't have Russell
don't.
Westbrook.
They don't.
Not
They
yet.
don't.
Not yet. Not
They don't.
yet.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But they have a
They will.
on crack
Bunch
PJ
of-
Tucker.
I'm not moved.
Excuse me.
On crack, PJ Tucker's just a regular basketball player.
Not Jabari Smith?
I'm talking about Eamon Thompson.
Bro, stump.
That's the whole point. I don't like.
I thought you were Jabari
All
Smith
right.
for a second.
Joel,
I was like,
you
hold
understood
on.
what I meant.
I was like, hold on.
actually did not.
I hate you
That
guys.
was bad.
Explain it before I get mad.
PJ Tucker was the defensive anchor of that team. He was the guy. He was the guy
Clint
on
Capella,
defense.
in my opinion.
That's it. Simple. But they have Eamon Thompson, who is 30 times better than he
Let's
is.
just call him.
He's
the
low key
phenomenon.
like Dylan Brooks.
Who?
PJ.
Okay, fine.
That's valid.
Fine.
Yeah, that's
And
That's
give me
like
Dylan.
the glue guy, the enforcer.
Give me Dylan.
That's fact. That's fact. That's
I,
fact.
when I
We have
watched
Jimmy.
Steph
Jimmy
struggle,
gonna talk his shit too.
Yo, be honest. The Rockets ever have a defender as good as Tari Eason?
On those teams?
on those
Yeah.
teams, Ariza.
Ariza or Tari?
Ariza wasn't a better defender in my
But
opinion.
Ariza was awesome.
He was
He was
awesome.
not Tari.
He was like 6'9".
Tari's not. Tari's,
He was 6'9",
he's-
going 1-3-4, but
Tari's more of a. He's a better team defender than
better
one-on-one
playmaker.
defender.
And that's what the Rockets are.
Yeah.
They're team defense with a sprinkle of Amen Thompson.
Remember the last
being
time Golden
GOAT.
State saw Ime Udoka in the playoffs?
Hey, that's.
I'm not gonna lie. That
Jason Tatum's
that
fault.
2018 Rockets team, Eric Gordon might be better than this Jalen Green. 6th man of the year, Eric Gordon.
That's embarrassing
It's
for
not
Jalen
even-
Green.
It's not
I'm
even.
not going to comment.
It's not even true.
Eric Gordon, he was
so
efficient, 6th man of the year,
6-man as opposed to being forced into the number
Leading
one
the league in
role.
threes.
16 a
Three-point
night.
percentage.
Hey, let's not forget.
Eric Gordon was a
Let's not
dog.
forget Clippers, New Orleans,
Who
Eric
leads
Gordon.
the,
man.
the
Top 5
Rockets
pick
in
for a
points?
Bucket.
Jalen Green,
Okay.
22,
What's the efficiency? It's not dog shit.
Yeah, it's
not.
35% from three,
Steph Curry
44% from the
versus
field.
Jalen Green.
That sounds
That's
like
what it
Donovan
is.
Mitchell.
Hey,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anytime I hear 44 and 35, I immediately go to early Donovan Mitchell. Can't help it.
Not Devin Booker, huh?
Hey, Donovan. Excuse
bro.
me. Whoa.
Sorry. That was-
Please.
Yeah, I'm just
That was
looking
rude. I
at
apologize.
the last matchup. Steph just missed shots. There's no doubt that it was tough on him, but he had like 8 open looks that he just
all right.
missed.
Sounds good.
He'll never have a 3-point
5
game,
games.
You know?
The streets heard that.
You did say 5 games.
No, they heard that. That little edit, that little backspace delete to game 6. No one cares.
Good,
We heard it.
good.
Sounds good.
So I'd be right if either or happened.
No.
Yeah.
No, if
got-
you guys win in 6, it's not gonna happen first.
If they win in 5, they'll be like, "Damn, he wasn't. Wow, he was actually cooking." If
no,
they win
if
in
they win in
6,
5.
is right.
No, if they win in 5, I'm way more moved.
The Golden State.
Oh yeah.
Then yeah, they're a top 3 team in the West.
They should be in
I'm
theory.
actually not
They
that.
are.
I'm not that more moved if they win in 5.
Well, 5 they kicked the shit out of them.
I mean, I think I'm going into that series like the Warriors should take care of business.
No, right, they should.
They should take care of business. Yeah,
But
and they
you know,
will.
here's what should have happened. Rockets should have fell off. Rockets should not be a 2nd seed. Rockets should not be in the
Regular
position that
season's
they've
a lot
been.
different than the playoffs.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but
Rockets won
we
52
waited
games?
every part of the season
Yeah.
for them to
What,
fall
Golden
off.
State won,
John.
like, 48?
When did it happen?
49. No, 48. Because
When did
Clippers
they?
49.
It was the fall off was supposed to hit at some point in
a
time.
4-game
Yo,
difference.
how
usually how it is in
how
the
is it
West.
possible that your best offensive player is Jalen Green? That's not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not in the playoffs.
No, but then let's see what's actually happened.
What would you go Warriors in 6?
They've been arguably the 4th most consistent team in
You would
basketball.
go Warriors in 6?
Yeah. Show respect to Houston Warriors in 6.
Okay.
I can see a competitive 5.
You go to Rockets in 7 because that's the only way they
Eric
win.
No, we're
Gordon
not.
In 7
comment
games.
was
If it goes to
intriguing.
7, I said it. I am not choosing Golden
So you think
against
it's
picking
Rockets
against
in
Golden
6?
State. Rockets 6.
There was once upon a time Eric Gordon averaged 22 a game before the injuries. Top 10
talk-
pick.
Pelicans.
No.
Clippers.
Clippers.
He was a dog in the
He was
Clippers.
hurt in New Orleans.
This is interesting.
Lots.
Betting on the young boys. I commend it, man.
Someone's got it.
I would bet on them against anybody else. But you talking about a all-time great. And then a playoff riser.
I don't know. Last time I watched the Rockets suit up with the Warriors when someone was actually on the line, I watched the Rockets take their lunch money.
Okay. That's interesting.
It's accurate. Heat versus Bulls.
Oh, that's interesting.
Who you guys going? I'm going with Josh Giddey, man.
Give me
I
the
respect
Heat.
that. I like that a lot.
Give me Tyler Hero and Eric Spoelstra.
I'm going Kobe White,
me
Josh
Bam
Giddey,
Adebayo.
Mataz
Give me
Buzella's
Bam
breakout
Adebayo.
game.
He's back. Never
Tyler-
left.
I think Tyler Hero will be the best player in this game.
Just joking. I am going to take the Heat. I think Spo is just going to have a perfect game plan. And the Bulls, although they've been on a great run to end the season playing strong basketball, I just think that experience
They
will win
also
here.
don't need to make the playoffs.
They
Yeah,
don't. I really want the
yeah.
Bulls to lose.
If I could say this to y'all, I think the best Cooper Flag this nation might just be Miami if they.
I saw
were
your
to
tweet. It
win
was
the two.
nice.
Because you think about that front court defensively with Tyler Hero as a complimentary star to Cooper Flag and Eric Spoelstra as the coach, that would be a new rising contender in the
I'll be
East.
honest. Coop, Dylan, Ace, any one of them I'm fine in Miami. Like Ace for his development.
They're not getting the
fine.
number
They
one
have
overall
at number
pick.
2, they have number 3. They have
They're not getting the number
Khalil-
2 overall
I mean,
pick.
they still have New Orleans
seen
in
some-
2019 when they're trading Anthony Davis. And
That was a
winning
miracle.
That's
of
all.
God.
We need
I
a
know,
miracle.
but
I'll be
miracles
honest.
happen.
Miami
6
needs
years
the
ago,
top
it's
3
been a
pick.
little bit.
Get him Dylan. Get Dylan Harper to Miami. I'm moved.
They need a point guard. They need another forward.
I'm moved by that
I
because
think,
Daniel
John,
Mitchell's your starting
that's a
point
great destination. And to answer your question, you can't say it to us. You can.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm with you.
It's a,
What did he
it's a Cooper
mean?
Flag.
Nah, I'll
Cooper
tell you what.
Flag,
I
okay.
took it
For
that
a
way at
second?
first,
Yeah.
but I understood. He's like, if I could say this to y'all, I think that Cooper Flag the best.
He asked if
destination.
he could say it.
He
to
did.
us.
I
He
thought,
did.
Just saying that he could.
No, I got concerned for 0.2
It was
seconds.
like a
Yeah.
5-second gap where I thought you went somewhere else with it.
He asked us and then he didn't let us answer.
That's
so
on me.
I
That's
just
on me.
wanted to answer the question. You can.
That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
feel free.
Been a little funny today.
Anytime you have a thought, just let it rip.
I can share
You
one.
know, just do it. Mavericks versus the Kings.
On the TikTok, I said the Mavericks.
Give me AD,
Yeah, I'm
man.
going with the Mavericks.
I want the
going with
Kings
the
to win.
Kings.
I want them to win.
Dallas getting a lottery pick would be cool.
Zach LaVine has a blow-up game, a little bit motivated, having a great year. DeMar DeRozan, he's familiar with the playing tournament. He's been in every
You know what,
single year.
John? Let's fucking ride.
Let's go.
Give me Sacramento.
Give me Sacramento.
So
don't care for
bonus.
either.
You know what would be awesome?
Can't
Oh, you're not gonna pick your all.
That's what he did.
You're going with your
All-NBA.
All-NBA guy.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Sacramento.
And you know what? Let me say this: if and when Sabonis wins
Yeah,
the play-in,
that's an indictment on AD.
no doubt, it most definitely is. I think AD is gonna ball though.
It's gonna stamp Sabonis.
It's gonna stamp Sabonis as a 13.
80 had like 10 assists one night and 7
gonna
blocks
stamp
the
his
other.
legacy.
He's been
I don't hate it.
incredible.
Cook.
Yeah. So
And then
best,
Grizzlies versus Kings.
best NBA
God.
storylines going into the playoffs. What are some things that you have looked at that you think are fascinating storylines coming into these
Excellent.
NBA playoffs?
All right, here's a few that I have. How is Cade Cunningham going to look in his first taste of the playoffs? Riv, I'm assuming that you're going to go in depth a little bit more on that.
No, you can, because I got another one. I'm gonna steal from you.
I'm going to be transparent. I love our Knicks, Joel. This could be a dicey matchup.
Vegas apparently doesn't think so.
Apparently, the Pacers are the Pistons are favored. No.
No, the Knicks are favored
favored.
by like minus 400.
Okay, love that. That's huge. Excuse me, apologies. I don't know what I saw.
Vegas isn't always correct.
I
they're not.
believe the Knicks are going to win. 100%. I do believe that in my heart.
Could
and
be
heart.
ugly.
However, that Pistons defense can make things muddy. And Cade Cunningham, I feel like I trust him to rise up to the occasion. I'm only in the Knicks, but Cade Cunningham, all eyes are on him. I'm very, very excited to see him in a playoff situation. The next one, Giannis against the Pacers.
He can win.
You want to talk about storylines?
The idea.
I am turning my back on Indiana because you want to know why? As a man, you stand 10.
And KBJ's been playing. KBJ's been playing.
What
great.
did I guarantee?
As a man, you
What did I
stand
guarantee? Riff, look me in my eyes. What did I guarantee?
Giannis
Win
play
a
well.
playoff series.
Not only will he play well, but that he won a playoff series.
Yes,
Yes.
you did. You guaranteed it.
And
No matter who they were
I
gonna
have
play.
rode with Indiana
Oh yeah.
all season long.
Since the Sabonis days.
Talk. Thank
Long
you. I
time.
really appreciate that, John. That really means a lot to me. Giannis has been otherworldly.
Yes.
And he was the difference in them winning and losing last season. And him not being there was the main reason they lost. Here's the thing, you don't have Dame. That's going to suck.
What can you do?
But what you can do is backpack the way that he has the entire month of April and March.
And damn, they said that he might
He
get
could
cleared
play.
for the playoffs.
He could play.
KBJ's been hooping.
That's and by
The worst case scenario
Ryan
for the
Rollins.
Pacers, worst case, was facing Milwaukee. They needed to clutch up and get that 3 seed. That's been my big storyline. The idea
Okay.
The
turns
idea.
into the reality.
Ah,
Okay.
Here we
Because
go.
it has been an idea for a couple years
shit.
now.
Okay, here
I'm
we
waiting.
go.
No, and are you gonna stand on that? Are you gonna stand on that? I know you're fucking
loses in the-
shaking.
No, I'm not.
You're shaking.
Because according to you, the Pacers have 2 All-NBA players. Why
do.
should I be worried?
They do. So who are you taking?
I'm taking the
Excellent
Pacers.
point.
All right. All right. What's Giannis gonna do?
Excellent point.
No, what's the idea
30,
gonna
12,
do?
6,
Get out of
65.
Oh, so he's gonna play good.
Do I smell another small bag?
Interesting.
He's going to average 30. 30, 10, and 6.
So let me ask you a question. If that's the case, does that become a reality to you then? Does the idea transfer to reality?
Performance, but losing in the first round, like an actual deep playoff from a Giannis, that's an idea right now.
Okay, good. Good to
In the
know.
last couple of years, that's an idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, got it. So
I have to
averages
think
30.
deep about that.
Another beef they have
Interesting.
right now.
That's so interesting.
I
Joel.
got 3. You
And if I'm not mistaken,
Oh, let's
then
please hear
Riv
this.
will go. if I'm not mistaken, you guaranteed it, but you were only confident if they played the Pistons.
That is the only team I was confident.
If it was
So
the Pacers and Knicks, he was hesitant.
Well, now he has to
This
stay in 10.
isn't our prediction show, anyways.
He has to stay in 10. So he guaranteed it. It's out there. The film is there.
I
He
trust
said it.
Halliburton to save my legacy.
Yep, there you go. Talk your shit. I have 4 storylines. I think I'm only say 3 though. I'm surprised you didn't say the Luka and LeBron storyline. I think that one's pretty
Like
interesting.
yourself.
But for me, I got 3 storylines. The first one, Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. I think that is a very interesting storyline we've watched all year kind of play up from the moment of them playing in marquee regular season matchups to them battling in the standings. I think really being hyper fixated on their path to the ECF, both of them 1 and 2 seeds, both of them have to play Knicks or Milwaukee. I think both of them are going to cause some somewhat tough matchups. I watched that Knicks and Boston game, the last one, and it gave me some confidence that the Knicks can still make that a really good series.
Yep.
But the storyline is all the pressure is on Cleveland and Boston, more Cleveland than Boston, because we know Boston can get there. They've done it for like 5-6 years, but all the pressure is on both teams to get to that ECF, to see each other in a 1-2 seed, to really give us that juggernaut, colossal matchup that we've been praying and hoping for all season. My next storyline is the Houston Rockets. I think that is probably, outside of Cade, that's probably the biggest team storyline of the season. We just talked about it a little bit prior. Them going up against Golden State makes the storyline so much better because you have the Houston and Steph Curry saga where you had James Harden, Chris Paul, James Harden, Dwight Howard, versus Steph Curry and Clay, and then Steph Curry, Clay, and Kevin Durant, and then you had that where they just were so locked in, had so many battles in the West, were 1 seed, 2 seed. Then you fast forward, Steph had some down years with his team. James Harden, makes a couple adjustments to a different team. But now Houston is back. And Houston is back. Golden State looks back with Jimmy Butler. So now you have 2 teams, the young boys and the old heads, Steph, Jimmy, and Dre versus these young guys on the rise. It makes for an interesting storyline because we've been, we had OKC be the new team on the block. Now we have Houston be the new team on the block. Now you have them having to go through a Hall of Fame player, a top 10 player of all time, a playoff riser in Jimmy Butler, one of the best defensive players in our era, Steve Kerr, a Hall of Fame coach. What better way to do it and to kind of stamp yourself on the league, stamp yourself and put yourself out there than by going out and beating Steph Curry in the first round, beating Jimmy Butler in the first round, beating Draymond Green. I mean, you couldn't paint a better story. Like, Minnesota would have been cool, but it just doesn't, like, Memphis would have been whatever, but, like, it just doesn't have, even Denver would have been all right, but it doesn't have the same feel as going out there and beating your rival that you've had for, like, 10 years, and then Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, champions, winners, guys that been to the finals, So I think that one. And then OKC, another storyline that has some heightened aggression to a team that's kind of walked through the regular season this year, that's been on a pay. Like, it's been them or Cleveland all year. They've been 2 of the best teams all year. And now you have this situation where you have people, who think they could walk through the West. You have a situation where people on Twitter have watched these marquee matchups and have seen OKC, get some fits from other top teams. Now it's your time to stamp it. SGA just is going to win his MVP. I think he's going to win his MVP. You are one of the most historic defenses in the regular season this year. All that is in the gutter if you don't make it to the WCF. All that is washed away if you don't make it at least to the WCF. And I think OKC and Houston specifically, those are 2 teams that have the most pressure in a sense, just from a team perspective for different reasons, obviously. But OKC being the most pressure because now you just won 65 games. You have the MVP. You have an historic defense. There's no reason for you to lose.
Can I ask you a question in terms of the pressure? I agree with you. I think OKC and Cleveland are 2 of the teams with the most pressure. Can you argue that the Lakers are in that conversation since acquiring Luka?
Yes. I would say yes, because Luka and LeBron, they always bring pressure wherever they go. And Luka coming from a team where we thought can compete for a championship, going to play with LeBron is definitely the same pressure. I'd argue it's different pressure because LeBron already has 4 championships.
I agree.
We've seen him win a championship. We've seen this Laker team get deep. As for OKC, we've seen this Laker team get deep into the playoffs. As for OKC, we haven't seen that yet. 100%. So it's a more of a new, can you do it pressure. For the Lakers, it's can you do it again type of pressure. Can you make a run again? Can you stay healthy? Can you do it in an in-season turnaround that we don't see a lot? So it's same pressure, but different paths to the pressure, I would say.
I say Luka for the sole fact that the Mavs gave up on him. The Mavs basically threw him
yes,
away.
That's my storyline.
Luka's probably the singular storyline.
That's
and
the
that's-
biggest
and
storyline
that's-
in the NBA.
That's why I didn't say LeBron and Luka. I didn't say the Lakers. No, I just said Luka Doncic.
Go ahead, John, because you said
Yeah,
that's
I
your
think you guys
storyline.
made some really great ones. I think the biggest one would have to be Luka Doncic after not only unceremoniously being traded by the Mavericks, but afterwards they basically started to rip him apart. I mean, taking subliminal shots about his work ethic, his commitment to the team, whether or not he was in the right shape and condition while he was hurt, nursing a calf injury. He comes to the Lakers and their season immediately skyrockets to a top 3 seed, while the Mavericks year is falling off a cliff. A lot of injuries out of their control, and Nico Harrison's probably looking around and saying to himself, damn, like, the optics of this move probably aren't great. And now you have a Laker team that's moving to the playoffs with a first-time head coach in JJ Redick, who's done a fantastic job this year. And there's some players in the supporting cast that aren't quite proven. Guys like Jackson Hayes. Gabe Vincent hasn't proven himself outside of Miami. And I think those players, all of which are going to be key contributors in the Lakers going on a playoff run. And of course, when you have LeBron James embracing the role of a connective passer and a connected decision maker, it alleviates some pressure for the other two guards in their backcourt. So I would have to agree with all of you guys in the sense that this is, or you just said now, this is the biggest storyline to me, the Lakers and Luka. The two other ones that I'm looking forward to are the 4-5 matchups, which you touched on. In the Eastern Conference, you have the Bucks versus the Pacers, and last year they played. Of course, Giannis doesn't play in that series. The Pacers win 6 games to go into the conference finals. But this year, you have some optimism that you're getting healthy a little bit. Bobby Portis is back. Damian Lillard's doing some light conditioning, some light stuff. Who knows if he can return? And then, of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo is probably going to average 30, 12, and 6 and insane shooting in this matchup. So I believe there's a little bit of a rivalry here from Milwaukee. And I also think that there's a pressure because if you lose in the first round, now there's a door that opens up for Giannis to leave. The last storyline that I'm looking forward to is a rematch. A rematch of the 2020 second round of the playoffs in the bubble, where the Los Angeles Clippers were seen to be destined to play the Lakers in the conference finals. Then a young big man named Nikola Jokic and a young guard Jamal Murray came back down from 3-1 for a second time in that playoff run, and they stunned the Clippers season. The Clippers let go of Doc Rivers, but now their coach is Tyronn Lue, who to me is a way better coach. Clearly better playoff coach, one would say. And so it's a little bit of a curiosity here and intrigue. Healthy Kawhi Leonard, James Harden's every year in the
You're not gonna
playoffs.
win it, bro.
It's one less opportunity year by year for them to win that championship. So I believe both of these teams have some pressure. Nuggets has fired their coach. The Clippers, they're an older team that's having a good year. So I think this is a matchup which will be tightly contested.
I think the Luka storyline is the most interesting because it's a revenge tour for him.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at how he looked when he went back to Dallas in the tribute video that he had quivering while watching it, he didn't want to leave. And I don't think he ever was going to leave Dallas. He was going to remain loyal to them. And they threw him out. So I think there's an added motivation, and he's been much better getting to the basket and getting to the rim as of recently. And if they get that version of Luka, they could go to the NBA Finals. I mean, you've seen the 2 matchups that they've played OKC. The first one, they beat them. The second one, before Luka got ejected, they were up against them. And you can argue if Luka finishes the game down the stretch, they could have won that game. So yeah, I look at the Lakers and how they match up with OKC. That's a 7-game series to me. And with the Lakers star power, they have a chance against anybody. I think the most team-oriented storyline that's most interesting is just whether or not the Celtics are going to go back-to-back. Because they quietly won 61 games this year, but it doesn't feel like the vibes are all good because Jaylen Brown is dealing with like a knee injury right now that he has to get pain injections for to, help that knee injury. If he's not 100% and not at his best, how do the Celtics look? And can they go back-to-back if Jaylen Brown isn't at his very best? So I think there's always added pressure for a team to go back-to-back. The Celtics have had as good of a chance as anybody to do it in this playoff run, but there's some things going on there with Jaylen Brown's cryptic tweets as he had last year and the injury with him, and Porzingis is always kind of like a wild card of whether or not he stay healthy or not. And Jason Tatum, this could be the year that he just goes on a phenomenal playoff run with excellent efficiency, or this could be a year where it's more like last playoff run where he's really good. The efficiency isn't all that good because he hasn't been that good of a three-point shooter in the second half of the NBA season. And maybe this year, him not playing to that level that we all expect him to and to take a leap like a top 3 player in the world, it actually ends up costing Boston. I think OKC, whether or not they're ready to win it all, is another interesting storyline. Best net rating of all time. All signs would point to this team being the team that wins the NBA championship, but there's question marks about their experience and their age. And the last storyline is the Knicks and Timberwolves both made colossal trades. And which one of these teams after this playoffs we will be looking at and saying they made the right or the wrong decision? Right now, I'm leaning towards the Knicks making the wrong decision. I think Cat has been excellent, and you cannot deny how good he's been. But at the same time, for the Knicks to only have a 1-game improvement on the win tally when they added Cat and they added Mikal Bridges, and these two moves basically zapped all flexibility you have to sign free agents and to trade for another big-name star.
Honest.
This is the core that the Knicks have said, these are our guys, and we're going all in with this core. And with the Timberwolves, it was more of a reset for them. That's why the expectations were different. It's, okay, we know we're not going to go to the NBA Finals, so we're just going to try to get what we can for Cat. The first-round pick they got that was lottery protected from Detroit now is going to convert because Detroit miraculously made the playoffs. So now the Timberwolves actually have a first-round pick that's going to be in the teens of this draft, along with Dante, a great cost control contract, and Julius Randle. So I think with all the skepticism around the Knicks right now, I think they're going to beat the Pistons. But there's people that think the Pistons are going to beat the Knicks. And over the second half of the season, the Pistons and Knicks record, they have been similar.
They played them well, too.
So if the Pistons end up beating the Knicks, and even if the Timberwolves lose in the first round to the Lakers in a hard-fought series, I mean, just how both teams are going to be talked about is just going to be extremely different. And even if the Knicks do win in the first round, let's say they get smoked in 5 by Boston, they're also going to get a lot of scrutiny and pushback because they made these all-in moves to get over the hump, and it feels like they are the same. They made a lateral move.
I really, 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 really hate that Karl Anthony Towns' move gets grouped in with Mikal Bridges because one was clearly better than the other. Getting Karl Anthony Towns was a really strong move. Trading 5 firsts away for Mikal Bridges, I will never be okay with. I will never accept the fact that the Knicks decided to move off of their future assets, that you're right, they could have packaged potentially in the future. Let's say Karl Anthony Towns and this Knicks don't work out. Karl Anthony Towns with 5 first-round picks, maybe 6, however many they were allowed to trade, and go and get Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's something that they could have done. But instead, they decided to go all in on a Mikal Bridges who they overpay because it's the Knicks tax, and they knew that the Knicks inevitably wanted Mikal Bridges to be on their roster anyways. They gutted their future for a player who is good. He's good. He's not 5 first good.
No, and I think the reason why it gets grouped in is because both moves were made in the same offseason.
Correct.
So they are like, those are the two moves that they made. And also, Julius Randle just adds a different play style and dynamic to the team. And it's a big reason why the Timberwolves this year have been better at generating threes. Because with the Knicks, it's Jalen Brunson or bust. If he's not initiating offense and playmaking, nobody else is able to dribble, drive, and suck in the defense and kick it out to open shooters. So you look at the Knicks' three-point attempts from this year and last year, they're virtually the same, even with having better spacing, quote-unquote. And Julius Randle being able to drive and kick was so huge to the team last year. Like, you know, even with Cat being a good move, do I think the Knicks right now, if they had Dante and Randle with the first-round pick, probably are in the same situation? I kind of think so. You know, Dante had a career year averaging 15 with us, and he had 40 in Game 7, and where everybody just fell apart. I just think it sucks. It was bad luck for the Knicks, but the Hartenstein move is the one that really did us in.
And something the Knicks could have done.
Yeah, not being able to keep Hartenstein is the reason why the Knicks aren't better now because of what he brings defensively, and why they needed to trade for Cat because there was no big. You couldn't trust Mitchell Robinson, so you're going into the season with no center, so it made them even more vulnerable to just make the move for Cat because they desperately needed a center.
But it's going to bother me if and when the Knicks season's over that the finger is going to get immediately pointed at Karl Anthony Towns and not Mikal Bridges, who was traded, who they traded more for.
The catcher has worked out. It's been a good marriage. But as you guys kind of all highlighted, it kind of was a matter of trying to do too much at once without waiting for the right opportunity to come. But there's also an aspect to this where, like Pierre highlighted when he came on the show, like for the Knicks to be a consistent 50-win team, when you look at what they were in the 2010s, in the late 2000s, it's a huge step forward that you can't really be too mad about the fact they still have one of the best starting fives in the NBA. I think Tom Thibodeau's done a great job with all these players like Josh Hart breaking out and OG. Like, we kind of look at it as a dreary, kind of dour situation, but half of their lineup's having career years.
Definitely.
Jalen Brunson's still in his 20s. So I think there's a lot of stuff that you can kind of be optimistic about. And worst case scenario, you end up packaging Mikal for a player who is better down the line. So
Yeah, I think Mikal is the one that is going to get the finger pointed at because I think he doesn't show up in big games.
Yeah.
Maybe he changes that, but I think with the Knicks, yeah, they're consistently good and it's a great team in the regular season. But once you reach that, you got to keep going forward. And that's where I feel like once teams start reaching success, it's better when you don't have much expectations because once you start having expectations, that makes you kind of bitter as a fan. But I was talking to my cousin about this, and I was just telling him that I feel like a lot of teams in the East, they have optimism for the future more than the Knicks because they have a younger core. With the Cavaliers, they've had a great season this year. They could be even better if Mobley continues to improve, which is very possible because he's still very young. With the Magic, even though this has been a disastrous season for them, they have Franz and Paolo. Those are two young players you can build around. With the Pistons, they have K. That's a young budding superstar that can be an MVP candidate. With the Knicks, they're all great players. Starting five is one of the best starting fives. This is kind of like the peak that we're seeing. Like, and my phone just fell. Yeah,
This guy
it always
hates a case too. When did you take it off?
falls. No, I don't like it. Yeah.
my
My
phone
phone never
30
cracks though.
seconds, I was eyeing up your case.
He always puts it in the same spot.
Yeah.
No one's just gonna.
Yeah,
fall.
yeah. I don't know. Sometimes it just does it. But okay, I was saying is that everybody on the Knicks has kind of reached their peak. Jalen Brunson, he's amazing. This is probably the best he's gonna be, which is not a bad thing, but that
10
is what it
player.
is.
He's top
Cat,
10.
same thing. OG, he could go on a run where he looks like amazing, but same thing. Like these players are pretty much maxed out on their potential, so there is no other room for growth. And if you're hoping for more internal growth, that is just unrealistic. And I feel like the Knicks right now, they're stuck in that place where like they're not quite that contender tier. They're in the next bracket, and it's not good enough because you don't really feel like anybody else can do more. They're kind of maxed
You
out.
don't think Mikal let me guess. I mean, perfect
No.
world's not
He
fair.
seems to be a defender. He was
That's
in
it.
Phoenix.
This is the best Mikal we're getting.
I don't think this is the
He's
best
gotten
Mikal we're
worse.
getting. I think Mikal can have a bounce back
Less
season next
impactful.
year.
Yeah.
He can be more impactful defensively, but for like 16, 18 a night, good defensively, yeah. Like even when he was on the Suns, he was a really good defensive player, but he wasn't like an elite shutdown guy.
The funny thing about Mikal, and people don't, is something we forget about. He has a lot of mileage on his body too. I don't think he's missed a game since college. So it's been nonstop every year, 80 games. Even in college, he played all the way up until the end of March Madness because they were always so great. So, that type of mileage, and then your role is always shifting. In Phoenix, it was high-level role player, 3-and-D. Then he went to kind of putting the ball on the floor. Then he got traded to Brooklyn. Now it's more offense. Now he got traded to Phoenix. So it's like, of course, you're an NBA player. You're a professional. So, that's your job. But just the mileage on him, like how he's been succumbed to just playing nonstop. He's been this Iron Man. It's probably weighing a toll on him. And that's probably why he's not the same defensive player he once was,
Yeah, and now to finish off the show, we're going to rate your guys' NBA hot takes for the NBA playoffs 1 through 10.
Nice little
10
fun
meaning hot, scorching.
Time at your baseball game.
I low-key should go.
We might be done in like 10, 15 minutes.
That's fine then.
Yeah. First, name up. Pick a side meme.
Santos.
His take is Warriors make it to the finals and win it all.
So 10 being
The
hot,
hottest.
scorching.
Yes.
This is about 6.
6.57.
Because of their seeding, they're a playing team right now. It's the biggest detractor for them.
To go to the finals and win it.
They'll be on the
This
road.
is a 10.
I think it's a 10 too. To win it all,
They'll be on the road every
This is a
single
10.
series.
yeah, they would do something that only Patrick Mahomes has done in the NFL. Ruthless
mean-
Rootster.
Patrick Ewing did this.
Patrick Mahomes?
No, he has to win.
No, he won it, yeah.
But damn, like
Patrick Ewing
let
is
it
such
be.
a random name.
Just
When
let
did
it
he
be.
do it?
random. It's your all-time
He
great
never
player.
did it though.
No, they were
Mahomes
like
did it.
I forgot the winning part, but they were like an 8th seed and they went on to the finals.
Yeah, but he wasn't the best player on the team.
Yeah, but still, like respect your
Who?
goat.
That
Ewing.
year? That year, no.
It was
99.
a trial.
player.
It was like
Charles
very-
Scarborough,
it was
Allen
like a
Houston. Yeah, Patrick
Mahomes.
Ewing actually, there was a theory that they were better without him that year.
probably
Yeah. Ruthless Rootster. Jalen Green proves to be a playoff riser and a true number one for the Rockets.
6.
That's a little bit higher than me. him being a playoff
That's
riser is
hotter
not-
than Golden State
No.
winning a title.
The second part, him being a true number one, is the hot part. But I will say that Jalen Green being a playoff riser is not the craziest, and that'd be like a 4.
I was gonna say it's like a
4 or 5.
definitely
Him being number
six.
1, that's what the Rockets need.
This
to
man
win a
has
playoff
shown
on that
series.
side.
This man has shown you nonstop inconsistency
Stay on
throughout
that side.
82
I would say
game series.
7.
It's a 6.
No, stay on that side.
A true number
never
one
been on that
means like
side.
what? He
Good.
averages 28 or 30 in the playoffs.
It's like no, for him it's like 25 on good efficiency, consistently.
I'll tell you what. The last thing you need over there is for Jalen Green to be a riser.
Yeah.
You're cooked.
He'll be a riser for a
No,
game.
if he is, the Rockets can easily win a series. Easily.
If
be
he is
so
here,
not against Golden State.
Against Golden State's not easy, yeah. But if it's the Grizzlies, let's say 2-7.
He has to go out there and match Steph and Jimmy.
Here's the
Let's
thing.
be so serious.
Anyways, this is a 2.
This is a
2?
6.
Proven to be a true number one, I gotta go with like an 8.
You
I'll
can't
go
be serious.
9.
I
Fuck
think
that.
the second.
How
you
many
have to
true
put the
number
two
ones are in
together.
the league? And then look at Jalen Green.
But I think
led
in
the team in
Rudy's
scoring?
case, he's saying he can
He had to.
win
So
him
stop.
a series as the best player. I think.
Well, it's like two
There's
things.
a-
It's true
there-
number one
yeah.
and win it. 9.
What? And win
Yeah.
what?
He has to win it and be a
This
true
is
number
this
one.
is jaded. Him being a playoff riser like a 5 to me.
Wait, win
him being
what,
number
though?
one,
Win a
8.5.
series.
Nah, he can just ball out and play good.
Yeah, he can.
I'll be
I think
alright.
they can lose. He just has to play well and prove that he could be like a guy.
The issue is though, if he plays well, they're not losing.
Now, if you're a team this,
He plays well, they're
That's what
not
I'm saying.
losing.
If you're a team this good, it kind of is going to correlate to him being a true number one. They're going to win.
What people have overlooked, if he plays poorly, they're packaging him with picks and they're getting Devin Booker.
They're fine with
Yeah.
2. Next.
Ball game pod. The Los Angeles Clippers will make the Western Conference Finals.
4.
This is a 6.
They would have to beat the
They'd have to beat
OKC.
OKC in the second
Yeah,
round.
this is honestly
This is a
an
9.
8, 9. Yeah,
They got to beat OKC.
This is a 7 point. This is an 8.
Nah, this ain't
7.6.
This
I
ain't
think
no,
7 point.
no
Yeah,
wait,
7.2.
wait.
It's an 8.
You put Jalen Green being a true number one
As a
a
2.
2, but the
Yep.
Clippers going to beat OKC
yes.
is a 9.
Yes.
You're delusional.
No. OKC is
Door.
the second
terrible.
to best team in
And
the Western
Jalen Green
Conference.
is nowhere near a number one. He's
How do we
barely
know
a number
that?
2.
How do we
Can't
know
hold
that?
Kawhi's
Nowhere
shot
near.
track.
Oh my God, he's not even Zach LaVine right now.
Oh, Zach LaVine's amazing,
That's the point, but he's not a number one.
but that's due to situation.
No, that's just due to him.
Crazy.
He was a number one once in his career.
No, he wasn't. DeMar was actually the number one.
That's not true.
No, that's a fact.
That's not true.
That's a fact.
When he was with DeMar, no doubt. That being said, prior to DeMar being a Bull, yes, Zach LaVine was a 1.
And they were what? Lottery?
That's not on him. He was a 50, 40, 85
You're making
player.
excuses. This is 6.5.
This is 7.
This is an 8.
Relly goes, Lakers win the finals with each series going to 7. And Milwaukee spoils Cleveland's season on the back of 2 Giannis 40-point games in round 2.
6.
The
No.
first one, they're
Yeah.
not going all the way on 7-game series.
So Lakers win the
an 8.
finals and
That's an 8.
Giannis beats the Cavs.
Giannis being the Cavs isn't the craziest
Oh,
thing.
this
He's
is
the
a
best
10.
player.
The Lakers going to the finals and winning the finals, that's a 10?
All sevens?
All
sevens?
4 series being 7 games. That's
Him
an 8.
adding
That's
game
an 8 or a
7s
9.
was unnecessary.
And then on top of that, Giannis
that's
beating the
an 8.
Cavs.
No, what
But-
lost me was Giannis beating the
Hold
Cavs.
up, if
For
Damian
both of these
Lillard-
to happen, it's
if
like
Dame
plus
is
25.
back,
Plus
that
that.
would, Bucks
Yeah,
team is
if he
dangerous.
would have said the Bucks beating the Cavs, I'd have been like, all right. He said Giannis. I'm assuming he's thinking Dame's not going to
Giannis
do that.
gives the Cavs some problems.
Yeah, but by himself, I
They
don't
have to
think
play
he's gonna
both
win.
bigs together, and then that kind of opens up Pandora's box a little bit.
Because of the Bucks
Team's
statement,
not that good.
I'm at a 9.
If Dame comes back with
That's the tricky
Portis
part. Yeah.
back,
I don't know if Dame's going to come back.
Fear
in
the
the
Bucks.
event, in the
Fear the
possibility.
deer.
Yeah.
I am not.
Fear the
Giannis
deer.
is the best
I
player
eat
in the
deer.
conference, so
Yeah, I'm at 7.
Do you?
No,
Oh, it's good.
I've never tried it. I should try it.
Solid.
Fade Lamb, though.
Edison.
I
Solid.
am Brandon, 26. Pacers win first round and take Cleveland to 7.
Okay, I like this.
4.
This is to me is like a 6.
This like a 5.
Now, Indiana gives
the middle for
Cleveland
me.
some tough.
I like
can
5,
see
5,
7.
6. That's kind of where my
for a
mind's
hot
at.
take, this is even kill.
This is a good hot take though.
It's a good hot take for sure.
Yep.
David A, 27. One playing team, in my opinion, one of the Hawks, Heat, or Timberwolves. Timberwolves are not the playing anymore.
He meant Warriors.
Are going to knock off a 1 seed.
We've seen it before.
Scorching 9.
Yeah, this is a 10. This is a 10.
That
that
means the
means-
Hawks or Heat or the Bulls like beat.
20.
Yeah, that's
the,
a 10.
35.
the Celtics, Cavs, and Thunder are untouchable. But let's say, maybe the 2 seed goes up against the Mavericks, and the Mavericks can even attain the 7 seed, which they can't. They can't. So never mind. No, not at all.
Yeah, this
That's
is
an
the
8.
10.
That's an 8 or 9. Yeah.
Packy Texan 12 goes OKC versus Houston in the conference finals.
8.
That's cool with me. That's
This is-
respect,
this
bro.
is a 10.
8.
That's respect, bro.
This is
I'm not going to
also-
say 10. I'll
That's
say 8.
respect.
Yeah, I'll
This
say
is
8.
this is
Hey, this is a cool hot take. This is a hot take.
I like that.
This is a cool hot take.
I'm at
Scorching.
The last
They're
one
a
was
2
hotter
seed,
than this,
bro.
but-
You know, it's a cool hot take. I
You
like
were
it.
once on the Sacramento Kings top 3 seed. They're
It's a
best.
new year.
We can't forget that them being new. Sometimes that can move people.
This is a
And
good hot take. I
Packy
like it.
Texan when The offensive concerns are overrated for the Rockets, and they've shown themselves to be the second best team in the Western Conference all season long.
First part, I don't like. Second part, I'm with him.
He's cooking though.
Overrated is strong.
Post All-Star break, they've been a top 10 offense.
Overrated is strong. There's problems with the offense.
People call them. No, he's saying that the
said
problems are
playoff
overrated.
problem.
Yeah,
There's
They're
problems.
right.
No, I don't think
They
so.
are, especially what they've shown post All-Star break. Are they as bad as they were to start the season?
This is more
No,
of
but
a
there's still problems.
I think it's
Like,
I don't
more
in
of a
terms of the
disagree.
playoffs, there's still a ton
I don't
of
disagree,
problems.
but I think that it's getting way more overblown because of how they looked
Well, I mean,
early in the
it's
season.
going to be a 7-game series that you can scheme up against.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
You know, that's why I'm saying
I'm
like
gonna say you're wrong,
overrated.
but that defense though.
It's amazing.
We know the defense is going to translate.
heard that.
It's the floor space. You
You farted?
he
three
did
guys
fart.
on
I heard that.
No, that was the pump.
Oh,
The water pump.
You're known.
Why did it smell?
nah, it just sounded
a
like a
little
fart. I think
funky
something
in the
hit
air.
something. You know,
I am kind of worried about Eamon, Dylan Brooks, and Jabari Smith all on the floor together at the same time in the offense.
respect.
Jabari's been great off the bench.
You will see when he's on the floor how well he's shooting. Same with Dylan Brooks. Because Dylan Brooks is making 40% of his threes.
He's up and down.
I've
though, for
also
sure.
seen him in series go AWOL where he's not being guarded and he can't make an open shot. So we'll have to see. This is like a 7 to me.
Good point, John.
It's an 8 for sure. I like it though.
Tie
You better watch
guy.
it. You better watch it.
The Boston Celtics won't make it to the conference finals.
Ten.
They have been coasting
10.
the majority of the season,
11.
and it's likely they won't flip the switch in time and can
13.
find themselves in a dogfight with Detroit. Love the pod.
10. This is a hot.
This is the
Scorching
hottest
take.
one
That
so
means
far.
they lose to the Knicks.
This isn't as hot as the 8 seed one wins the series.
Facts.
Okay.
That was
That was
one.
that was
That
nuts.
was
That wasn't a
insane.
take. That was
I'll
nuts.
say an 8 because
That's
the
hot
last time the
takes.
Knicks
Yeah,
played the
it's ridiculous.
Celtics,
Again,
it
that
was
hot
good.
takes
It was a good
being
game.
hot.
Like that was.
Exactly.
Each time the Knicks have played the Celtics, it's been a better and better
And you
game.
keep losing.
It's been
If the
blowout,
Celtics-
close, and then we kind of got away. And then
So
last
they're showing
game, it
you
was
guys that
very
they can
close.
beat you guys in different
Joel,
ways.
what are we
I
doing?
thought we were about to win the last game.
We know you
played.
guys. You was in the
Yeah.
chat.
We
If the
about to win.
Celtics are injured, maybe it's a close series. But I'd
Well,
go for
Jalen
9.
Brown's not playing.
This is like another 9.
Which I
to
still
me.
think they can beat the Knicks without Jalen Brown.
8.5, 9.
Kristaps Porzingis, man, he
Well,
just
He's different.
killed
He was
us.
killing y'all.
Yeah, he did. JMI 1323 goes. Tatum will lead the playoffs in scoring en route to back-to-back championships.
Okay.
Not that hot.
7.
This is like
This is like a 5. This is another
4.
even keel one.
I can see somebody losing in the first round of 5 games, but averaging a lot.
Here it
of
goes.
points.
In terms of hot take, it's not a hot take. Tatum should do
Well,
that.
it's just in terms
like
of what
a-
I see. I don't see it.
I get it, but
like
I'm just
4 or
thinking like
5.
in the grand scheme, like what a hot take is. No, Boston is favored to a lot. Tatum is the best player on their team.
Tatum leading the
He'd have to
playoff
average
scoring.
30
Funny.
because, like Riv said, there'll be a guy around one that averages like 28.
35.
So
That's
I'll
a
go
good-
with like a 4.
I'm there with you, John.
And that's going to do it for the hot takes for the NBA playoffs. That's going to do it for episode 479 of the Pick a Side podcast. You guys can follow us on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod, on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.